The world collapsed, humanity nearly extinct. Monsters now rule the land. A dying man, furious over betrayal in his final moments. Facing death, he gives up, bitter at his comrade's treachery. His name is Yi Zhongming, once a dreamer, now on death's door. 10 years ago, a catastrophe turned most humans into monsters. Later, mankind discovered demon cores that could summon gear from the wheel disc. Survival wars erupted, turning the world into a hell of greed. To live, he bent his pride and traded his humanity for power. Just as hope bloomed, he died to his own allies' schemes. Suddenly awake, he finds a familiar, beautiful girl beside him. Shocked to meet the dead, he realizes he's returned to the past. It's the 10th of September 2022, the day the apocalypse began. Not punishment, but a redo granted by 10 years of memories. Without hesitation, he preps weapons and vital supplies. Hearing noises, the girl wakes and asks where he's going. He quietly takes his parents' keepsake, ready for the coming doom. Annoyed at being ignored, she demands an explanation. He coldly accuses her of betrayal and fake affection. She's stunned, denies it, not understanding his words. He recalls when she ditched him for another man early in the apocalypse. Furious, she argues, he's just jealous and slandering her. He warns her coolly Tanjun isn't as nice as he seems. Knowing she won't believe, he stops explaining altogether. Heart-hardened, he leaves, ignoring her screams. Aware of what's coming, he moves fast, calling a cab and prepping medicine. Handing the driver cash, he orders a full-speed run to the hospital. Medicine will become priceless in the end times, a true game-changer. Next, he hits a shop, grabbing all survival gear he can find. Just before leaving, his eyes land on a special blade. It's the weapon he once wielded in his past life, cheap as dirt now. After the sale, the shopkeeper beams like he hit the jackpot. Back in the car, he tells the driver to floor it to the villa. The wheel disc is the only key to surviving what's ahead. Every resource, basic or rare, must be fought for through the wheel disc. At the gate, guards block him, so he pays the driver to ram through. The car smashes in without hesitation. Reaching the spot, he warns the driver to avoid main roads. As he gears up, 3 guards chase him, furious over the wrecked fence. One yells threats, demanding he stop pretending. Calmly, he points to the sky, signaling something strange. The guards freeze, stunned by what floats above. Everything replays like 10 years ago. The bloody cycle begins again. If fate repeats, this time he won't be weak. Above them hovers a shining metal warship. 2 guards pull out phones to record. The third looks terrified. The ship attacks instantly, forcing him to flee. 5 minutes of bombing turns the area into a wasteland. This is where the first wheel disc appears after the assault. Disguised as a delivery man, he's angrily chased out by a girl. Before he can explain, a thunderous explosion shakes the world. The warship releases toxic gas, mutating humans, the true dawn of doomsday. Chaos erupts as people slaughter each other in panic. Terrified by the screams, the girl threatens to call security if he doesn't leave. Light flashes from the kitchen. He rushes over, recognizing the sign. She follows, horrified by what's forming before her eyes. Just as he predicted, a loadier wheel disc appears with a gray crystal core. Shay's baffled why such a thing exists in her house. He spots a rare potion that boosts strength beyond its limits. Seeing 7 slots instead of 5, he suspects something unique. Looking closer, he notices a strange card symbol of a rare chance. Curious, she questions him, trying to grasp the wheel disc's meaning. He guesses she's immune to the toxic gas, a potential ally. Despite his detailed explanation, she dismisses it as fantasy nonsense. He points out the eerie silence outside after the chaos. He scolds her for wanting to go out in such danger. But she opens the door too fast. A zombie lunges at her. Panicking, she freezes. He slashes it down coldly. She's stunned as he calmly extracts the crystal from the corpse's skull. Sharp-minded, she deduces he's collecting energy cores from zombies. 2 more rush in. He steps forward to shield her. He cuts both down with ruthless precision. Amazed by his coolness, she fangirls hard and asks his name. He replies, Ye Zhongming, and she introduces herself as Mo Jingfei. Hearing her name, he freezes, drenched in sweat. He suspects she's the future 9-star legend herself. Still clueless, she asks what's really happening. He sums it up: the Earth's being invaded, people turning into monsters. Only a few remain unmutated, including the 2 of them. He confirms the government and army have fallen. The outside is hell. She's petrified, her soul nearly leaving her body. Hard to believe this fragile girl will one day be a top-tier powerhouse. He decides to teach her survival rules early. Pointing at the wheel disc, he explains its function and use. She realizes zombie crystals match the pieces needed to activate it. To spin the disc, you need enough cores. The better the prize, the higher the cost. She asks about classifications. He confirms each type grants unique rewards. Suspicious, she wonders if he's a main character or time traveler. He dodges the question, offering to activate the wheel disc as a demo. Before leaving, he tells her to lock up tight, no matter what happens. Outside, the villa is now a sea of zombies swarming the grounds. One appears, he kills it instantly. The noise draws 4 more his way. With practiced skill, he wipes them out effortlessly. Just as he's looting, he hears a girl screaming for help. She hides behind him. He slays 4 zombies, then the last 2 with ease. Suddenly, the girl goes berserk, her face warps into a monster's, and she attacks. He reacts instantly, killing her without hesitation. Back with the loot, Jingfei admires him for bringing home 11 crystals. He slots each one into the wheel disc, ready to test his luck. Once full, it spins, he silently wishes for a power-boosting item. The result? 4 jars of jam. He can only cry in silence. Even food like that is priceless in the apocalypse. Disappointed, he lets Jing Fei take the next spin, Hez eager to see if the future powerhouse pulls something epic. She fits the crystals and spins with great hope. She draws a 3-character card, stunning him completely. It's a rare item with major long-term value. Though unusable now, it's vital later for skill extraction. She brags about her past luck from sodas to golden eggs to a live cow prize. He, on the other hand, has never won anything in his life. Since she's Lady Luck, he plans to ride her fortune. At dawn, he's already prepping to hunt more crystals. Secretly impressed, she feels the urge to join him. Not wanting to fall behind, she decides to cook him a proper meal. Later, he returns tired and disappointed. He reports good and bad news. The zombies in the area are all gone. Though he found few crystals, T's glad to spin again. She asks about food. He grins, of course. Jing Fei serves a ruined mess. Embarrassed, she's never cooked before. He doesn't mind, cheerfully eats it all, just not much to look at. Touched, she nearly cries. He values her, despite her clumsiness. Remembering starving times and thoughts of cannibalism, any meal now feels like grace. After eating, they return to business. More wheel disc spins. This time, Jing Fei draws a gun and another useful item. 2 great hits in a row. He gives up his next turn. 6 prizes remain, no repeats allowed. He plans to remove cookies from the list to boost odds for potions. As he speaks, the removal card activates instantly. Hez dumbfounded, losing it, while she apologizes profusely for misclicking. With 15 chances left, he decides to gamble for the booster potion. He prays hard, hoping friendship flips his luck. It works, he yells in pure joy. A basic strength booster triples melee power, absolutely vital. She urges him to drink it right away, but he wants to show a neat trick first. He mixes the hospital potion with the enhancer to double the output. It succeeds. Each vial can now duplicate itself. Beyond this wheeled disc, many others exist, each with unique rewards. She asks how he knows all this. He dodges by teaching her potion making. Using his method, 2 energy boosters can be brewed from 1. She's amazed. He knows pharmacology like a pro. Suddenly, he goes silent, signaling at a strange sound outside. Grabbing her hand, he runs upstairs, warning something worse than zombies is coming. It's mutated roaches, flesh-eating swarm predators. Seeing one means a whole colony nearby, a nightmare in motion. He orders her to hide and not come out until he says, so he'll handle the fight. As the swarm bursts in, he draws his blade, ready despite the potion's side effects. Downstairs, giant roaches crawl everywhere, a grotesque nightmare. Click click, they've reached the door, starting to break through. Their steel-hard legs tear the wood apart. The danger is seconds away. With no choice, he pulls out the potion and swallows it whole. Instantly, his body convulses, eyes dilating with strange transformation. His scream echoes as a mutant roach kicks the door open. Still writhing, he's flooded by the swarm, crashing in like a tidal wave. Yi Zhongming lies motionless, surrounded completely. The potion kicks in, he leaps up, slicing off the nearest head. He jumps again, killing the first bug in a spray of green blood. Wounded but relentless, he stomps another and vaults upward, eyes blazing red. His battle aura roars like fire. One roach charges, furious for its fallen kin. He roars back in pain, body steaming with fury. Spinning, he slashes. A single blow fells 3 at once. Without pause, he dives into the swarm, cutting down everything in sight. The blade drips green blood as he pants amid the corpses. Knowing the mother roach hasn't appeared yet, he stays alert, trusting past life memory. Feeling a familiar aura, he turns to face the massive queen. Its venom melts wood instantly, pure lethal proof. A necklace drops near him. He steps on it by accident. He glances and smirks, taunting the enraged queen. It screeches and lunges. He recalls its fatal weak spot. Jumping on its back, he spots the red mark its heart. Without hesitation, he swings, spurting toxic blood everywhere. The queen shrieks as each strike carves deeper into its bulk. With a final spin, he finishes it. The monster collapses. Landing, he rolls his shoulders, feeling the lingering side effects. Though exhausted, he reassures her it's over. Jing Fei rushes in, hugging him tightly, leaving him awkwardly stunned. Shaking from shock, she's gently patted like a scared child. As she cries, he reminds her tears are the cheapest thing in the apocalypse. She denies her feelings but can't really hide them. Pretending to be tough, her blushing face betrays her emotions. Avoiding his gaze, she changes the topic. So how do we clean this mess? Staring at the roach corpses, she sighs at the green goo, but he says it's free resources. She gags at the stench. He explains food's fine now but worth gold in a year when farming dies out. He adds that future food comes from leftovers, wheeled disc prizes, and dried bug meat. She's horrified. He says eating bugs is still more humane than eating humans, which happen often post-apocalypse. She freezes in horror at the thought. When dissecting them, their legs still twitch like they're alive. Jing Fei becomes the apocalypse chef. 2 knives, apron, and full mask on. One bug twitches. She screams and chops it furiously. Eyes shut, she hacks away nonstop while he grins, pleased with the outcome. Hearing hell go farther, she removes her mask, promising to dry the bug meat into rations. Determined, she joins him to brew more enhancement potions. Yi Zhongming swears with firm resolve, it'll definitely come back. He sets out fully equipped, ready for whatever dangers await. She sees him off at the door, eyes filled with worry and hope. As dusk falls, he speeds toward the ruined inner city. Corpses lie scattered everywhere like garbage in the streets. The undead's blood has turned green, no trace of humanity left. He races past, only to hear cries for help. He wants to ignore them, but conscience nags, though he curses the fool screaming in Zombie City. A frail girl, barely able to move, sobs desperately for help. He covers her mouth fast, fearing her screams will summon the horde. Too late, her cries already drew monsters. Her shirt torn apart. He yanks her back, scolds her hard, then draws his blade, one swing, one beheading. Holding her close, he shouts, "Run," as every slash takes another head. She dashes into a nearby house, tears streaking down her face. Carefully shutting the door, she slumps to catch her breath. Exhausted, she stays silent, tears quietly falling. She calls out, telling him to get inside while he's still fighting. Hearing her, he turns and sprints toward her. Zombies right on his tail. Just as he reaches the door, their hands grab at him. Once inside, he slams the door shut, but it won't close. His zombie hand wedges through the gap. Both freeze, startled by the sudden turn. The creatures move lightning fast, already swarming the stairs. Too late to fight back, they dash upstairs at full speed. He leads while she struggles behind, quickly running out of stamina. One zombie catches her leg, making her scream. He turns, frowns, lifts her up, and chops the monster's hand clean off. Shielding her from behind, he urges her to run while more pour in. Suddenly, something glowing makes them both turn. Momentary distraction. A radiant light falls from above like a meteor. He instantly recognizes it, the legendary key of mystery. That key opens the path to a hidden world of treasures. They stare at the descending relic as he recalls dreams of ultimate power. Ambition surges, hell claim it no matter the cost. She panics, spotting zombies closing in, one even aiming low at him. He reacts fast, punching the creature's face into a spray of gore. Swearing furiously, he curses, almost losing his future heirs. Drawing his blade, he studies the stairs, planning a full extermination. Taking a deep breath, he vows to clear them all out. Facing the first one, he swings calmly, striking dead. The zombie's arm flies off, green blood splattering her, some even on her face. For a split second, he recalls his once a glorious past, when dreams were still reachable. She was once a pampered heiress, untouched by hardship. Educated at an elite school, she once believed her life would soar high. Staring at the undead, she feels her life split into two halves. Everything fell apart when the zombies came. Her parents weren't spared either. In despair, she collapses, sobbing, certain death is moments away. After clearing the horde, he yells at her to get up and keep moving. She looks up just as he finishes another kill. Amazed by his calm, she hears him remind her not to wait for death, his mind fixed on the key. Hesitantly rising, she admires his strength, her eyes thoughtful as she watches him go. Scanning the area, he suggests crossing the rooftops to reach the tower ahead. The key's landing site, and she agrees instantly. Upon arrival, they freeze at the strange sight before them. Massive vines stretch and twist like living creatures. Curious, she approaches, puzzled by the moving plants blocking their way. As she reaches out, he shouts a warning, but too late. The vines ensnare her. The tendrils tighten, thorns piercing her skin. He frowns, draws his blade, and charges to rescue her. With sharp precision, he slices every vine, pulling her safely into his arms. Her face flushes red, heart racing from his reckless heroism. She clings to him, imagining they'd make the perfect apocalypse duo. But he quickly lets go, leaving her awkwardly surprised. He cuts down the rest, cursing the mutant plants, a term she mentally notes. The way he fights makes it look more like gardening than combat. Wiping sweat, he moves to the rooftop door, trying to open it. When it won't budge, she anxiously asks why. He says it's locked from the outside and readies himself. Without another word, he kicks hard, blasting the door open. A loud bang, and behind it, a crowd armed with sticks and pipes. She flinches in fear, while he gulps in doomsday. Humans can be worse than zombies. They question him immediately. He explains the lower floors are unsafe, so they had to climb up. One man scolds him for breaking the door, fearing the undead might swarm in. Calmly, he replies, he checked no zombies followed them up. Still, the man distrusts him and orders the exit barricaded. Another waves a pipe threateningly, accusing him of risking everyone's lives. Someone steps in to mediate. Ye Zhongming shields the girl, who grips his shoulder in fear. Glancing upward, he spots someone on the roof. She points out, it's the same guy who threatened them. The man says they're all just survivors running for their lives, then asks his next move. He answers, he's heading to the high school. The man sighs, guessing he has family trapped there, then asks how he plans to cross that zombie-filled hellscape. He says to find a route toward the school. The man recalls strange light coming from that direction. The man warns it's extremely dangerous, but mentions a roof path eastward that connects via a risky jump. Measuring the gap, he declares confidently that he can make it. The girl tugs his sleeve, begging to go with him. She won't stay with these strangers. He agrees, telling her to grab the backpack. She accepts without hesitation. A blonde man mocks them, saying taking a girl and that huge bag is suicide. Pretending friendly, he steps closer, offering to hold the bag with shady intent. Yi Zhongming suggests jumping first, then she can toss the pack, but she clings tightly, refusing. Suspecting the man's motives, she protests. He calms her and says to strap in. She nods and hefts the bulky backpack. He ties a rope around her and the pack, ready to move. Looking down from the ledge, he braces to leap across with her. The man bangs his stick, demanding to know if the bag holds climbing gear. She starts to answer, but he threatens to break her arm if she doesn't hand it over. Yi Zhongming just smirks and jumps without a word. The crowd gasps, stunned. He actually dared. He and the girl soar over rooftops above swarming zombies. One slip means death. He lands safely, carrying her as they touch down perfectly. The people left behind curse in disbelief that he really made it. Trembling, she nods, saying she's fine, never felt such danger before. From afar, someone watches them through binoculars, eyes gleaming with predatory delight. The watcher licks his lips, excitement twisted and obscene. His fake smile hides a demonic shadow, observing from above. Nearby, a gang torments a schoolgirl, laughing as they bet how long it'll take one guy to finish. They complain the dump has no booze, only scavenged cigarettes from a corpse. Something feels off. They decide the principal's office might have alcohol and mention students trapped inside. Their vile plan feeds some to zombies, keep the girls for fun, while one guy grumbles he's not done yet. Their boss, called Wu Ge, shows up asking what's going on. The lackeys grovel, saying someone left the area and whining about being stuck here. They ran about zombies everywhere, the world completely doomed. Wu Ge laughs, finding the apocalypse amusing, leaving his men puzzled. He explains that now they can do whatever they want, no rules, no limits. He declares power is the only law that matters. With a perverted grin, he says the schoolgirls won't escape. This end times is paradise for monsters like them. He tells them to play till night. Plenty of zombies outside mean no worries. Yi Zhongming watches silently from the shadows, expression cold. He signals the girl behind him steps forward quietly. They slip away quickly, moving while he scans the area for threats. She tried to keep up, gasping for breath in the dark. She begged him to slow down since she couldn't keep pace. He felt annoyed, blaming himself for helping another troublemaker and being fooled by her looks. Still, he relented and promised to slow so she could follow. He really did slow down, making her happy to match his pace. They finally reached the school gate, oddly deserted. He told her the school is usually crowded. She wondered why no zombies were around. He explained they'd been lured elsewhere and kept moving forward. Up ahead, zombies were pounding on classroom doors. The students inside were trapped, some starving, some despairing. Suddenly, a schoolgirl looked out and spotted someone. She screamed for help, desperate to be noticed. The girl beside him saw his focus. He told her not to interfere and to leave quickly. The students' cries echoed, begging for rescue from this hell. She froze, heart aching, but his eyes were cold. He stopped her, saying their screams would only attract more zombies. The pleas continued. She lowered her head, whispered, "Sorry," and followed silently. At last, she asked softly if they truly couldn't save them. He frowned, bluntly saying they were surrounded. Shouting only made it worse, and he couldn't save them. She finally let go of pity, realizing emotion meant death. Corpses swinging in the wind made her shiver. Curiosity struck. She asked his name and thanked him. He mocked her, demanding sincerity. He stepped closer, half smiling, saying she should be grateful he risked his life for her. Then he coldly declared he'd use her as zombie bait, eyes gleaming with calculation. In his mind, he planned her big lips might attract plenty. Hearing the truth, she cried in terror. He said she wasn't worth his backpack. They kept walking timidly. She said her name was Liang Shu-mo. He replied, Mi Zhongming, surprising her with relief that she'd met someone seemingly reliable. Suddenly, another cry for help echoed, and both looked up. But right after, the person was torn apart. Liang Shu-mo covered her mouth in horror. Mi Zhongming scanned the area, spotting where the secret key had fallen. Without a word, he ran off, ignoring her calls, climbing a drainpipe like a monkey. A zombie inside heard the noise and turned its attention. He charged in, kicking its face, shattering glass as it flew back. Drawing his blade, he struck once dead on impact. The teacher screamed as children clung to her, crying. Trembling, she thanked him while holding two terrified girls. He didn't reply, eyes fixed on the window, confirming the secret key's location. The teacher closed the eyes of a fallen student, then begged him to help them escape. Mi Zhongming coldly said he came only for one item. If she knew where it was, he'd guarantee their survival. All three froze as teacher Fa cautiously asked, "What exactly are you looking for?" He pointed out the window, asking if they'd seen the strange light from the sky. The two students shook their heads. Teacher Fa stayed silent, then said, "I saw it, but only if you promise to save us three." He grew wary, knowing in the apocalypse trust was a luxury. She explained the light was like a daytime star, falling somewhere in the school. Realizing she'd really seen it, he demanded the exact spot. Teacher Fa hesitated, asking what would happen to her and the students if she told. He bluntly said their choice was between certain death or a slim chance to live. She swallowed hard and asked if telling meant all three could be saved. He coldly said the zombies were too many, he could only protect two. The students panicked, calling him heartless and insisting their request wasn't unreasonable. He drew his knife without hesitation, saying one must stay. The rule now was survival of the fittest. The teacher and students, facing death, knew indecision meant ending up like the devoured ones. A male student hugged teacher Fa tightly. She patted his head, voice trembling with helpless comfort. He repeated, "Choose. There's no time." Teacher Fa decided to sacrifice herself, asking him to take the students instead. She accepted death, placing her students' lives before her own. He nodded, then asked if she could now reveal the light's location. She stroked the children's heads, saying she'd write it down and drop it once they were safe. He silently admired her resolve. Turning away, He hoped her words were worth her sacrifice. A girl still clung to Teacher Fa's hand. She gently urged them to keep living. Near the door, he pressed his ear against it. 3 zombies outside. He told Teacher Fa to shut the door tight and stay silent once they left. She nodded, ready, gripping the handle firmly. He tightened his grip on the knife, poised to strike the moment it opened. A zombie instantly thrust its head in, making the students scream. He reacted fast, kicking it hard so it flew backward. The corpse slammed into the wall. The other 2 hadn't even reacted yet. He lunged forward, slicing the next one's head clean off like chopping fruit. Go! He ordered. The students bolted after him without hesitation. One student glanced back at Teacher Fa as she shut the door, eyes brimming. She steeled herself, closed it tight, and cried silently, reminding herself she was still a teacher. The stairway was full of corpses. He led the way, urging them to stay close and never stop. Footsteps pounded, breath ragged. He realized guarding 2 kids amid zombies was madness. Reaching the lower floor, he noticed eerie calm. Zombies must have gone upstairs, leaving this area briefly safe. Suddenly, he froze, a strange instinct stopping him cold. He shouted, "Stop. Don't move," startling both students. The blonde girl asked, "What's ahead?" He frowned, saying he sensed invisible danger. His survival instinct, his 6th sense, had saved him before. But the girl doubted, thinking he was hallucinating. He wished she were right. The air was still and cold. He chose to move on despite doubt, unaware a creature above was watching, claws sharp, tongue dripping. A chill hit him. He instantly looked up at the ceiling. A girl bumped his back, asking why he stopped so suddenly. He signaled for silence, scanning around. The blonde girl grumbled but obeyed. Seeing nothing, he wondered if he was being paranoid. They kept descending. Unaware, the creature crawled after them, drooling behind the girl. A sudden shiver struck her. He too sweated, sensing something wrong. The monster crept closer, tongue wrapping around the brown-haired girl's hair. Sticky drool dripped. She turned and saw horror staring back. The creature roared, flesh, and lunged like a rabid beast. The girl screamed as its tongue licked her face, freezing her in terror. He threw his knife blade, lodging in its mouth mid-bite. Cold sweat poured, unsure if had made it in time. He met the creature's hateful gaze. Its severed tongue twitched on the floor. It shrieked in a distorted human voice. Screaming wildly, it ignored the girl and charged at him instead. He dodged the strike and punched its gut with all his might. The hit did nothing. Terrified, he realized it was a steel-armored mutant zombie. Still shocked, he twisted aside, retreating while racking his brain for a counter. A thunderous kick to its head barely scratched it, his first true brush with death. The creature grabbed his leg with terrifying force. It slammed him onto the floor, dust flying everywhere. He clutched his head. That blow could have killed anyone, but he forced himself up. The floor cracked. The 2 girls backed off. The long-haired one begged Lily for help, but Lily fled, leaving her frozen in despair. The monster swung a deadly punch, strong enough to kill instantly. Blood burst from his mouth as he fell unconscious. The sight of it broke the girl's will completely. The monster's finishing blow came down without hesitation. She screamed in horror at what she saw. Suddenly, a gaping hole appeared in the creature's chest. An unexpected strike. With a single bullet, he killed it, staggering upright despite his wounds. He told the girl to stand if she didn't want to die. Slowly, she regained composure and steadied herself. A strange sound echoed from beneath the floor. Fear surged. He worried the gunshot had drawn trouble. Noises echoed from the stairs, making all 3 tense up. The girls feared zombies, but he checked inside. It wasn't them. Liang Shu-mo suddenly appeared, rushing in to hug him in relief. The 2 students relaxed a little, still wary of the newcomer. Crying, she told him how terrified she had been when he hadn't returned. He was stunned to hear the light could attract zombies and asked for confirmation. Moving toward his knife, he guessed the glowing disc might be the only cause. Eyes firm, he decided to head downstairs again, taking everyone with him. The short-haired girl spoke up, and the other nodded in reply. The blonde accepted her apology, letting go of resentment. Once outside, he looked at Liang Shu-mo, slightly awkward. Teacher Fa rejoiced, seeing them safe, warning not to draw attention. She hesitated about revealing the light's location but reminded herself not to be selfish. He picked up the note, calling her a good teacher. Shu-mo was surprised he still respected someone who once threatened her. He planned next steps, 2 targets: the secret realm site and the mysterious glow. Since the students were unreliable, he chose to check the light first. He ordered directions. Shu-mo warned the place swarmed with zombies. He only smirked, saying valuable things always attracted danger. He invited the students to join. They agreed despite fear. On the way, Shu-mo pointed to a building, urging him to stop. It was too perilous. The girls panicked, accusing him of leading them into danger, suspecting he'd used them. He calmed them, drawing his knife, saying everywhere was deadly now anyway. He denied using them as bait, his tone firm. He told the 3 to wait outside while he went in alone to scout. Alone, he entered, alert and ready to fight. The trio watched anxiously, fearing for his safety. The students sighed in relief, thinking they weren't the bait. Lily doubted his sanity. Injian feared if he died, they'd be doomed. Lily dragged Xiao Xiao away, avoiding attention. She suggested hiding elsewhere. Xiao Xiao couldn't believe she'd abandoned him so easily. Lily insisted nothing they could do, and he'd surely die. Xiao Xiao hesitated, torn between gratitude and fear. Liang Shu-mo noticed their sneaking. The girls lied, then slipped away silently. Shu-mo understood but stayed quiet, trusting he'd make it out alive. He was now inside the bank, crowded with zombies but no mutants, luckily. Biting his knife handle, he steeled himself for a life-or-death battle. He reset his dislocated wrist and faced the charging horde head-on. The zombies snarled viciously, eyes burning with bloodlust. Spotting him, the whole swarm rushed forward instantly. Raising his gun, blade in front, he aimed carefully and fired. The gunshots made Shumo flinch, fearing head-drawn a horde. The students panicked too. Lily urged them to flee to the teacher's dorms. Ignoring her friend's feelings, Lily dragged Xiao Xiao along, thinking only of survival. After a pause, Xiao Xiao broke free and ran back towards Shumo. Shumo was shocked to see her return. Xiao Xiao begged her to leave this deadly place. Lily fumed, calling her weak, saying going back only meant sharing less food. She regretted not ditching her friend sooner, eyes cold, only wanting to survive alone. Liang Shumo refused to leave, startling Xiao Xiao, who begged her to flee before zombies poured out. She replied calmly that without Mi Zhongming, they'd die soon anyway. Shumo insisted he was far stronger than they thought. Leaving him meant certain death. Xiao Xiao was bewildered by her calmness amid chaos. Shumo dismissed her doubt, saying no one could judge him right now. Inside the bank, he had nearly wiped out all the zombies. He found the horde gathered around a strange table. To his shock, the glowing disc wasn't normal. It was a mysterious tricolored wheel of fate. The apocalypse brought plague and rare chances. Such tricolored wheels were priceless. Beyond 3 colors, there were 5, 7, and 9 colored types, all called multicolored wheels. These not only ranked power but also unlocked special skills, combat, medical, or survival. When skill and profession aligned, power amplified to terrifying levels. Such wheels were under 20 of all, making them invaluable. He was thrilled yet cautious. Choosing the wrong color could mean punishment. But the job sigil in the black zone proved it was a reward, not a trap. He wondered if 20 years of bad luck had just flipped, thanks to that kiss. When her lips brushed his hand, something inexplicably changed. Meanwhile, Xiao Xiao and Liang Shumo decided to go back to help him fight. Earlier, Xiao Xiao had begged Shumo to run, convinced no one could survive there. Shumo's faith in him never wavered, warning that fleeing wrongly meant quicker death. Lily argued instead that since zombies went inside, outside was safe now. She pulled her friend away, done arguing with Shumo. Still arrogant, Lily sneered that he wasn't a hero, just a delusional fool. Hearing that, Shumo's fury ignited. Her fists clenched tight. She slapped Lily. Hard blood splattered from Lily's mouth. Shumo shouted, reminding her who saved them from death. Lily snapped, screaming curses wildly. Xiao Xiao panicked, trying to stop her. But Lily didn't stop. She even tried to hit back, still yelling insults. Then she dragged Xiao Xiao away, though Xiao Xiao kept glancing sadly at Shumo. From afar, Wu Gei, the thug from before, watched, grinning at the drama. The scoundrel ordered his men to seize Shumo, planning something vile. His men objected. The area was crawling with zombies, impossible to enter. He sneered, claiming they'd all left and the place was safe now. Xiao Xiao followed Lily, guilt-gnawing for abandoning Shumo. Lily blamed her for the slap, snapping angrily. As they neared a cargo crate, a strange noise made them jump back. Meanwhile, Shumo fumed that those she saved had betrayed her kindness. While cursing them under her breath, she heard a sound behind her, someone approaching. Sure enough, Wu Jie's men had found her. A blonde thug lunged forward, grabbing her like head caught a new toy. He spat filthy words, eyeing her body while others surrounded her. Shumo trembled, asking what they wanted. He answered crudely, cursing, Mie Zhongming. Hearing he was dead shattered her. Tears streamed down her face. But in truth, Zhongming was calmly collecting energy cores from zombie corpses. He sighed at the slow pace, wishing he could loot like in a game. Suddenly, dark clouds gathered as zombies chased Lily and Xiao Xiao. Lily panicked, yelling for silence. No one was coming to help. Zombies closed in, claws nearly reaching them. One swipe almost caught Lily, making her scream. She was struck down, crashing to the ground with a painful cry. As Xiao Xiao reached to help, zombies were already upon them. In desperation, Lily shoved her friend toward the horde to save herself. Xiao Xiao was horrified by the betrayal, a zombie biting into her shoulder. Lily fled, crying apologies, her selfishness laid bare. She ran, muttering she had to live, no matter what. Along the way, she saw Shumo, restrained by thugs, unable to fight back. The blonde one leered, claiming her first, while others demanded their turn. Seeing Xiao Xiao, Shumo struggled harder, tears falling as she cried for help. Lily backed away, but the men spotted her another target and abandoned Shumo to chase. Xiao Xiao turned and ran, screaming for help in terror. Shumo bit the thug's hand hard, breaking free. He howled in pain, cursing furiously. Shumo ran, sobbing, shouting the name she trusted most. But before she got far, another thug grabbed her by the hair. She screamed Mi Zhongming, clinging to her last hope. The man sneered, mocking her for calling some fool's name. A blade suddenly struck his hand. He screamed in agony. Mi Zhongming appeared, pulling her into his arms as she burst into tears of relief. Crying hard, she clung to him tightly, unable to let go. The wounded man roared, warning him not to mess with Wu Jie's crew. Before he could finish, Zhang Ming's fist smashed him across the chest. Midair, a follow-up kick shattered his face completely. Shumo asked about the 2 girls. He told her to wait while he went to find them. Meanwhile, Lily sat crying, whispering empty apologies. Zhang Ming watched silently, recalling Xiao Xiao's corpse had already found. Shumo coldly scolded Lily for wasting the life she had been given. She pointed at the two surviving thugs, asking what to do with them. He calmly said, "Let the zombies handle it. Evil always gets its due." He led them to the media center, already cleared of zombies. Only now did Lily grasp his true power, realizing why Shumo trusted him. Scheming inside, she resolved to stick with him to survive. Mi Zhongming ordered the two to stay while he went to fetch someone. They were shocked he still had someone else to save. It turned out had already wiped out all the zombies in the classrooms. Teacher Fa, lost in despair, suddenly heard urgent knocks at the door. Just as she was about to end her life, the pounding on the door grew louder, freezing her in place. She thought dying by her own hand would hurt less than being torn apart by zombies. Teacher Fa, thinking her students were safe, decided to die, regretting never having loved anyone. Right then, Mi Zhongming burst through the door, jokingly asking if she was okay. Stunned, she dropped the glass shard and burst into tears, thinking she was doomed. He came closer, gently calming her, saying he'd come back to save her. She clung to him, crying, shocked yet moved that head returned. Zhang Ming coughed awkwardly, asking her to let go and stop crying. Overjoyed, she thanked him, and he smiled, saying they should leave first. Rain still fell as they returned to the media center, collecting crystals per his instructions. Shumo asked what value those tiny things had. Lily frowned, disgusted at picking items off corpses. But before she could complain more, Teacher Fa appeared, startling Lily. The two women hugged, sobbing. Teacher Fa immediately asked about Xiao Xiao. Lily recounted everything, making the teacher sigh and pat her head gently. She took the blame, saying she had failed to protect Xiao Xiao, and comforted Lily for being terrified. Shumo couldn't hold back, accusing them of causing Xiao Xiao's death by abandoning everyone. Lily stubbornly argued that if they'd rescued the teacher sooner, things would have been different. Shumo grew furious. How dare they twist the truth and ignore their debt. Lily went on, questioning why he didn't save everyone at once if he was truly good. Shumo snapped, accusing Lily of being the reason Xiao Xiao died in vain. Mi Zhongming instantly slapped Lily, calling her stupid and ungrateful, telling her to stop blaming others. Sternly, he said no one was obliged to save her and she had no right to demand it. Teacher Fei stepped in to ease the tension, saying had already done more than enough. Shumo looked at her approvingly, praising her for her sense and gratitude. Then she asked him about the crystals. He nodded and told them to follow, promising to explain on the way. "This is a tricolor analyzer," he said. "Give me the crystals you gathered." Liang Shumo handed over her pouch. Curious about their use, he told her to wait and see. Lily also handed hers over, but no one knew her true motive. He poured all the crystals into the Wheel of Fate. It judged by energy total, not count, unsure if 26 level on cores would suffice. The machine whirred to life, the wheel spinning rapidly. Excited, he saw his effort paying off as it began to function. The spin stopped at the red zone, ejecting a strange item. Eagerly, he opened the box, expecting a powerful combat class. A message appeared. "You have obtained Glorious Artisan, a basic support profession with crafting and modification skills." He was stunned, mind spinning. This wasn't the mighty role he hoped for. The tricolored wheel yielded two branches: combat and support. For instance, snipers specialized in ranged attacks. Support classes lacked combat power. Artisan was one of them, and at the lowest of 4 tiers he felt cheated for wasting so many crystals on a non-combat job. He blamed his bad luck, crumpling the result sheet in frustration while confusing everyone nearby. Lily demanded to see it, fuming that her hard-earned crystals were wasted, forgetting who killed the zombies first. He stopped hiding and showed the result, acting indifferent about it. In his hand was a strange 5-colored badge head never seen even in his past life. The teacher read his class and abilities, shocking Lily. It felt like a real-life game. Liang Shuomo analyzed it, surprised that this job had 5 unique skills like crafting and enchantment. Enlightened, he snatched the paper back to study the 5 listed skills. The guide detailed gathering, refining, unifying, crafting, enchanting, and socketing, each color symbolizing one power. He laughed at himself for missing the potential earlier and planned to gather more crystals to boost the team's survival odds. The trio agreed to follow the plan, only Lily stayed silent. They dragged zombie corpses away while a stranger secretly watched, impressed by his solo combat. The man suspected they aimed to clear the media center and turn it into a base. Examining the corpses, he frowned. Something wasn't right. Calling for reinforcements, he grinned slyly, plotting to seize their discovery. After exhausting work, Liang Shumo sighed in relief that Wu had collected plenty of crystals. She rubbed her stomach, whining that hunger was draining her strength. He handed her 2 packs of rations to replenish her energy. Shuomo, grateful, reported that the school's water supply was still usable. He took out a backpack for her 3 days: food, tools, and medicine. He sternly told her to guard it well. She was touched but still uneasy. Hesitant, she heard him assure her of his trust before leaving to find the secret key. Lily instantly objected, unhappy that he'd go alone again. Yi Zhongming calmly prepared to depart, saying her company only slowed him down while Lily shouted in fear. He repeated that he wasn't anyone's babysitter. Activating crafting, he made a basic wooden spear and told everyone to protect themselves, especially Lily. Lily recoiled in fright, while the teacher stayed silent. Fa Shu agreed, survival must be learned. The teacher comforted Lily, saying no one could protect others forever, they had to grow strong. He handed the spear over, telling them to use it for defense. Fa Shu accepted it gratefully. Liang Shuomo choked up, urging Ye Zhongming to return safely. He gave no reply, just waved and left, carrying their trust and worry with him. Outside, he scanned the area, realizing he was near where the secret realm had fallen. He finally arrived only to find the secret key was at the new school construction site. Studying the site, he noted how deserted it was. Suddenly, a girl fell right before him. He caught her, stunned at yet another newcomer's arrival. She froze too, shocked to have fallen right onto someone. Frowning, she slipped from his grasp, flipped him down, and demanded his identity and purpose. He broke free, dodging her sudden strike that startled her. He pinned her by the neck against the wall, questioning who she really was. Furious, she claimed to be a security soldier, ordering him to release her, which stunned him briefly. Adjusting her collar, she noted his solid martial background. He smiled, saying he'd trained for nearly 10 years longer than she had. To her surprise, bullets suddenly flew. He yanked her aside behind a rock. He whispered, asking Ho'd start shooting on sight. She said it was her pursuer, confusing him since she was supposed to be security. She sighed, being security was exactly why she was hunted down. As smoke cleared, 3 armed convicts emerged, looking vicious. He recalled such men from his past life, brutal, merciless, and wouldn't hold back. He asked how they got guns. She said the armory had been looted. The 3 killers advanced, each gripping a weapon with bloodthirsty glee. Their leader gave attack orders and asked what to do with him. Coldly, the man said to kill him, bragging about his love for exploding heads. Suddenly, a hidden bullet burst open Dallas' skull before he could act. The remaining 2 panicked, realizing their enemy also had a gun, and sprayed bullets wildly. They fired like amateurs, screaming curses while wasting ammo. The leader drew a backup gun, firing madly without caring about noise. They advanced under heavy fire, only to find the pair had vanished. Hearing a voice above, they looked up to see him aiming down, cursing in terror. A clean shot pierced Lao Qian's back. He dropped instantly. The last one raised his gun, still spewing filth, but the girl lunged, kneeing him hard in the gut before he could react. Then a crushing punch to the chin sent him flying like a rag doll. His face twisted from the blow, body tossed aside like straw. He collapsed, begging for mercy, trembling and sobbing. A sudden gunshot startled the girl. She couldn't tell where it came from. She turned to him, asking why he shot when the man had surrendered. Jumping down, he frowned, too disgusted to explain how Shed survived this cruel world. She checked the corpse, confirmed Head died from a ruptured artery. She demanded why he killed someone already helpless. Turning away, he said coldly that's what a true security soldier should have done, and she hadn't finished her job. She lashed out, but he calmly replied that law no longer mattered. Killers only knew murder and plunder. He warned her that misplaced kindness only doomed more innocents. He revealed his ex-girlfriend had been murdered by such scum, and had never shown mercy again. She fell silent, admitting he was right, but wondering what pain forged his coldness. He resumed searching for the secret key, while she quietly followed behind. Elsewhere, a subordinate reported that 2 tied-up people had been bitten to death by zombies and ran off to relay it. Wu Ji was stunned to hear both of them were dead. A subordinate nervously warned that their foe knew martial arts and urged retreat. Furious, Wu Ji punched him and ordered a massacre, intent on seizing all the gear. The heavy blow made the man tear up, while Wu Gei demanded to know if everyone was assembled. The door swung open. Wu Ji strode in smiling, greeted by cheering underlings. With his crew gathered, he asked if they were about to gang up on some weakling. He falsely claimed the 2 men had been killed by that target, though zombies were the real culprits. Enraged, Wu Ji slapped another subordinate and barked for silence. Clearing his throat, he shouted that laws no longer existed, no need for pretense anymore. The gang roared in agreement, eager to prove strength and crush any obstacle. They vowed to kill anyone ruining their plans. Wu Je's gaze turned venomous. In unison, they declared themselves rulers of the zone, swearing vengeance for their fallen. Seeing them riled up, Wu Ji ordered action, eyes bloodshot with madness. The punched subordinate asked about his role, but Wu Ji sneered, saying he had special business. Near dusk, the girl still tailed him, curiously asking what he was searching for. He calmly said it was a crucial key he must find today. She offered help, genuinely wanting to assist in the search. He thought Head never seen it himself, but said Head recognized it by its unique design. She agreed to help even though the area was vast and night was coming. He smiled, saying the key would glow in the dark, making it easier to find. She gasped, spotting something, and asked if it was what he wanted. He turned happily, then frowned. What she held looked bizarre. She showed him a keychain with an attached key, oddly shaped, and asked again. He scowled, confirming it was unique but not the one they needed. Regretfully, she tossed it away without hesitation. He frowned, sensing movement behind them, something like a dog. She confidently claimed it was, relying on her sharp eyes and canine training. She added that dogs were easy to control if you knew how, insisting it really was one. But the dog looked wrong, mutated, dangerous, clearly infected. It suddenly howled and slammed into the wall, making a terrifying noise that alarmed him. The girl was also shocked by its violent behavior. The beast lunged again. He realized it was a second-tier mutant zombie hound. It charged straight at him. He fired 3 defensive shots. It dodged all of them, rushing in so fast he barely raised an arm, heart pounding. The guard girl screamed, panicking as he was cornered. The hound opened its jaws wide, ready to crush his skull in one bite. Yi Zhongming stumbled back, but the creature suddenly sniffed him, recognizing a familiar scent, and halted. It wagged its tail and licked him like greeting its owner, leaving him dumbfounded while the guard guessed it was being friendly. He was utterly baffled. Why was this zombie hound wagging its tail like a happy puppy? Suddenly, he froze. A wild guess flashing through his mind. Could it be? He remembered his childhood, hearing shouts about a thieving dog. A tiny, trembling pup held something muddy in its mouth, terrified and pitiful. A drunken man raised his foot to kick it. The pup dodged and bolted as the drunk cursed furiously. The man hurled his bottle after it, intent on killing it. The glass struck, making the pup yelp in pain but still struggle upright in fear. He stomped on its tail, pinning it down while laughing cruelly. The dog howled and thrashed, then young Yi Zhongming rushed in. The drunk sneered, asking what the boy thought he was doing, raising his hand to strike. The trembling boy said the dog was sick and had bitten him, his arm aching for days. Hearing that, the drunk paled and backed off, terrified of infection. Yi added it was filthy, covered in feces and urine, making the man recoil in disgust. The pup quivered, barely standing, still frightened. He sighed in relief, glad Head saved the poor thing. The drunk left grumbling, and Ye politely bowed farewell. Turning back, he smiled, proud of rescuing the dog. The pup followed, rubbing against his leg in gratitude. He petted its head, noticing its injured tail and feeling even sorrier for it. It still trembled, so he offered a piece of bread. The dog wagged its tail joyfully, barking woof, before gobbling it up. Yi watched sadly. His family didn't allow pets. Before leaving, he waved goodbye to the little dog wistfully. After that, they became inseparable, playing together as it grew up. Smiling emotionally, he called its name Dai Huang Huang. The guard girl laughed, realizing it was his old dog, still loyal even in mutation. He explained it had been a stray he fed, plump and golden like a ball, so Head named it Dai Huang Huang. He stopped talking as the dog kept licking him, the bond still unbroken. The girl was surprised to see his gentle side. Elsewhere, 3 teammates ate rations in the dim light. Lily curiously asked what else was inside the backpack. Liang Shuomo replied curtly that she couldn't finish what was already shared. Lily snapped back, accusing her of hoarding meat, until the teacher intervened. Liang Shuomo, irritated, said Shed already shared enough, return it if she didn't want it. Angry, Lily grabbed for the bag but was held back, still struggling. The teacher was startled as Liang Shuomo declared it was entrusted to her, no one else could touch it. Lily persisted, demanding equal portions, unafraid even when Ye Zhongming's name was mentioned. The teacher calmed them, saying there was no need to fight since sharing had already been done. Lily reluctantly stopped but muttered insults under her breath. The teacher was shocked by Lily's words, while Liang Shuomo seethed at the disrespect. Fa Shu comforted them, reminding that the food wasn't theirs to begin with, they should be grateful. Lily retorted that morals solved nothing, urging the teacher to help her steal the food since she doubted the supplier would return. Elsewhere, Yi Zhongming sneezed suddenly. Someone must have been bad-mouthing him. The guard girl asked with concern. He chuckled, joking that someone must be thinking of him. The trio and the dog continued on, flashlights lighting their way. He said the darker it got, the easier it'd be to spot items. The light was something Head scavenged. Suddenly, another zombie crept up silently from behind. As danger closed in, he quickly activated a glowing device for defense. He grinned, realizing Head stumbled upon something crucial, clearing debris excitedly. A golden glow revealed the secret key Head been searching for. He gripped the faintly shining key, joy lighting up his face. The girl smiled, glad to see his hard work finally pay off. Out of nowhere, a massive tongue wrapped around her from behind. She turned to see a giant deformed frog about to swallow her whole. Frozen in fear, he slashed swiftly, severing the tongue and saving her. Yi Zhongming seemed transformed, unleashing his empowered skill to battle the monster, while she gaped at the sudden mutant lizard-like beast. The lizard attacked with its limbs, but he dodged as the dog bit fiercely at its leg. The creature eyed the dog hungrily, as if eyeing its next meal. While it was distracted, he slashed its eye, blinding one side. The beast shrieked, blood gushing from its ruined socket. Panting hard, Ye lured it uphill to change the battle's terrain. Enraged, it charged after him like a berserk monster. Just then, the Tier 2 mutant dog dashed forward to block its path. Yi shouted for it to move, not wanting it hurt, but Dai Huang Huang stubbornly stood guard, refusing to retreat. The two beasts collided size clearly against the dog. The dog roared defiantly while Yi worried desperately for its safety. The lizard lunged, jaws wide for a killing bite. Unexpectedly, Dai Huang Huang leapt up and clamped down on its head. The creature screamed, thrashing violently and hurling the dog skyward amid flying dirt and stone. The blow sent the dog crashing down, yelping in agony. It landed near the guard girl but still rose bravely, eyes fierce. The monster raised its claws to crush the wounded dog. He couldn't stand by. He dashed in, intercepting the strike with his blade. He was flung backward, clearly overpowered by the creature's strength. It loomed, jaws opening to finish him off. Suddenly, a sharp weapon shot through its skull, killing it instantly. The attacker was the guard girl, unable to stay idle while their lives were at risk. Dai Huang Huang barked triumphantly as she gasped for breath. Yi praised her, admitting she truly fought like a warrior. She stayed silent, eyes glimmering with emotion. The dog bounded over joyfully. Yi patted its head, proud of its courage. He yelped as it barked and tried to lick his face. Dai Huang Huang pounced, slobbering all over him while he awkwardly pushed it off. The guard girl smiled softly at the sight. While they celebrated, two shadowy figures appeared briefly, then vanished into the darkness. Yi Zhongming grew serious again, stabbing his blade into the corpse to mark the end of rest. The girl curiously asked what he was doing, and he held something out to her. She gasped. It was a rare crystal, a vital resource in this zombie-infested world. Touching it in awe, she asked if it was some kind of magic energy core. He smiled, saying it surpassed even what magic could achieve. She asked how to use it. He hesitated, then hinted at a trade. When he set conditions, she frowned and refused, saying she'd figure it out herself. Martin. He thought privately that someone like Xing Fei or Shuomo wouldn't have turned him down. Coldly, she told him to go, leaving him disappointed though still clinging to the idea of alliance. He rubbed his hands awkwardly, as if about to say something important. He proposed forming a team to boost survival odds in this chaos. She pondered it made sense. He lowered his head in guilt, while the dog nudged him comfortingly. Then her eyes softened. She nodded in agreement. Though she found him strange, she sensed he wasn't a bad man. They shook hands. An uneasy alliance between Yi Zhongming and Mo Ye was born. Elsewhere, the corpse of a soldier lay untouched until someone found a real gun and grinned with delight. His comrade quickly hushed him, warning not to make noise. A scarred man pointed toward Yi Zhongming and Mo Ye's direction, and the group began moving. They approached with guns raised, hurling insults and ordering the pair to stop. One accused Ye of killing their two comrades, demanding payback. Mo Ye whispered for names. Yi frowned, recognizing them as the same criminals from before. One thug shouted and aimed to shoot, but his gun jammed. He panicked, squeezing the trigger to no effect. Confused, he asked about the safety. His ally cursed him for being too stupid to switch it off. Suddenly, the dog lunged before they could react. It bit down hard on the fool's gun arm, making him scream and drop the weapon. He shrieked for help, face pale as paper. Lao Dao stumbled back in fear, realizing the dog was a zombie hound, its victim doomed. Mo Ye appeared behind Lao Dao like a phantom. Before he could react, she kicked his face, snapping his head sideways. Lightning fast, she locked his arm and threw him down, disabling him completely. The impact sent up dust as he spat blood, eyes rolling in shock. Yi shivered in awe, sweat dripping. Her combat skill was terrifying. He demanded to know who Wu Gi was, the one who ordered the hit. The wounded man whimpered, bleeding heavily. Yi threatened coldly, ordering him to talk or die. Meanwhile, elsewhere, a blonde underling asked Wu Ge if he wanted to grab dinner now that things had quieted down. Wu Ji snapped, berating him for laziness and asking about scavenging from zombies. Then he inhaled deeply, eyes glinting with scheming intent. The blonde thug still didn't get it, saying the stuff they collected was worthless. Wu Ji didn't bother explaining. He punched the fool square in the face. He thought to himself that those crystals couldn't exist for no reason. They must hold special value, especially since many zombie corpses had their crystals dug out, proving their importance. At the media center, Liang Shuomo slept soundly, hugging the backpack. Lily, however, stared at it with greedy calculation in her eyes. Once sure both Shuomo and the teacher were asleep, Lily crept into action. Her eyes gleamed coldly as she gripped a sharp shard of glass, ready to strike. Her mind fumed with resentment, blaming Shuomo for always being favored by Zhongming. While Shuomo slept, Lily whispered curses, determined to take the life-saving pack. Just then, Teacher Fa woke and asked what Lily was doing. Startled, Lily hid the glass and lied she was just going to the restroom. The teacher said nothing more, watching as Lily left, only for Lily to scowl and resume her plot once out of sight. Water trickled as Lily washed her face, trying to steady herself. She frowned in frustration, hating how others still trusted people in this apocalyptic mess. She reminded herself that whoever controls resources survives. Clenching her fists, she decided only self-reliance worked, no softness like Teacher Fa's. Her betrayal fully formed just as hurried footsteps echoed nearby. Lily panicked, running back as Shuomo and Teacher Fa woke and armed themselves. Fa Xuan asked worriedly what was happening. Shuomo trembled, insisting zombies couldn't get in, trying to calm herself. But the door bent inward, nearly bursting off its hinges. Shuomo froze. Those weren't zombies, but humans. The pounding grew louder, like a battering ram. Lily was terrified, realizing the door wouldn't hold much longer. The door exploded open. A gang of thugs stormed in, faces twisted with malice. Their leader grinned sleazily at the sight of women inside. Teacher Fa backed away in fear, asking what they wanted. Shuomo tried to fight with a stick, but was easily disarmed, while Lily hid herself. Smoke from a cigarette puffed into Shuomo's face. They leered disgustingly at the teacher, making filthy remarks. One said to grab the short-haired girl, but another reminded him Wu Ge forbade touching women. Dong Zika scoffed, saying Wu Ji wasn't here, so he was in charge, and claimed they were allies of the enemy. A trembling thug went to grab Lily, swaggering nastily. Dong Zika approached Teacher Fa, boasting he'd been her student and now intended to exploit that. Another pinned Shuomo, while one shone a light on her face to confirm who she was. They realized she looked like an online idol they'd once watched. Their mocking laughter made Shuomo cry, praying Ye Zhongming would return in time. Elsewhere, the two captured thugs hung tied up, while Di Huanghuang circled them like a guard dog, making them shake in fear. Mo Ye asked what came next. Ye Zhongming said he'd confront Wu Ge head-on instead of running. She urged preparation, but he replied chaos ruled now, truth must be faced. He moved forward, the dog following, leaving Mo Ya to decide. In the end, Mo Ye chose to go with him, reasoning their cooperation benefited both. She then asked the purpose of the secret key. She was stunned when he said it could open the future nonsense in an age of chaos. He explained she had seen mutant zombies and beasts, proof that all rules were broken. She asked when to use the key, but he said not yet, eyes burning to avoid past tragedy. Meanwhile, Lily was being chased, hurried footsteps closing in. With weak stamina, she couldn't outrun a grown man. The pursuer got more excited, threatening to tie her up once caught. Lily reached a locked door, panicked as the knob wouldn't budge. He caught up, making her sob and retreat in despair. He grabbed her face, venting years of humiliation on her. He raved that the apocalypse let him force anyone, while Lily lied to survive. His frenzy grew, he lost all control. Lily trembled, begging mercy, saying she was just a harmless schoolgirl. She even tried to flatter him, willing to submit for a chance to live. He gripped her shoulders, laughing, but said he couldn't betray Dong Zige. He planned to take her to his boss while she begged in vain. He lied that she wouldn't die as long as he was there. Lily hit a shard of glass, ready to fight back if cornered. He dragged her to the gang's base, boasting head caught her. She froze upon seeing Teacher Fa tortured and bleeding. He mocked the teachers suffering like a sick game, horrifying Lily further. Dong Zige sneered that the teacher's resistance ruined his fun but stayed cruel. Da Bai, who attacked earlier, had his face bitten and wept in pain. Lily rushed to her teacher, no longer composed. Dong Zige pointed at Lily, declaring she was his now. When asked, he insisted Lily wanted to join them. Dong Zige smirked that Lily was smart, while the fat guy flattered him. He barked at Lily to come closer and stop crying. Lily forced a smile and softly greeted Dong Ji. Dong Zige asked again, and she confirmed her loyalty and obedience. He pointed at Shu Mo, ordering Lily to prove loyalty by subduing her friend. Shu Mo cursed Lily's betrayal, accusing her of turning on her savior. Lily slapped Shu Mo hard, denying all past kindness. Shu Mo called her a beast, eyes burning with fury. Dong Zige laughed, telling her to hit again, treating Shu Mo like entertainment. Lily sneered, saying she already hated Shu Mo and was glad for revenge. Shu Mo stared in disbelief that her suffering companion had become this. Lily yanked her hair and struck again before the thugs. Shu Mo glared murderously, while Lily mocked her looks with sarcasm. Dong Zige nodded, saying Lily was now worthy to join them. He handed Lily to the fat man, claiming she was now his woman. The fat man grinned, boasting Lily was his now. She clenched her teeth in hate. Dong Zige gathered everyone for an announcement. He reminded them that once followed Sai Ge, but after he turned zombie, they served Lao Wu. Hearing Sai Ge's name, the underlings fumed, cursing Lao Wu as cowardly and greedy. Dong Zige fueled their anger, saying Lao Wu sent them to kill while he ran away. He roared that in this chaos, why serve a coward like that? The thugs shouted in unison to follow Dong Zige from now on. Dong Zige grinned wickedly, declaring Lao Wu's death day had come. Just then, a scout rushed in to report. He said the dining room was empty and Lao Wu hadn't returned. Dong Zige entered as the door opened, seizing a chance to raid Han Market. Suddenly, a bone hit his face hard, twisting it in pain. Furious, he demanded who threw it, spotting Ji Zhongming and Mo Ye. Ji Zhongming calmly said he'd just eaten and was leaving, brimming with luck. Mo Ye wiped his mouth, while Dong Zige realized they'd eaten the chicken his gang hesitated over. He angrily demanded to know who they were and why they were here. Ji Zhongming stood, declaring he was the hunted man, now offering himself up. Dong Zige wondered if Lao Wu had failed to kill him. Ji Zhongming laughed, saying had already finished off the assassins. He added the next to die was the gang leader. One thug raged, but Dong Zige stayed calm. That thug dragged Liang Shumo out as a hostage, asking if she was Ji Zhongming's woman. Ji Zhongming stayed silent, while Mo Ye scoffed that hostage-taking was pathetic. Dong Zige mocked him, saying he was scared for his girl and insulting Shumo. Ji Zhongming denied any special tie and warned Dong Zige coldly. He suddenly hurled a chicken bone, stabbing Dong Zige's hand and shouting for her to run. Dong Zige screamed in pain, clutching his hand and cursing madly. Ji Zhongming grabbed Liang Shumo, while Dong Zige ordered his men to attack. He handed the girl to Mo Ye, telling him to protect her. Then he faced the rushing enemies alone, ready to fight. One lunged, but he dodged with a tilt of his head. The attacker gaped, then got smashed back with no chance to respond. One punch knocked out his teeth, emergency needed as soon as possible. Still, Dong Zige mocked them for being beaten so easily. Four more surrounded Ji Zhongming at once. Calm as ever, he saw he was outnumbered and thought to change tactics. Unable to fight head-on, he feigned orders and taunted them as weaklings. A thug, with iron knuckles, roared and charged, full of false confidence. Ji Zhongming sidestepped smoothly, disappointed at such poor skill. He caught the man's arm and twisted it brutally, making him scream. The man writhed on the ground, useless and howling in agony, cursed by his own mates. Another rushed from behind, trying to grab Ji Zhongming. He spun, seized the man's head, and slammed him down till bones cracked. The last thug froze in horror, backing off in fear. The fat one shoved his comrade aside, cursing and pointing an axe at Ji Zhongming. Seeing the weapons come out, he stayed cool. Fear wasn't in his dictionary. He dodged swiftly and punched the fat man's knife hand. The fat man laughed, thumping his chest and bragging his fat made him tougher. Ji Zhongming moved so fast he left afterimages, striking the hand and knocking the weapon away. Seizing the chance, he leapt and kicked the man's face. The thunderous kick dropped the fat man, scaring the rest into retreat. A can-wielding thug appeared, threatening to kill the teacher if he moved. Ji Zhongming sensed the danger, his face tightening in tension. The thug admitted he was using the teacher as leverage, yanking her hair while she cried for Lily. He demanded Ji Zhongming kneel and surrender. With no choice, he knelt silently, face filled with strain and rage. The thug smirked in triumph, then got smashed in the face. A brick flew into his nose, splattering blood everywhere. The thrower was Lily, flawed but loyal, never betraying her teacher. Taking advantage, the thugs were swiftly tied up. Lily burst into tears, hugging teacher Fa as she was gently comforted. Liang Shumo scolded Lily for betrayal, while Mo Yi quietly studied their connection. Lily stayed silent. Teacher Fa defended her, saying it was all an act to save her. Mo Ye tried to mediate, claiming Lily was enduring to strike back. Shumo refused to believe it. Zi Zhongming stepped in, ordering them to stop since Lily just saved the teacher. Shumo hugged him, crying over his absence. He soothed her to calm down. Mo Ye quietly noted she seemed rather prideful. Lily simply watched everyone without a word. At last, the four of them reunited after all the chaos. Meanwhile, the three-colored roulette kept spinning, drawing others' attention. Wu Ge arrived, discovering the enemy's power source and collecting crystals for dark purposes. His underling pointed to the spinning wheel, saying it might grant a valuable prize. Wu Ji said nothing, just tapped the lackey's head painfully as the wheel stopped on black. He rejoiced wildly, and the gang cheered, thinking they'd struck gold. The system announced, "You've gained a new class, Novice Alchemist." Though weak in combat, it was vital for long-term growth. An old man appeared to confirm the change. Wu Ji was crushed, furious that all his effort led to a support class. Enraged, he kicked his lackey and ordered a search for more loot in the base. They gathered over 20 crystals, but all were spent on that spin. He didn't know leftover crystals weren't refunded. The next player only needed to top up. A henchman handed him a backpack full of Ji Zhongming's stuff, heavy with potential loot. Opening it, he found only rope, cans, and a medical kit junk at first glance. But inside was a vial of basic enhancement drug, boosting power to soldier level with deadly risk. Wu Ge beamed, treating it like a rare treasure. His lackey curiously asked how he even knew what the drug did. Wu Ji stammered a vague reply, leaving his men utterly confused. He suddenly realized his alchemist class let him see the drug's full details. Eyes blazing, he guessed his rival had used this very drug to fight zombies. Despite the danger, he gulped it down, ignoring his men's frantic warnings. Pain exploded through his body as the drug's effects kicked in. He screamed in agony as every muscle spasmed violently. His men panicked, seeing smoke rise from Wu Jie's body. Abian freaked out and ran, mumbling about getting help. A loud crash from the door made him jump. A flaming zombie burst in, charging at him. Abian trembled as the red zombie swung a massive punch his way. He tried to defend himself, screaming, certain he'd die. But the blow never landed. Wu Ge, powered by the drug, had stepped in to block it. He grinned confidently, boasting he was now stronger than ever. Abian gawked in awe while Wu Ji thrilled at his newfound power. At dawn, Ji Zhongming led everyone back to their base. He welcomed them, telling them to unpack and then find Mo Jingfei. They brought back all the supplies from Wu Jie's place trip, well worth it. He called out for Mo Jingfei, but no one answered. As he passed a hall, someone called urgently for him to come see. Liang Shumo pointed to the first-floor kitchen, a mess like it'd been looted. Ji Zhongming was puzzled, unsure what had happened. He soon found a bloodstained note marked with Mo Jingfei's traces. It mentioned a roulette at the supermarket. He grew furious and worried. Meanwhile, Wu Ji gasped for breath after slaying a mutant zombie. He laughed wildly at his bloody hands, high on newfound power. Abian praised him as unstoppable, saying zombies were no threat now. Wu Ji declared head hunt down and wipe out every last zombie. He patted Abian's shoulder, ordering him to find Dong Jie's group. The two returned to base, Abian guessing Dong Ji hadn't come back yet. As they opened the door, both froze at the shocking sight inside. Abian screamed in disbelief at what he saw. Dong Zige's gang lay tied up, some unconscious without even needing ropes. One conscious thug blurted that their boss was dead and the loot stolen. Wu Ge dashed to the storage room, face tightening in dread. The empty vault made him roar in rage, crushing the door and vowing revenge. Ji Zhongming suddenly shivered, worrying Liang Shumo, but he said it was just a strange feeling. She and Mo Ye brought him food, while Teacher Fa handed him warm water. He suspected Mo Jingfei was in danger and planned to trace the supermarket roulette. Liang Shumo nervously asked if Mo Jingfei was his girlfriend. He firmly replied they were just partners, nothing personal. Hearing that, Liang Shumo brightened and eagerly asked to join. Hoping to be of help, he patted her head, warning not to slow the mission. Everyone must pull their weight. He reassessed the team. Liang Shumo was loyal, Mo Ye skilled, Teacher Fa's power unknown. Guessing his thoughts, Teacher Fa volunteered to join, citing her medical expertise. He agreed but warned he couldn't guarantee their safety, then asked if Mo Ye was in. Mo Ye smiled and accepted, trusting him after all they'd survived. The group gathered supplies and prepared for their new journey. Ji Zhongming worried the search for Mo Jingfei might outlast their limited rations. Mo Ye asked why he seemed uneasy. He said they could only carry essentials. Mo Ye suggested storing the rest, saying it was unsafe to leave behind. Her clever idea surprised him. It was like a light bulb moment. They went to the security bureau and seized a military truck. Mo Ye proudly explained it was a strategic vehicle once issued by headquarters, earning his admiration. The truck had armor, all-terrain wheels, huge capacity, no missiles. But he said that was fine. He thanked Mo Ye sincerely. She smiled, saying teammates help each other. Meanwhile, Abian nervously asked Wu Ge if they'd leave the school, but Wu Jie growled about hunting their base wrecker. Furious, he recalled Dong Zis' attempted mutiny, never thought he'd have to kill his own men. Remembering their cries for help, Wu Ji felt no pity and let them die. Licking his blade, eyes wild, he swore Ji Zhongming wouldn't live long. Meanwhile, the group drove from the safety bureau, crushing zombies under the truck. Ji Zhongming felt safer in the armored ride, while Mo Ye boasted no zombie could stop it. Inside, they chatted easily. Fa Shuying praised Mo Ye, but Liang Shumo sulked. Jealous, Liang Shumo fumed that she hadn't proven her worth yet. Ji Zhongming reread the note, saying the clue only mentioned a roulette no location, so they'd check supermarkets. Suddenly, Mo Ye shouted, spotting a massive zombie horde like a tidal wave. He gawked as countless zombies fled, not attacking but running in terror. Liang Shumo screamed, pointing at something horrifying in the distance. A creature leapt over the zombies, landing like a falling meteor. The ground quaked. Water burst from drains. The thing looked like a giant ape. The zombie ape stood over 23 meters tall. Fleeing zombies were mere ants beneath it. One unlucky zombie got snatched and chewed alive like a snack. Ji Zhongming frowned. This was the mutant white ape, a vicious evolved zombie. He admitted his current power couldn't match that monster head-on. Though planning retreat, he remembered its weakness from a past life's deadly battle. He shivered at the memory, nearly dying then, and now the ape had noticed their truck. He signaled the team to brace, then swerved hard in reverse as the engine roared. The truck slammed into a roadside pillar and got stuck. He cursed as the beast charged. It leapt so hard the asphalt cracked, its massive weight crashing straight toward them. From this view, its body nearly matched the truck's size. The impact rocked the whole vehicle. If not for the armor, they'd be paced still. Windows shattered and everyone was tossed around. Amid chaos, Ji Zhongming's eyes stayed sharp, fearless. He frowned. This was the worst-case scenario, the windshield gone, red monster eyes glaring in. He jerked the wheel, trying to fling the zombie ape off the roof. The truck shook violently, but it clung tight, so he handed control to Mo Ye. Mo Ye froze, unsure if he truly meant to fight that nightmare head-on. Without hesitation, he jumped out, facing the zombie ape atop the truck. Before it reacted, he kicked it straight in the mouth, gripping the truck edge for balance. The blow sent the beast flying back, snarling in pain. Then its long tail snapped out, wrapping around his leg. Shocked, he realized he couldn't move, completely trapped. The ape yanked him off the truck, flinging both into the air. They crashed down hard. His back slammed the ground painfully. The truck screeched to a stop. Mo Ye shouted his name as he struggled to breathe. The ape rose unharmed, stepping from the dust toward him. Part of its mask had cracked, revealing a hairy, savage face. It grinned wickedly, thinking victory certain over the helpless human. Roaring triumphantly, it beat its chest like celebrating a kill, but it was wrong. It swung a massive punch meant to crush Ji Zhongming once and for all. At that instant, bullets sliced through the air, forcing it to block with its arms. It turned toward the gunfire. Mo Ye stood in the truck doorway, aiming straight at it. Interrupted, it howled madly, drooling rage, eyes blazing crimson. It charged the truck, dodging every bullet with terrifying speed. Each round missed. Its agility was monstrous. Reaching the truck, it smashed the door flat, but Mo Ye leapt clear just in time, gun still in hand. Inside, everyone screamed. Liang Shumo panicked at Mo Ye being chased, while Teacher Fa trembled at her first glimpse of such a monster. Outside, clashes echoed as Mo Ye and the zombie ape circled the truck in a desperate standoff. She kept firing, forcing the creature back and buying time to reposition. Wounded, it shrieked in humiliation, chased and shot like prey. It lashed out. She stumbled back, mind blank with fear. As it lunged again, she ducked under the truck, heart pounding as its blow crashed down. Frustrated by the miss, the zombie ape roared, fury boiling over. It roared, pounded its chest, then leapt onto the truck, trying to lift it clean off the ground. Liang Shumo and Teacher Fa screamed as the vehicle began to tip. Teacher Fei was thrown out of the truck by the violent impact. Spotting her, the zombie ape paused, reaching out to grab and devour her. She dropped flat, barely dodging its lunge. Still, its claws raked her back. Blood streamed as she collapsed in pain. Liang Shumo panicked, screaming helplessly. Just as the beast roared in triumph, a sharp whistle cut through the air. Ji Zhongming appeared with the dog Di Huang Huang, both ready to fight. Though outmatched, the dog charged the mutant ape head-on. The ape roared and swung a crushing punch. Di Huang Huang dodged nimbly, springing onto its shoulder without hesitation. It barked and snapped, got flung off, yet jumped back to attack again. Ji Zhongming used the distraction to rush to his teammates. Mo Yi tossed him her gun and shouted his name. Catching it, confidence surged through him, battle mode on. He activated crafting skill, enhancing the weapon's power. The ape grew furious, bellowing wildly. As it lunged for Dai Huang Huang, the dog dodged with lightning speed. Not only that, it aimed a bite at the creature's arm, but the blow sent it flying, snapping off its two horns in chaos. The dog crashed over 10 meters away, writhing in agony. The ape rose, glaring murderously at the dog, then turned as someone taunted it. Enraged by the insult, it spun toward Ji Zhongming. Furious at the weak human, he aimed at its exposed spot, ready for a lethal shot. The bullet struck its bare spine, making it howl in agony. Eyes bulging, it collapsed heavily, cracking the pavement beneath. Ji Zhongming realized its mutation exposed the spine, its fatal weak point. He looked at the gun, thankful for the enhancement skill, otherwise even that shot might failed. Inside, Liang Shumo dressed Teacher Fa's wound as she groaned in pain. Gritting her teeth, sweat dripping, Teacher Fa endured silently. Hearing the scream, Ji Zhongming rushed in, worried sick. He accidentally glimpsed her bare back mid-treatment. She shrieked, ordering him out immediately. Flustered, he apologized and slammed the door shut, face red. Mo Ye asked for an update. He said the wound wasn't life-threatening. Leaving the truck, he couldn't shake the turmoil from his mind. Sitting beside Dai Huang Huang, he stroked its head with pity, worried its mutated wounds would heal slowly. Then Liang Shumo called out that Teacher Fa was still bleeding badly, urgent care needed. Mo Ye said stitching was tough without anesthetic or tools. Ji Zhongming, recalling his past life, feared she couldn't handle the pain unmedicated. He suggested searching a nearby private clinic for supplies and painkillers. Liang Shumo asked about the friend who'd gone to the supermarket with him. Ji Zhongming smiled, saying Mo Jingfei would be fine, no need to worry. He remembered Shed become a top-tier fighter later, hardly easy prey. Mo Ye proposed splitting up headhunt medicine. Shed scout the supermarket, promising not to act recklessly. He worries the road still hides dangerous monsters. She confidently insists he not underestimate her, she's trained for this. Zhongming falls silent, seemingly swayed by Mo Ye's resolve. She gives a thumbs up, vowing to fulfill her guard duty. He reluctantly agrees, warning her to stay alert. Before leaving, he warns the rotation disc might attract zombies. He recalls past betrayal and hopes this time will differ. Meanwhile, Abian and Wu Ji pedal away from a zombie chase. Wu Jie enjoys the wind. Abian asks where to go next. Wu Ji doesn't answer but assumes the enemy heads to a key site. He nearly guesses right, muttering as if he knows the man's route. His eyes gleam dangerously. He's sure they'll hit the supermarket for supplies. Hearing that, Abian speeds up, praising Wu Jie's wit, heading for Keihua Market. Arriving, they ditch the bikes. Wu Ji notes the place seems abandoned. Abian grows wary of zombies, while Wu Gi acts fearless. Abian finds the market empty, angering Wu Ji as everything's looted. Suddenly, an instant noodle pack drops. Abian cheers at the find. When picking it up, they spot a mutant zombie staring from the shelf. The zombie hisses eerily, head twitching unnaturally. Then it leaps down, attacking like a beast, not a normal zombie. Abian screams. Wu Ge braces to fight, but it turns to stare at Abian. It doesn't attack, only walks away calmly. Abian wonders why Wu Ji guesses it's searching for something and decides to follow. They quietly trail it. Abian hauls a heavy pack when odd sounds halt them. Ahead, zombies cluster around a strange device, seemingly drawn to it. The zombies bite the cloth strapped to the machine, acting bizarrely. Abian panics, begging Wu Ji to flee. They've hit a death nest. But Wu Ge stays, eyes gleaming, calling it a rare chance. Meanwhile, Mo Ye scouts with gun in hand, cautious on the familiar road. A small supermarket appears ahead. She decides to investigate. Inside's cramped but still has a few useful items. In a corner lies a slain zombie, flies swarming in sunset light. After gathering supplies, she checks again, nothing left. She sighs, no trace of the rotation disc, so this isn't the spot. She heads for Keihua Market, the largest one, worrying for Zhongming. Meanwhile, Zhongming drives full speed to the hospital with Fa Shipo. Liang Shumo says her condition worsened. She's fainted. At the private clinic, he jumps out, telling them to hold on till he returns. Liang Shumo watches him disappear, heart heavy with unease. Fa Shipo, half conscious, moans in pain, making Shumo more anxious. She checks the wound, blood still gushes. Her face pales in fear. Shumo prays, Zhongming returns soon. Fa Shipo can't last long. Zhongming dashes into the hospital, spotting the pharmacy and surgery rooms. He sprints down corridors, hunting for supplies as fast as possible. Suddenly, something whooshes past. He barely dodges. Before him swings a massive tail, a mutant zombie crocodile. He curses his bad luck. The beast's body bristles with bones. As it closes in, he retreats, muttering about trouble. Compared to beasts like Dai Huang Huang or the white ape, this crocodile is far stronger. Early in the apocalypse, people learned such creatures weren't from Earth but outer space. These alien beings, called guardian beasts, guard valuable supply zones, but he's not here for prizes. Studying it, he deems the crocodile a level 2 guardian beast beyond his current strength. Luckily, past life monster experience lets him calmly retreat to prep again. Liang Shumo sees him return and rushes to ask, but he stays silent, running off. She's baffled, eyes filled with confusion. He opens the trunk, rummaging through supply crates for something special. Finding a crossbow, he cheers, tells Liang Shumo to tend Fa Shi Po, then runs back. He re-enters the hospital, vowing to gather missing materials inside. Liang Shumo watches anxiously, trusting his calculations despite the fear. Inside, he starts crafting. Relieve the materials are all there. Knowing direct combat's suicide, he plans to slow the beast using enhanced tools. He knows enhancement magic needs matching materials in type and quantity. Though his skills limited, proper mixing boosts weapon power like real sorcery. He adds energy crystals to arrowheads and plans a giant metal net next. The imbuing technique fuses materials while keeping their traits like ice and steel, making a cold blade. He combines iron mesh with blue shielding netting, hoping it'll trap the crocodile as theorized. When ready, he stares at the beast and whispers the moment of decision is here. He charges forward, firing 3 enhanced arrows at once, eyes cold and focused. The beast reflexively raises its limb, blocking one as the arrows strike before it. Another lands nearby, harmlessly. Only the last pierces its tail, pinning it in place. The crocodile roars if it could speak. It demand why he nailed its tail down. Overjoyed, he whips out the blue shield net time to act. But the net's added materials make it heavy. He gasps for air after blocking the beast. He rejoices surgical tools, bandages, needles, anesthetics, and painkillers all ready for use. Meanwhile, the crocodile struggles to pull the arrow out, tail thrashing wildly. Trapped in the iron net, it howls in fury, screeching meaningless sounds. At last, it stomps the net and rips itself free. With a deafening roar, it turns and charges madly toward Zhang Ming's last spot. Hes turned away, unaware he's now the target. In the biggest supermarket, all zombies lie slaughtered and scattered. Wu Ji, exhausted yet thrilled, confirms this is the place they sought. He stares at the revealed rotation disc, excitement surging inside. ABN hides in a corner, peeking out only when silence falls, stunned by the carnage. Wu Ji lifts the white cloth, revealing a fresh, barely used device. He yells for ABN to fetch zombie crystals, kicking him hard for slowness. Though disgusted and scared, ABN obeys, holding back nausea as he digs out crystals. Wu Gi inspects the disc as ABN hands over 9 crystals in total. Seeing the bloody crystals, he nods slightly, acknowledging ABN's effort. But realizing 1 crystal short of activation, he fumes, forced to wait for more zombies. Rage erupts, he beats ABN again, cursing him useless as the blows grow harsher. Elsewhere, Mo Ye finally arrives, eyes firm on Kui Hua Market. This is it. She senses the place cleaned out, the silence too unnatural. Just before stepping in, her instinct warns of danger lurking inside. Meanwhile, the guardian crocodile goes berserk, standing tall and shrieking madly. Liang Shumo startles at the strange roar, dread rising within. Seeing Fa Shi Po barely breathing, her thoughts turn to Zhang Ming's fate. She rewraps her friend's wound, deciding she can't just wait. Resolute, she opens the car door and rushes toward the hospital. Leaving her teammate behind, she sprints full speed, praying Zhang Ming is safe. Upon arrival, she freezes. The beast is tearing through the door. The hospital door rips apart under its roar, echoing horribly. Liang Shumo backs away in terror, stunned by the monstrous sight. Inside, Zhang Ming desperately barricades the door as the creature smashes everything its power beyond belief. She quickly judges the situation, deciding to distract it so others can escape. Looking around, she spots several eggs scattered along the hallway. Instantly, she realizes what they truly are. The crocodile growls in frustration after failing to catch Zhang Ming. It lashes its tail, shattering a side window violently. Zhang Ming shields himself from flying glass, grimacing, his gears too weak to hold it off. The beast's relentless fury makes him suspect it's guarding something hidden inside. As his gaze tracks the monster, he suddenly sees Liang Shumo outside and his heart freezes. The beast keeps smashing the wall with its tail, nearly breaking it apart. Zhang Ming feels a heavy blow of anger. Furious, she risked herself and worsened the chaos. Another tail strike lands right on target. Zhang Ming dives for cover, clutching his arm in pain, cursing as the creature senses him and attacks. Liang Shumo stays put, thinking hard, telling herself not to fear as it nears Zhang Ming. She clenches her fists. This time she'll be the one saving him, not the one saved. Then she dashes to the eggs, shouting loudly to lure the beast away. Hearing her cry, the monster turns to see who dares taunt it. Spotting her near the eggs, it charges, stomping furiously. Zhang Ming freezes, shocked at her recklessness facing such danger. Seizing the chance, he slips from the pharmacy as the beast leaves its post. Running, he shouts her name, heart pounding with fear for her safety. Despite the charging giant, she stays firm and unshaken. As it raises its claws to strike, she spins and bumps into the eggs on purpose. Realizing its brood's in danger, the creature halts instantly. 3 eggs roll away, distracting it and forcing a pause in attack. Confused which to chase, it hesitates. She exhales in relief. Her plan worked. It manages to save just 1 egg, calming slightly at the small victory. Zhang Ming watches in awe at her cleverness and courage. As she runs from the chaos, she trips over debris, losing balance. Just before she falls, Zhang Ming catches her, scolding in fear while she smiles and urges him to run. He grabs her hand, and they flee the hospital together. Soon outside, she glances back, relieved the beast doesn't follow. He explains it's guarding its eggs. But the relief fades as he yells at her for her reckless stunt, voice edged with worry. Hurt, she softly explains, she only wanted to save him. Seeing her saddened face, he can't stay angry, guilt washing over him. He says nothing more, silently grateful for her care. In the dark night, corpses gather again at the supermarket where the rotation disc hides beneath a cloth. Moye scouts the zombie-filled site, bumping into a crude man bragging about his luck seeing her in uniform. Disgusted by his filthy talk, she readies her fists to teach him a lesson. After retrieving medicine and needles, Zhang Ming treats Fa Shu Ying, burning with fever and blood loss. When finished stitching, he warns the pain will worsen once the anesthetic fades. Fa Shu Ying whispers sadly that the scar will mar her once cherished looks. Zhang Ming comforts her being alive as blessing enough, then accepts her faint thanks. When he steps out of the car, Liang Shumo rushes to ask. He says the girl's safe, just needs rest. A stomach growl breaks the afternoon quiet. Zhang Ming turns in surprise. Liang Shumo scratches her head shyly, laughing to cover the awkwardness. He chuckles, telling her to eat before regrouping with me and she. Mo Ye battles fiercely with Wu Ji, trading blows and dodges nonstop. The man grows more frenzied, muscles bulging with adrenaline. Cornered, she can only raise her arms to block a face hit. The punch sends Mo Ye flying. He rushes in to press the attack. She grabs a brick shard and strikes Wu Ge, rolling away fast. He stops chasing, dusts himself off coldly, eyes gleaming with cruel delight and perverse praise. He readies a finishing combo to crush her with brute power. Reeling from the hit, she realizes his strength is beyond belief. He keeps attacking like a mad beast reborn, tireless and wild. Wu Ge grabs for her collar, but she knocks his hand away. He's startled, oddly impressed. Mo Yi channels all her strength into a punch straight to his face. He staggers back, then recovers fast, growing even more feral. Wu Ji merely rubs his nose. Her full-force punch barely fazed him. He waves mockingly, taunting her to use all she's got. Mo Ye is stunned. How can he be so strong without mutation? Her heart sinks, but she holds stance as he laughs. Thrilled, she knows martial arts. She lunges again, but doubt creeps in at his unnatural endurance. He catches her fist easily, grinning, demanding more. Pretending to be her martial master, he restrains her effortlessly, aroused by her defiance. Bian watches, amazed she still fights after he used strength enhancers. The rotation disc glimmers nearby. Bian eyes it, plotting to steal it for power. Driven by madness, he believes this is his breakthrough moment. Bian suddenly attacks from behind, striking Mo Yi and making her cry out in pain. She curses herself for forgetting the extra threat, then Wu Ge slams a fist into her stomach. The blow sends her crashing into shelves, body battered. Mo Yi lies motionless, half-conscious, seething at being ambushed. Even on the floor, her eyes still burn with fury. Wu Ge snaps at Bian, furious at the unwanted help. He boasts he can beat 10 people after taking the drug, then kicks her, drawing blood. Grabbing her collar, he sneers, mocking her righteous ideals. Though drained, Mo Yi glares back, refusing to yield. He raises his fist like a demon, ready to deliver the killing blow. At that instant, Mo Ye smiles, the one she awaited. Zhang Ming stands behind him. Zhang Ming's powerful kick slams into Wu Ji, stunning him. The tide turns in a flash. He spins around in shock, unable to believe someone dared strike from behind. Zhang Ming lands and steps in front of Mo Ye, shielding her exhausted form. Wu Ji eyes him warily, posture deceptively calm. The man sneers first, saying Zhang Ming walked right into his trap. Zhang Ming ignores him, coolly approaching Mo Ye and replying, "Do I even know you?" Ignored. Wu Ge sees his twisted infatuation only fuels his rage, while Mo Ye forces herself up, insisting she's fine. Zhang Ming glares coldly, making Wu Ge uneasy as if he were the one robbed. Wu Ge tries to introduce himself, but before he can finish, Zhang Ming charges, fist aimed at his face, declaring, "No one touches what's mine." Wu Ji ducks the blow, cursing didn't expect this guy to be so relentless. He counterattacks, eyes wild, throwing a heavy punch at Zhang Ming. Zhang Ming blocks it easily, and Wu Ge realizes in shock they're equally strong. The man's also enhanced. Though he blocks it, Zhang Ming grimaces. His foe's wild brawling is a mess of wasted power. He dodges cleanly, countering with a precise kick to the waist and a swift arm twist. Wu Ji staggers from the pain, nearly falling, cursing furiously. He clutches his side, stumbling backward, balance faltering. Zhang Ming mocks him, hinting that no drug can save a man without real skill. Enraged, Wu Ji howls and charges for a killing strike. Zhang Ming sidesteps and slams a punch into his waist, bones crack audibly. He scoffs coldly, ridiculing Wu Ji's pitiful endurance. Wu Ji grits his teeth in hate, yet it's hopeless. The power gap is vast. Like a berserk beast, he lunges again, roaring threats to kill Zhang Ming. Zhang Ming retreats smoothly, dodging every swing as his foe tires out. Wu Ji kicks again, but Zhang Ming evades without taking a hit. The two clash in brutal close combat, fists echoing through the air, too fast for normal eyes. Zhang Ming sneers inwardly, same rank or not, their worlds apart in true mastery. He catches Wu Jie's arm, twists, and yanks him forward, breaking his stance. Exploiting the opening, Zhang Ming unleashes a lethal punch packed with battle-hardened fury. The blow smashes Wu Jie's face, blood spraying as he's flung back payback for Mo Ye's pain. ABN panics, shouting Wu Jie's name, horrified at his ally's defeat. Wu Ge lies broken on the floor, staring in terror, unable to fathom Zhang Ming's strength. Realizing he picked the wrong enemy, Wu Ge feigns remorse, spouting excuses to beg for mercy. Had Zhang Ming lost, his fate would be grim, but now Wu Ge kneels, trembling before the cold-eyed man. Outwardly pitiful, he secretly draws a knife, still pretending repentance while plotting a sneak stab. He suddenly lunges, aiming to stab Zhang Ming in one desperate strike. But Zhang Ming reacts instantly, twisting and catching his knife hand midair. With a sharp wrench, he breaks the wrist. Wu Ge screams as the knife clatters to the floor. Not giving him a chance, Zhang Ming lands another punch, saying he's met too many scum like this. Wu Ge collapses, clutching his face, pitiful, weak, deceitful, and talentless. He turns to beg Abian, the one he used to bully, but the man just freezes in place. After hesitating, Abian helps him up Wu Ge beams, calling him a true brother. Abian curtly tells him to leave this place fast. As the two limp away, Mo Ye asks why Zhang Ming let them go so easily. Zhang Ming replies they'll destroy themselves soon enough, smiling wryly into the dim night. He silently watches the two silhouettes fade into darkness. Then he turns to Mo Ye, worriedly asking if she's okay. She smiles, saying rest will do. Relieved, he jokes she's lucky, nothing broke. She teases that a guard's bones aren't that fragile. He glances toward the machine draped in white, recalling Mo Qingfei's old words. In the fading light, Abian supports Wu Ge, both laughing as if nothing happened. Wu Ji thanks him, spouting brotherhood vows, while Abian forces a weary smile. Wu Ji glares at his crippled arm, bitter over losing the rotation disc. Abian brushes it off, eyes drifting away, no longer impressed by the loudmouth. He suddenly stops, turning serious, saying he's got something to clear up. He grips Wu Ji's hand. Recalling all their shared hardships, Wu Ji stammers, confused. Abian snaps, furious that Wu Ge always took the spoils while others got nothing. Years of resentment erupt. He shoves the wounded Wu Ge. Raging about unfairness, Wu Ge panics, begging him to calm down. Abian shows no mercy, grabbing the injured arm and forcing him to hand over the crystals, saying coldly they're safer with him. Seizing the crystals, Abian grins wickedly, telling Wu Ge to rest easy, he'll handle things now. Suddenly, a swarm of zombies appears at the alley's end, snarling as they rush forward. Wu Ji screams for help in despair, eyes wide with terror. Inside the car, Liang Shumo grows uneasy, suspecting the noise came from Zhang Ming's group. She freezes, seeing Zhang Ming carrying Mo Ye back, asking anxiously. He answers briefly, injured, must find shelter. Shumo peers toward the road, wondering what those two men leaving the market had done. She slams the wheel in frustration, regretting not taking them out earlier. In their shelter, Zhang Ming's group sits by the fire, the two girls already asleep. Shumo munches while suggesting they hide the rotation disc so no one else can use it. Zhang Ming replies it can't be moved if exposed, it'll attract hunters. Between bites, he says they've traded all rewards, basic survival gears secured. Gazing at their spoils, water, medicine, and a necklace, he feels their crystal gathering worth it. Shumo happily lifts the necklace, eyes sparkling with delight at its beauty. She tried it on and her eyes sparkled, it fit perfectly. Zhang Ming sternly reminded her it's a combat tool, not jewelry. She sighed, missing old times. Staring into the fire, she felt hollow. Her old world was gone forever. Her words silenced the other three girls, gloom settling in. He insisted that teamwork was the only way to survive. He honestly asked for trust and support for the mission, not out of kindness. Raising a vial, he declared it held the so-called power of tomorrow. Xu Yin and Mo Ye froze, wide-eyed at that strange power's name. He explained the blue drug was a reward from the wheel, boosting strength, speed, and immunity. Xu Yin doubted, wasn't that like superpowers? He said it's just basic physical enhancement for fighting zombies. In short, users get super fit. Shumo doubted it. TE helped 20 strength, still felt weak. He assured her it activates hidden potential before amplifying it. He urged them not to underestimate themselves and admitted this drug made him powerful. Mo Ye questioned if it's only strength. How's he so skilled? Who is he really? Shumo quietly felt uneasy about his uncanny adaptability. The air grew tense. Mo Ye asked if he knew the apocalypse's origin. He laughed it off, claiming all intel came from Mo Hin Fei, hiding his rebirth. Shumo believed instantly. He smirked, too easy to fool. Offering the vial again, Xu Yin asked about side effects. He said pain to possible cell rupture, death. Hearing that, Xu Yin panicked and screamed, but he calmly said power always costs risk. He seriously told them it was their choice, no forcing. Both girls fell silent, unsure what to do. Mo Ye boldly reached for the drug. Wanting power, he smiled, admiring her courage. He handed it over, warning the evolution pain was brutal. Best drink tomorrow, she nodded. Xu Yin, pale but resolute, refused to stay weak and asked to try too. He agreed, told her to save it for tomorrow and rest well. Suddenly, he pulled her shirt up to cover her skin, coldly warning that exposed clothes hinder movement. Blushing, she nodded rapidly, mumbling she understood. Mo Ye, annoyed by their flirting, yelled for silence so she could sleep. He quickly told everyone to rest head stand guard tonight. In the quiet night, he kept watch behind the truck, the dog asleep beside him. A sudden noise, he sprang up, blade in hand, demanding the intruder's name. Just as he was about to strike, he realized it was Shu Yin. She screamed in terror. Annoyed, he asked why she was sneaking out instead of sleeping. She nervously admitted she was scared. He asked if she regretted taking the drug. Suddenly, she lunged forward and hugged him tight, catching him off guard. Pressing her head to his chest, she teared up, saying if the drug killed her tomorrow, she'd never see him again. He listened quietly, then gently patted her head, saying he'd ask her once more to be sure. She looked up, face flushed, eyes glistening with fragile hope. He warned that strength isn't always good. If she grew stronger, he wouldn't let her leave but make her fight beside him. Holding her shoulders softly, he asked if she'd stay and share his ideal. Shu Yin wiped her tears, smiled brightly, and promised she'd never back down as long as he trusted her. Pleased, he turned and addressed someone else. Mo Ye, arms crossed by the truck, coldly asked about his next plan. He answered frankly they'd hit the hospital first, then move toward Lake Senjo. Mo Ye turned away, apologizing that she might have to leave. Shocking him and Shu Mo, he regretted it. She had potential. Though reluctant, he kept his word, handed her the drug, and allowed her departure. She pocketed one hand, took the vial with the other, vowing to return and meet them at Lake Zhenzhou if all went well. She gave him a few bullets, telling him to keep them just in case. He grinned, joking, had come find her to get them anyway if she hadn't offered. Under the calm night, they bantered. Shu Mo complained she couldn't sleep, and Mo Ye softly wished her good night. The next morning, all three girls held their vials, eyes anxious, sweat beating. Without hesitation, they downed the drugs in one gulp. Shu Yin drank first, then two, and the bottle shattered. All three collapsed, convulsing in agony. Yi Zhongming folded his arms, saying he'd check the hospital if they felt fine later. They could hunt nearby zombies but avoid white core or mutant ones. Watching them writhe in pain, he sternly asked if they'd heard him clearly. Then he leashed the dog and left. Shu Mo called after him to be careful. He replied softly. He finally reached the target hospital, smiling confidently. Everything matched his memories. Remembering past rumors, he knew 3 monsters once guarded this place, slaughtering survivor teams. A level 6 military powerhouse once slew them, earning an egg and a rare map. That map was said to be a blueprint for super weapons, leading to the army's mass production of silver warblades. His lips curled in ambition. This time, all those rewards would be his. Seeing zombie corpses scattered around, he confirmed the area was clear of danger. He removed his magazine, checked every detail, final prep for the crucial fight ahead. Remembering his last battle with the Crowcape using only a weak bow, he admitted he'd been too careless. The gun in his hand was decent, but only grade standard issue stuff. He took claws from a lizard head slain before, fused them with bullets, and quickly enchanted them. The new rounds became armor-piercing beasts. Satisfied, he told the dog to stand guard. Then he climbed over the wall into the hospital while the dog watched from above. A skull-armored crocodile monster stirred, eyes snapping open in alert. Seeing his red coat flutter, it roared in rage and lunged, shredding the decoy. As it charged, Ye Zhongming emerged from hiding and aimed his gun. He thought smugly, just as planned, these things are suckers for flashy bait. The shot pierced its armor, drawing blood. He grinned, the bullet worked. The beast spun and chased him. He dodged, recalling how it had blindsided him last time. Its body swelled grotesquely, charging like a living missile. Still calm, he slashed fast, targeting its weak spots with precision. Its tail whipped across violently. He dodged, spotting his golden chance. He leapt onto its tail as it froze in shock. He drove his blade straight into its head. The knife sank deep through its tongue into the softest point. Blood gushed out. Coldly, he drew his gun, kept the blade lodged, and fired a killing shot into its throat. The gunfire echoed. He flipped back, landed, and laughed triumphantly. The beast was dead. He put his coat back on and eyed 3 giant eggs in the distance. Between them lay a golden glowing map, dazzlingly bright. He grabbed it, shouting in joy notes detailed stages of crafting Feng Qi, Yue Fu Ye, and Yue Sha Che Chang. Reading closer, he was stunned. The final stage was rare purple grade with 1 active and 1 passive skill. He knew from memory that skill-infused purple weapons were priceless post-apocalypse. Clutching the paper, he realized the materials would cost thousands of level 5 cores far beyond him now. Still, he resolved to start stage 1. Money could solve the rest. Reborn once. Why fear anything? Hands in pockets, he eyed the 3 evolution eggs, ultimate body boosters, possibly mutating his pet too. Cupping his hands, he shouted for the dog to come eat and recover together. Hearing him, the dog bounded over man and Mutt feasted greedily on the eggs. Between bites, Ye Zhongming mumbled praise. The egg's effect was astounding, strength and mind restored. Looking at his revitalized hands, he noted his power had doubled since level 1 evolution. Glancing at the dog, he chuckled and told it to lift its head for inspection. The dog obeyed. He eagerly told it to show its new innate skill. In response, it bristled all over and fired sharp quills like a spiky missile. Seeing the needles buried deep in the wall, he nodded. Its new talent was the fierce golden thread shadow. But turning back, he saw the dog now completely bald, its fur gone after using the skill. He half laughed, patting its head, saying at least no more brushing ugly. Sure, but powerful. Standing up, he told it to finish eating but not touch the other 2 eggs. It barked obediently. Leaving the hospital, he drew his knife, placed a hand on the car, murmuring it was time to forge Feng Qi Yue Shi. Closing his eyes, a burst of light flashed, the crafting skill activated. Energy flared through him, raising his knife. The materials began merging. He calculated head need Hui and Ge's claws and fangs plus 1 level 2 core. A blinding white explosion burst from his spot, power rippling out. He smiled in satisfaction. Success. Swinging his arm, a tree nearby sliced cleanly in half. He admired the blade's sharpness. Seeing the razor smooth cut, pride swelled. He still had enough material to craft weapons for Shumo's team. Returning with a croco egg, he found the 2 girls drenched in sweat from training. Shumo greeted him happily. He smiled, asked about progress, and mentioned Mo Ye had left. Shumo pointed at white cores on a cloth, boasting Shed evolved. Zombie fights were easy now, though Tu An still feared them. Tu An, uneasy, reminded her Shed vomited from pain too, then awkwardly joked first times are always tough. He praised their efforts, thinking even if cores were few, their adaptability mattered most. He presented an evolution egg, telling them to eat shock. Shumo asked what it was. He simply said, food to make you stronger. Standing outside, he pondered this time at Lake Zhenzhou. He must claim that artifact at all costs. Carefully storing the last egg, he noted it was the final one from the Fian Gui Ngoi species, too precious to lose. Looking back, he saw the girls eating happily, the bald dog gnawing lazily, a rare peaceful scene. Tu An joked the dog got uglier in minutes. Shumo wondered how it ate so much without gaining weight. Tu An closed her eyes, feeling new energy surge, saying the egg clearly boosted her physique. Yi Zhongming approached, done eating. Come here. I've got something good for you too. Shumo jumped up curiously. Tu An still played with the bald dog. He handed Shumo a green whip, telling her to try it might suit her. She grabbed it and gasped. It felt alive, bonded to her soul. With a swing, she lashed the ground hundreds of times, leaving deep, precise marks. Admiring the whip, she felt complete harmony, as if it was made for her. Beaming, she told him Shed trained in sports before this weapon would let her truly assist him. Tu An smiled silently. He turned to ask what weapon she wanted. She blinked. Surprised me too? Petting the dog, she admitted shyly she didn't know what suited her yet. He nodded gently, saying she could take her time. No one in peacetime ever thought about choosing weapons anyway. Shumo tied her hair, asking if they were heading to Lake Zhenzhou. He nodded. Everything so far was prepped for that trip. He warned seriously that beyond beasts and zombies, they might face humans. Were they ready to follow him? Shumo raised her fist, shouting yes. Tu An hesitated, asking if she'd be useful or just a burden. He laughed, cutting her off. If they're together, they move together. Besides, the prize ahead is worth it. The 3 boarded the car, beginning a new journey. Driving, he recalled his past life, how hunger finally pushed him outside. That day, the city was silent. Explosions shattered the stillness, terrifying the timid man he was. Holding a stick for defense, he saw hundreds of zombies swarming, even climbing skyscrapers. Panicked, he screamed as they surrounded him, his frail body swallowed by the undead sea. By luck, he hid by a wall, confused that the horde ignored him, chasing the light and noise instead. Back home, he locked himself in, peeking out through a small window, watching the city crumble into apocalypse. He drove with heavy heart, reliving memories told by survivors. He remembered a mystical compass under the lake, showing a spinning golden coin, needing a special item to activate. When used, it opened mission-like portals, granting rare rewards and evolution chances. He reminisced about that great war when countless factions fell, vanished, or became untouchable powers. The car stopped in a forest. He stepped out, pointing toward a place of immense power. With burning eyes, he declared this was the path to rule the city. 10 minutes earlier, Chief Li's group was surrounded by soldiers armed to the teeth. A scarred old man with silver hair asked grimly if Li had made his final choice. Li coldly replied if he refused, would his brothers be slaughtered here? Inside, he cursed, some had evolved, yet the army was not to be underestimated. His gaze slid to a nearby soldier, clearly a 2-star fighter. Old Yi stated flatly, refuse cooperation, and you'll be erased for the plan's sake. It was a blatant threat, join or die, filling the crowd with silent fury. One subordinate tried to resist, but Li stopped him firmly. Old Ye continued, promising fair rewards if they cooperated. He showed his rank badge, hinting that real power was on his side. Wang Ning urged them, such a chance for strength doesn't come twice. Reluctantly, Li raised his hand, agreeing to the alliance. Wang Ning shook it warmly, marking the start of their uneasy partnership. Afterward, Li directly asked their true objective. Old Ye revealed intel about a mysterious golden clock beneath the lake. He said strange monsters would soon appear at Lake Zhenzhou, perfect prey for the strong. Just then, Tan Xiaoba announced it was time to move and to guard the compass well. Using binoculars, he confirmed most of their forces had already gathered. He lightly jumped off the car, asking if everyone was ready. The girl confidently took the mission to hide and report immediately upon spotting a 1-meter-tall golden beast. Tu An was assigned the radio, tasked with tracking battle progress and the creature's movements. He pointed to a tall building beside the bank, saying head ambush there. He told Tu On once she confirmed the creature's direction, report so they could regroup. She looked worried, but he assured her she'd be safer retreat if in danger, stay high if clear. She asked if the high spot near the bank would make a good lookout. He double-checked the angle, confirmed it was ideal, and told her to stay put. Drawing his knife, he reminded her report the target the instant she saw it. With a stern gaze, he warned the creature wasn't strong but sly and capable of summoning horrors. Before he finished, a bright pillar of light shot into the sky, growing blinding. Everyone shielded their eyes. Yi Zhongming shouted the wheeled jade disc had activated. Monsters emerging. Move out. Over at Tan Xiaoba's position, he panicked as strange ripples spread across the lake. A one-eyed monster surfaced, staring straight at his team. It pulled out a horn and blew a deep, eerie note. Tan Xiaoba froze, eyes wide, tracking its every move. In the city, a tide of zombies surged forth. Soldiers formed ranks, faces tense with fear. Old Ye lowered his binoculars, watching closely. A soldier approached, saluted, and called his rank. Old Ye quickly asked for the battlefield report. The soldier reported units in position per plan, but Tan Xiaoba's squad was out of contact. Multiple unknown forces and mutant creatures were approaching fast from all directions. Old Yi stiffened, asking sharply if there was anything worse. The soldier trembled. They were completely surrounded by the undead. Unlike his panicked men, the old officer calmly tossed the binoculars aside, accepting the siege. He raised his head and shouted, commanding everyone's attention. Hands clasped behind his back, eyes cold, he roared that he could lead them straight into hell. He recalled the time his truck broke down among zombies, pointing toward their encircled flanks. He warned that if they failed to retreat in time, all would die here. Seeing their anxious faces, he admitted they were lost and thinking of distant families. With quiet sorrow, he confessed he shared the same fear, not knowing if his loved ones still lived. Then he straightened, declaring that pain wasn't reason enough to abandon faith. He proclaimed that as soldiers, they must fight. This was the moment of life and death. Raising his hand in oath, he vowed to die with humanity's last honor intact. His words ignited their spirits. Soldiers shouted in unison, fists high with resolve. In the blazing sunlight, the scene blazed heroic and unforgettable. Yi Zhongming watched from above, silently admiring their steel-hard will. He glanced at the troops and tanks advancing toward the lake, then turned sharply. Something felt wrong. A sudden blue flash burst from underground nearby, like lightning piercing the earth. Cold sweat ran down his back. He realized a spatial gate had opened. Lightning thickened underground, forming an energy vortex. The monster's horns summoned a two-headed beast. Level 2, Jinghong Gang Fang Wolf. It burst out instantly, attacking Tan Xiaoba, forcing him to retreat. In a blink, its claws pinned him. No escape. The beast roared, bearing terrifying fangs. Another appeared, a level 2 Kong Yang, a massive goat with razor horns. Yi Zhongming sprinted up the stairs, panting, rushing to the scene. He kicked a door open. Inside was a vast black pit, crackling with blue lightning. From it poured hordes of level 1 monsters called Zi Yun Zhan Yi, flooding out like water. Seeing hundreds, he froze, weak individually but overwhelming in number. Staring at the one-eyed creature with the horn, he wondered what hellish realm this pit connected to. He recalled the apocalypse, burning stones falling from the sky, unearthing ancient horrors. In those lands, golden light revealed alien creatures and destruction beasts. Yet treasures lay hidden there, spirit herbs and rare minerals beyond value. Gritting his teeth, he glared into the pit as a massive arm wielding a club began to rise. When he saw the hairy giant, he screamed. It was a level 3 corpse ape, the most terrifying zombie of all. Shocked, he couldn't fathom why a level 3 appeared so early in the apocalypse. Watching it crush everything, he panicked, remembering it once took survivors 3 weeks to evolve that far. Why the hell is it that thing again? He shouted as chaos erupted below. Chief Li refused to retreat, but the monster casually lifted a man into the air. The victim struggled helplessly before being fed to its gaping jaws. From another building, Tu An saw it all, collapsing and vomiting in horror. Yi Zhongming's voice crackled through the radio, asking for the relic creature's location. She glanced toward the lake, reporting it still wandering lazily near the shore. When asked about Kung Yang, she said it was behind the Tian Dung Company, to his left. He dashed off, ordering constant updates and to watch for mutations. While moving, he radioed Liang Shumo, commanding her to close in fast. He leapt from rooftop to rooftop, racing toward the target. The radio reported the relic beast was riding a Ziyun Zhan Yi, strolling around Lake Zhenzhou. Sitting on a skyscraper edge, he wondered if the black hole had vanished. The reply came, the pit was still open. He dropped to the ground, hands in pockets, pondering if the horn was one use. Why was the gate still active? Standing amid corpses, he drew his knife, slashing through zombies effortlessly. Kneeling by a corpse, he carved out its core, nothing wasted. A scream for help rang behind him. He spun around instantly. Someone was being chased by a massive, killing intent-filled beast. Yi Zhongming steadies himself, eyeing the Tier 2 beast, thinking Kung Yang's the easiest prey of the bunch. He leaps forward, aiming to snatch the precious Yang core inside its body. The powerful jump lands him on the beast's back, ready to strike the fatal blow. His blade sinks deep into its spine, his grin is confident, twisted, and gleeful. Riding atop the monster, He's certain of victory, while the others hide and watch in fear. One mutters in disbelief, same level. Yet how could he pull that off? Kong Yang roars in fury, trembling with rage. It thrashes wildly, but he clings to its spines, refusing to fall. His free hand keeps stabbing, spraying blue blood everywhere. The onlookers gape, they couldn't even pierce its skin. Yet he's carving it up. The beast bucks and writhes but can't shake him off. He just grips harder, stabbing faster, like fatigue doesn't exist. Finally, it smashes its head into a boulder, hurting itself badly. Rocks fly, blood covers his face as he thinks. Smart move. Beast using the headbutt trick. Huh. It pants heavily, smoke hissing from its breath, but still can't overpower him. He tightens his hold, slicing near the spines to find its weak spot. Watching it struggle, he sneers, trying to toss me off. Let me help you, then. He slashes again, more blue blood spurting wildly. The beast howls, he jumps down to face it head-on. As he lands, the creature collapses toward him like a falling mountain. Eyes blazing red, he thrusts his knife straight into its belly mid-fall. Just as planned, its full weight crushes down, sinking him into the ground. Gritting his teeth, he yanks the blade hard while the beast's eyes still burn with rage. The shining knife pierces its flesh once more, drawing another agonized roar. He smiles in triumph, exhausted, but certain he's won. Kung Yang twitches once more before collapsing completely. Standing tall, he points his knife at the watchers and shouts his victory. They stare. Speechless, one dares to ask how he pulled it off. He sneers, saying, "You ran away, so stop pretending to care and get lost." They frown, a burly man growls they deserve half the credit for the kill. He smirks, saying their only credit was feeding the beast more bodies, enraging them. The group exchanges sly glances, signaling to strike. One charges, snarling that the brat needs a lesson in manners. Another pretends to advise him to calm down if he values his life. Spotting his wounded arm, they mock him, saying he's got no strength left. They brag about their own cruel deeds, claiming the new world bows to jungle law. Suddenly, the radio crackles, a horde of zombies is heading his way. He turns away, ignoring them, listening to news of a beast riding the Ziyun battle steed storming a fruit shop. His face darkens, survivors are that way. He responds immediately. He decides today's top goal is seizing the golden pouch from that monster. Yi Zhongming eyes Kung Yang's corpse, planning to grab the Yang core before leaving. But the gang blocks his way, demanding his knife, radio, and gear as toll. He turns back with a mocking smile, saying their greed truly knows no end. One snaps, swinging a club, believing chaos means might makes right. In his mind flashes the memory of beating his noisy old neighbor, thinking it was justified. He recalls bullying the weak, convinced they deserved it. Even his superior once had his leg broken by him and still begged for mercy. He doesn't realize he only bullies the weak, now daring the wrong man, thinking all rules are gone. In a blink, Ye Zongming strikes, slicing the man's arm clean off. The man screams while Yi smiles coldly, reminding him of Apocalypse law, kill or be killed. The wounded thug grits his teeth in disbelief that Ye attacked first. Without a word, Yi kicks him hard in the gut. The kick sends them sprawling, bones crack. Screams rise while Yi calmly dissects the beast. He grabs the bag and walks off as a sea of zombies swarms their way. They cry for help, but no one's coming. Death is all that's left. In an old building, soldiers unleash gunfire at mutant rats, corpses piling high. Everyone's in full combat mode. Chengji wonders why Ziye is so quiet lately. Moye frowns and brushes it off, blaming the rats for her bad mood. She worries, asking if Xia Lei beside her is okay. Xia Lei smiles softly, saying she's only worried about her husband. Chengji reassures her that Xiao Tan's team is in a safer zone, even scolding Mo Ye for wanting to leave HQ. Mo Ye hesitates, thinking of Ye Zhongming but unsure what to say. Suddenly, Qing Long interrupts, telling everyone to look outside. The group rushes to the windows to check. A monkey-faced, fur-covered abomination leaps onto a nearby roof. Everyone opens fire, shouting to stop it from getting closer. Someone screams, "Bullets don't work. Got a rocket launcher. If it climbs up, we're dead." Cheng Ji props his rifle on the frame, calling Zi Ye for covering fire. Xia Lei turns and fires backward, yelling, "Enemies at 3 o'clock." The two coordinate smoothly, mowing down rats attacking from behind. Mo Ye spots a zombie crawling in through the window and shouts a warning. She shoves a soldier aside, taking the scratch herself. Cheng Zi panics, yelling her name. He fires rapidly, blasting the zombie's head apart. He rushes over, grabbing her hand, furious and scared. Mo Ye forces a calm voice, insisting she won't turn. Cheng Zi grips tighter, shouting, "Stop talking nonsense." Xia Lei draws her knife, sternly telling her to cut the arm off now. Mo Ye backs away in fear, refusing, but Xia Lei seizes her arm. Cheng Zi is shoved aside as Mo Ye admits she's taken mutation serum. The group freezes. Cheng Zi demands to know what kind she used. Mo Ye clenches her fists, turns coldly away, and prepares to show them. She punches straight through a wall, barehanded, and doesn't even bleed. She confirms she's evolved, but is cut off mid-sentence by Xiao Hu's teasing sing-song voice. Mo Ye grips her gun, warning the monster is still closing in. Before she finishes, the massive creature pokes its head inside, causing chaos and screams. She deduces normal bullets can't hurt this thing. She attacks its face and eyes, making it thrash in agony. Seeing it wounded, she recalls the special bullet Yi Zhangming gave her. The beast rages, hurling a car straight at them. Mo Ye shouts in panic for everyone to get down. She drops flat as the car whooshes inches above her head. Meanwhile, Shi Zhangping walks the street, making a call. Liang Somo replies over comms, saying a tricky opponent is holding her back. He asks anxiously, she assures him she'll handle it, just might be late. He urges her to stay safe, retreat to Feiji's place if things go bad. He silently watches a building getting bombarded by flying cars. Hearing the apes roar, he knows the squad's taken heavy losses, himself gravely injured. In the apocalypse, most die not from battle, but from lack of medicine. Doctors are priceless. He notes the road ahead leads straight to Pearl Lake Zone. Liang Somo is stopped by a group their leader claims it's for her safety. She stays silent, drawing her blade, ready for trouble. The leader doubts this, Yi Gai's motives, but still covets the valuable card. He senses Somo's different, not a pawn, but a real warrior. He eyes her strange whip, her gear, her comm device, proof she's connected to someone powerful. Licking his lips, he realizes she must belong to a major faction. He raises his gun, demanding she reveal her evolution method and the whip's origin. Somo responds with a heartfelt monologue about her oppressed past, ignoring his question. The man sweats, utterly confused by her words. She continues, saying a strict mentor once trained her to survive the chaos. Anger flares as she mentions that mentor is in danger and they're blocking her rescue. She leaps up, slamming her whip to the ground, shouting they'll die if they don't move. Shi Zhangping hides by an old shop, quietly observing the chaos. He spots Commander Ye standing atop a car, overseeing the battle. Before him lies a dark lake where giant beasts rise from the depths. The commander signals, shouting for an all-out attack. Gunfire erupts, tearing through the monsters' defenses and dropping several. Troops cheer and charge, morale surging at the success. Shi Zhangping stays hidden, thinking the plan is bold to the point of madness. Suddenly, the beasts spit streams of slimy green fluid toward the soldiers. One soldier gets hit, his gun melts, his body dissolves as he screams. Watching in horror, Shi Zhangping hesitates, rush in to help or stay in the shadows. From behind, he sees Commander Ye calmly standing still while his men scream in agony. Unable to bear it, he grunts and bursts from hiding. Commander Yi glances at him briefly, expression flat and uncaring. Near the lake, he freezes something surfacing that might be the candy house Miss Fa once mentioned. Shielding his eyes, he spots a small house swarmed by giant ants. The house glows faintly. He mutters that it must be the key location. He sprints toward it, drenched in sweat, startled as the eerie horn sounds again. Blue-violet lightning flashes, the black pit widens, something terrifying is coming. He stares at the vortex, eyes fixed as a twisted leg emerges first. A grotesque creature appears, 3 legs, 2 arms, bloated body, fanged jaws, iron chains, and a huge green horn. He realizes in horror it's the chained prisoner, an SS score mutant who once broke through the dead zone barrier, Tier 4 evolution. Grimly, he knows it'll soon reach level 9, a nightmare once defeated only by 3 9-star elites. He recalls a violet-haired girl, Mu Xingfei, the Rose Assassin from that legendary battle. Gripping his knife, he feels tense yet confident, boosted by serum and aper turtle meat despite being only 1 star. He leaps, slaying lower-tier beasts, using class, skill, and over-level combat experience. On the way, he keeps mowing down weaker monsters. Level 4 remains out of reach. Collecting cores, he wipes blood from his lips and stuffs them into his pack. Strapping it on, he eyes the chained prisoner, targeting its treasure and the pouch it carries. He kicks open the house door, corpses lie piled inside. Picking up a radio, he calls Miss Fa, reporting he's arrived but sees no monster, only silence answers. Unease creeps in, perhaps both Miss Fa and Liu Soyin have gone dark for unknown reasons. Suddenly, gunfire erupts behind him. Chief Li reports urgently to Commander Yi. The man says they've spotted a small creature with a golden pouch. It's got the evolution serum they're after. The little beast shrieks under a hail of bullets. Greedy, Chief Li yells to chase it and make it drop the prize. Just then, Shi Zhangping rushes in, the squad turning their guns on him, ordering him to freeze. Without hesitation, he downs one attacker, kicking another's weapon away. Chief Li draws his gun, but she smashes a fist into his gut, dropping him flat. Grabbing the firearm, he notes its military-grade proof. Commander Yi poured heavy resources into this fight. Wasting no time, he retreats, focused on claiming the monster's treasure before others steal it. Bleeding out, Chief Li gasps into the radio, warning the prize is nearby, come fast or lose it all. She sprints like a bullet, scanning for the gold pouch creature as distant screams echo. Turning, he spots it standing beside a massive purple beetle radiating menace. Leaping closer, he's stunned. The creature's wounds have healed completely. The one-eyed beast spots him, points, and emits a strange call. The purple beetle charges. His heart skips. It's a Ziyun battle ant, a savage Tier 2 ant general. He braces, recalling that most battle ants are Tier 1, but nests may spawn Tier 2 generals, Tier 3 kings, even a mysterious Tier 4 queen. Suddenly, it sprays green acid. He dodges aside, narrowly avoiding a second burst inches from his face. It spreads its wings, he mutters, trying to fly off. He swings hard, slicing the wings midair. Grounded, the ant crashes down, he rushes in, guts it, and pulls out the core. The small creature freezes, sweating, wide-eyed, scrambling to flee. Smirking, he advances to finish it, his goal, the precious golden pouch. Panicking, the little beast hurls items from the pouch to slow him down. He readies to counter but realizes the thrown item is a rare skill scroll. Checking it, he's shocked it's a Heidier summoning skill. Top class in the apocalypse. He unrolls it, grinning, pure jackpot luck. Seeing him absorb the treasure, the creature trembles, both awed and regretful, tossing another relic his way. He catches it, a promotion scroll, once worth a fortune, now thrown like trash. He waves his knife, demanding more or die. Shaking, the small creature pulls out a Tier 1 evolution vial and tosses it to him. Glancing at the scroll, he suspects it might change his profession. Opening it, he gapes at the words, "Congratulations, you've become a gardener." Meanwhile, Mo Yi squeezes the trigger, blasting furious rounds into the raging giant. A comrade screams in shock, asking what gun could actually wound the beast. All eyes fix on the weapon, astonished, as if realizing something. Cheng Ji frowns, asking if her and General Zong's departure was tied to that gun. Mo Ye stays silent, firing nonstop, thinking she once believed her organization's rewards were fair. The more she reflects, the more she feels she never gave enough to earn such weapons, replying coldly that this world defies imagination. Outside, monsters roar and hurl cars like toys at the battle line. Mo Ye narrows her eyes, firmly stating she'll explain everything in due time. She fires again, the special bullet tears through the monster's knee, crippling it. It stares dumbly at the wound, then roars madly, swinging its massive fist toward her. The squad shouts in unison, targeting the weak spot. It's slowed down. Just then, the door bursts open. A man with glasses steps in, adjusts his frames, and orders to find the shooter and recruit them to his special unit. The team freezes. Mo Ye keeps her grip tight, eyes deep in thought. Without hesitation, she yells for everyone to aim at the right knee, her voice sharp with command. They obey instantly, unleashing fire, ignoring the newcomer completely. The man turns red with fury, shouting it's an order, but nobody listens. Mo Ye doesn't even flinch, eyes locked on her target in silence. The man steps closer, reaching for her gun, but she punches his chest hard, sending him stumbling back. Furious, he accuses her of hiding something in the weapon, cheating, obstructing inspection. She glares coldly, stating she's saving lives and orders him to back off. Everyone freezes as she threatens loudly she won't leave, and if bothered again, she'll shoot for real. The old man shakes with rage, pointing at her, shouting about disciplinary punishment. Without hesitation, Mo Yi fires near his head, slamming him against the wall in terror. She raises the gun again, eyes sharp as blades, a silent warning. No one dares speak, sweat drips as tension chokes the room. The glasses man stammers in panic until she yells, she'll blow his head off, making him bolt like a rat. Cheng Zi and Xia Lei warn her that such rashness could ruin her standing in the squad. Mo Ye just smiles faintly, gripping the gun, saying only comrades here matter, nothing else. Cheng Ji frowns deeply, scolding her for saying such things. Hands on hips, she glares back, saying this place isn't as noble as they think. What's the fight really for? He looks baffled, asking what happened after she returned from Commander Zong. Calmly, she reveals she overheard a secret call between Commander Zong and Commander Ye. They're just pawns traded for greater treasures. The group freezes, drenched in cold sweat at the brutal truth. Xiao Hu hesitantly asks if what she said is really true. Mo Yi stares at him, saying survivors will see Commander Zong and his family become evolvers. Shi Zhongping glances at his hands, recalling his secondary profession, gardener. The gardener class is like the artisan of glory but simpler, with two core skills, nurture and activate. It's a path of birthing life from seed, raising it over time. With unique mastery, a grower can achieve miracles, controlling plants so powerful they've crushed elites and beasts alike. Even mutants fear such heavenly flora. He muses not only of mutant trees but crops now priceless in this era. He eyes the trembling little creature, asking what else it's hiding, curiosity gleaming. The creature shakily reaches into its back pouch. His gaze never wavers, a smirk curling his lips. Finally, it throws something hard. He catches it midair. Sensing danger, he quickly dodges aside. The object explodes violently, booming like a bomb. Covering his nose, he realizes it was a deadly trap. As the dust clears, a slimy giant monster emerges from the smoke. He grips his knife tighter, instinct screaming caution at the unknown species. Studying its grotesque form, he notices it has no magic core. Slime dripping from its body hits the ground, burning holes and hissing into vapor. He notices the green glow on the monster's skin carries intense corrosive power. It suddenly charges. He's forced to run as it chases close, even grabbing for his weapon. He worries a single touch could melt his blade. The small creature laughs gleefully, cheering him on to keep fleeing. He dashes toward a working fountain nearby. Holding a talisman, he dips his hand into the water and activates the basic spell River Will. The pool bubbles, forming a giant water creature. He exhales in relief at the successful cast. His water beast blasts a jet at the green monster, burning it with steam as it howls. Seeing it hurt, he urges the summon to strike fast. The spell lasts only a minute. Then he pivots, sprinting toward the small creature. Terrified, it collapses, trembling all over. Panicking, it bolts straight into Commander Yes' squad, blocking the way. One man laughs, claiming the loot as theirs, ordering everyone killed. Gunfire erupts instantly, forcing the little creature to cower behind a wall. Furious, he draws his gun but it's empty, cursing his carelessness for losing both target and prize. With quick hands, Faye reloads and opens fire. The hitmen drop dead on the spot. He rushes to the small monster, writhing on the ground. Lifting it up, it emits a strange sound. He grips its neck and fires point blank, ending it. Memories of past brutal hunts flash by. Survival odds were always slim. Clutching its throat, he wonders if this truly counts as victory. Suddenly, something hurtles toward him at blinding speed. He drops the creature and dodges aside, hearing a painful scream. Heart pounding, he realizes one slower move would have meant disaster. Three strangers approach. A woman offers him mercy if he walks away. He notes they're mutants, battle-hardened survivors of this cruel world. A thrown blade streaks at him. He blocks with his weapon. A man in blue swings an axe. He sidesteps just in time. If only his right arm were healed, he could have fought better. He falls, kicks the small monster aside, and retreats briefly. The move stuns the trio. They can't tell what he's planning. One realizes the creature's the real target and orders them to seize its pouch. The monster suddenly appears right before Wang Ning. He smirks, amused by the twist. The bald one snarls, shouting for an attack. He commands his men to ignore the stranger and grab the creature's loot. Wang Ding rolls up his sleeves, offering to block them as his allies ready up. He charges like a tiger, slamming into the three foes. Yi Zhongming frowns, calculating his next move amid the chaos. Around them, ruins blaze under the harsh sun. Mo Ye unleashes gunfire at waves of zombies and beasts surging forward. The monster roars, hefting a massive stone pillar. She adjusts her weapon, tense and uncertain she can handle it. Only one special bullet left. She wonders if all her effort will be wasted. Suddenly, she spots a familiar figure amid the battlefield. Seeing Miss Fa, Mo Ye recalls their last meeting, realizing Ye Zhongming might be nearby too. With that thought, she leaps straight down from above. Cheng Ji yells in alarm. She lands firmly and sprints toward Tu Ying, shouting her name. The two hugged happily. Tu An asked excitedly while Mo Ye pressed for news about Shi Zhongming and Liang Sum. Suddenly, the ground shook violently, making them both lose balance and scream. Tu An stared ahead in shock. Mo Ye turned back with a tense face. In front of them loomed a giant chained monster, slowly advancing. Watching Mo, Yes, Shadow, Cheng Zai and Xia Lei could only grit their teeth in anger. Cheng Long and Xiao Hu exchanged looks, then charged after Mo Ye, shouting to join in. Cheng Zai turned purple with rage and cursed, but Xia Lei pulled him back, saying to let them go. Just then, the back door burst open as a man with glasses led in an armed guard, yelling to punish Mo Ye. Xia Lei sneered, saying this wasn't the time for discipline. Cheng Zai also shouted that fighting, not punishment, was urgent now. He then jumped out the window, deciding to find Mo Ye himself. The man with glasses clenched his teeth in fury, stunning Xia Lei. She looked at her gun, sighed, feeling apart from them, yet full of admiration. Elsewhere, Tu An trembled as he said the last time he saw Shi Zhongming was beside that monster. Mo Ye stared at the huge beast, worrying if Zhongming could handle himself. Tu An suddenly grabbed her hand, saying they should save Liang Sum first since she was in danger. Mo Ye reassured him that Zhongming seemed to have a plan and wouldn't provoke the beast. Tu An urged saving Liang Sum first to avoid becoming a burden later. After a pause, Mo Ye agreed, but just as she was leaving, someone called out, asking to join. Three men stood behind, brimming with energy, making her ask why they came. Cheng Long said staying behind was useless, and Xiao Hu vowed to follow her. Cheng Zhai bowed awkwardly, admitting a new era needed new rules. Looking at her comrades, Mo Ye smiled, thinking they were true warriors. She patted Tu An's shoulder and ordered the team to rescue their comrades first. Xiao Hu blinked in confusion, asking who exactly they were rescuing. She replied mysteriously it was the person he idolized. Though the air was grim, the team's spirits suddenly soared, astonishing him. Meanwhile, Liang Surmer struggled to fend off enemies, her body covered in wounds. Blood gushed from her mouth as she let out a weak groan. Wiping the blood, she thought bitterly that helping others often ended like this. The injured man in a floral shirt screamed furiously to capture her alive. He raised his bloody arm, ordering them to break her legs for torture. His subordinates instantly opened heavy fire toward her. Quick-witted, she used her whip to pull a corpse nearby as a makeshift shield. Just as she realized how dire it was, a loud voice called out. Her eyes widened with hope as she heard her name. Before the enemies could react, Cheng Long and Xiao Hu's group stormed in. The floral shirt man panicked, shouting in confusion about who they were. Mo Ye appeared suddenly, landing a brutal punch straight to his face. He staggered, teeth flying, shocked to face yet another mutant. Meanwhile, Shi Zhongming watched from behind a rock as Wang Ding fought three others. He noticed the bald, muscular man, clearly a strength-type warrior. The white-haired spear wielder wasn't ordinary either, obviously a mutant with his own skill set. The red-haired girl too was a heightier evolver, having gone through at least 3 cycles. Wang Ding clashed with the black-haired masked man, their powers perfectly matched. Zhongming thought mutants and professions multiplying made sense if apocalypse cycles were spreading. While watching, He was surprised to see a soldier suddenly appear, also a mutant. Thinking fast, he dashed toward the golden pouch lying on the ground. He realized that even reborn, he was just a low-tier mutant without luck. The masked man sweated, perhaps activating a Tier 2 wheel, while Wang Ding knew Tier 2 aberrants were deadly. The spear user lunged forward, striking decisively. Wang Ding sensed the spearhead's danger. He mustn't let it touch him. Too slow, the spear pierced straight through his body. He gripped the shaft buried in his chest, blood streaming down. Despite the wound, Wang Ding flipped his foe to the ground with one hand, shouting loudly. The gas mask man stared wide-eyed, unable to believe the sight. Wang Ding yanked the spear out, growling that one mustn't steal what isn't theirs. Then he hurled the weapon hard toward the red-haired girl behind. The masked man spun in panic, shouting for her to dodge. He rushed to her side, screaming, but too late. The spear hit its mark. Wang Ding sneered triumphantly, declaring the treasure pouch now his. But he froze when he saw Xie Zhongming holding the pouch, smiling calmly. Zhongming turned away, waving thanks for helping block the other three. Furious, Wang Ding gave chase, yelling for him not to escape. One ran, one pursued. Zhongming sprinted while plotting how to shake him off. Suddenly, he halted, eyes wide at what lay ahead. Before him stood a skyscraper and a monster taller still, chained from head to toe. A thunderous explosion rang out, seizing the moment. He dashed into the dust and vanished. Unexpectedly, Wang Ding's punch still landed square on his face through the smoke. Zhongming didn't hesitate. He drew his knife, clutched the pouch, dodging every fierce blow. Once more, he leapt into the smoky haze, seeking escape. But this time, the foe blocked his path, forcing a head-on clash. The man glanced at the tear on his shirt, realizing the silver knife had nearly cut him. He inhaled sharply, tensing until his shirt ripped open, revealing a black skull tattoo on his chest. Zhongming froze in shock, sweating, realizing the soul within him belonged to the head of the Ye regiment. That Ye commander was now raging, firing wildly at the swarm of zombies surging in. Yet the growing horde wore the defenders down fast. Amid the chaos, a soldier shouted they couldn't hold much longer. The old commander frowned, reporting 2 of 4 fronts lost contact, and Director Liao was retreating from a beast. Gritting his teeth, he ordered a breakout. The rear troops relayed commands immediately. His face tightened as he fixed his gaze leftward, the only path to survival. His soldier warned of obstacles there, but he cut him off, insisting it was their sole escape route. The old man furrowed his brow, yet thought any sacrifice was worth it if Wang Ding succeeded. Facing Wang Ding, Zhongming recalled a strange black card that came with no instructions. He recalled the card let its user absorb Samatier life forms to evolve 1 rank for a short time. A 2-star mutant devouring a Tier 2 creature could instantly rise to 3-star, but Zhongming knew the cost: severe loss of lifespan. Wang Ding pointed at him, demanding he drop the pouch if he wanted to leave alive, stern and furious. Zhongming swore he wouldn't abandon his plan for one obstacle. Wang Ding hesitated, fearing hidden tricks, yet reminded himself strength decides all. Zhongming suddenly pointed elsewhere to distract him. Looking over, Wang Ding saw Xia Lei and the fat man fiercely shooting zombies. Stunned, Zhongming pointed again toward where the 3 earlier mutants were watching. Then he pointed straight at Wang Ding, declaring, "You were my idol, but now I despise you." The words stabbed Wang Ding's heart, leaving him shaken. Zhongming shouted that all their actions now were for selfish gain. Wang Ding blushed and denied it, accusing him of lying. Zhongming smirked, mocking, asking what part he got wrong. At that moment, a tank arrived, the Yi commander standing atop it behind Wang Ding. Wang Ding's face went pale, reminded he once led the construction corps when disaster struck. Zhongming accused them of ignoring civilians and hunting zombies only for demon cores. He turned to the soldiers, praising them as the true warriors fighting for ideals, not gain. He stood proudly amid the ruins, feet rooted to the deadly ground. Then he leapt swiftly from point to point. High above, he raised the pouch, denouncing filthy-hearted soldiers and daring them to take it if they could. He tore the pouch open, treasures scattering, declaring anyone strong enough, even 2 stars, could fight for them. Suddenly, a blazing sun-like light appeared overhead, drawing all eyes upward. Even Wang Ding froze, stunned by his audacity. The Ye commander and the 3 mutants lunged in to snatch the valuables. The masked bald man saw the commander outpace him and was secretly awed by his speed. Wang Ding reached out laughing to grab a treasure orb, but a green whip shot from afar, Sir Mo's, and snatched it first. She claimed the prize just as Mo Yi landed, leaping to seize another orb and calling her teammates. She kicked one orb precisely toward Tu An below. Tu An caught it tensely, eyes wide in shock. The 3 girls exchanged light smiles, each now holding a treasure. Cheng Long suddenly spotted another orb gleaming in a rock crevice. He rushed forward but saw Wang Ding aiming for it too, shouting as he charged. Wang Ding swung a mighty punch, sending Cheng Long flying. The powerful blow smashed him into Cheng Zai. Both cried out in pain. Cheng Zai asked if he was okay, while Cheng Long cursed angrily through the agony. Wang Ding dropped to his knees, clutching the orb and shouting in triumph. But before he could touch it, a bullet whizzed in, forcing him to dodge. The shooter was Xiao Hu, still gripping his gun tightly. As Wang Ding rolled aside, the orb drifted toward Mo Ye and the Ye commander. Both reached out to grab it just as Cheng Zai shouted a warning. Before Mo Ye could react, the Ye commander lunged forward, aiming his gun at her. But but as he bent to pick the treasure up, the spear user blocked him from behind, starting a brawl. Finally, the gas mask man dropped to his knees, seizing the orb and cheering wildly. The battlefield fell into tense silence. Shiley's group held their guns behind the rocks. The fat man squinted outward, ready to fire, while soldiers beside him hesitated, unsure who to shoot. He slapped one hard, yelling to shoot anything that moved. Xiaolei was stunned. Was the commander really firing on his own men? She hugged her gun, sitting in sorrow, worrying for Mo Ye and Cheng Zhai still trapped. Suddenly she stood, pale-faced along with two others, staring upward. A colossal monster wrapped in chains was slowly approaching. Zhang Ming looked at it, smiling in delight. Everything was going as planned. The massive beast didn't slow, striding forward with crazed fury. He fired repeatedly, not at the monster, but at the chains binding it. No matter how many shots, the links held firm like forged steel. The Ye commander frowned, thinking the guy had lost his mind. The fat man also looked baffled, wondering if Zhang Ming planned to drag the beast down with him. Exhausted, Zhang Ming thought he couldn't even handle a fake Tier 4 chained prisoner. Drenched in sweat, he aimed carefully, convinced the true treasure was the precious metal chains. He kept firing at the links near the monster's feet, hope rising as cracks began to show. The fat man screamed madly, charging forward and ordering his men to seize everything. From above, the Ye commander coldly opened fire, gunning down anyone near the base. Cornered, the fat man shot back, plunging the battlefield into total gunfire chaos. Tu Ang clutched the orb, trembling, asking Mo Ye what to do amid the chaos. Mo Ye smiled calmly, saying to let them kill each other. Shed strike when the treasures fell again. Tu An, still worried for him, sweating and fearing Zhang Ming's safety. In the distance, Zhang Ming stood beneath the monster, lowering his gun as he looked up. The beast stomped down, and he barely dodged in time. Drawing his knife, he charged the monster, instantly countered with a brutal swing. He grabbed a faint chain on its body, clinging tight with his left hand while raising the knife to strike. A strong slash cracked a link, making him grin with triumph. The monster bent its head, confused at his strange actions. Zhang Ming beamed with exhilaration, forgetting his fatigue. He kept slashing at the chains while dodging the monster's attacks. His grip hurt so much he thought his bones would snap if not for his evolver body. Seeing the crack still tiny, he cursed the metal's absurd hardness. Sweat poured down as he gritted his teeth. Had come too far to give up now. He stomped the ground and leapt again, but froze in shock at something glowing beneath a ground crack. Without hesitation, he struck at 3 dark spots. On impact, the dots turned into 3 long pillars. He quickly grabbed them, fusing the 3 cores into his blade before slashing the metal chain again. Activating the special ability of the 15-member squad, he pressed his hand to the iron bar. The seeds burst open, expanding violently. Gripping the bar tightly, he smiled in triumph. He saw a skull-shaped flower, an ancient bloodthirsty plant species. With fierce resolve, he jumped and slashed at the vine clinging to the bar. The crowd watched in confusion as he landed. Wang Ding laughed, thanking him. Someone tried to jump up and snatch it, greed blazing at what must be treasure. So Mer shouted angrily, afraid the precious item would be lost. Seeing danger, he panicked and shouted the name Dai Huang. Instantly, his dog bolted forward at terrifying speed. The thief could only watch as the dog dashed past helplessly. Shi Zhangming fell hard, slamming his back on the ground. So Mer ran to him in panic, calling his name loudly. The monster went berserk at her approach, its horns sparking with lightning. It became a walking fortress, firing blue energy blasts non-stop. The 3 girls rushed to him, crying out in fear. He lay still, whispering weakly, "If you want to live, run before fainting." Their desperate cries for him echoed through the chaos. He awoke in darkness, hearing reproach about his cold and distant nature. A woman's voice scolded him gently for ignoring her. Then he saw Tu An caring for him, confused and shy. In the sunny room, he lay still, as Tu An kept scolding. Unaware he was awake, she handed him a towel, reminding him of her hopes and disappointment. He felt guilty and unsure whether to speak. She wiped his face, making him tense and sting slightly as sweat poured down. She looked at him and warned not to act smug just because he saved her. "Call me teacher." Then, blushing, she changed tone, saying since he's younger, he should call her sister. She patted his cheek, smiling playfully, insisting he admit he's her little brother. Her face turned serious again, stressing that survival itself was a daily war. He frowned, silently pondering being hunted down over basic supplies. She rinsed the towel, explaining the team's tension. Mo Ye's old colleagues kept fighting for resources. She mentioned a suspicious coach troubling Mo Ye, while Jia remained kind yet unheard. She left with the basin, saying she'd bring more porridge for him. But when she turned, he suddenly asked how long had slept, startling her into dropping the basin. Seeing him sit up, she screamed in joy, asking when had woken. In a high-rise room, everyone gathered together. Shi Zhangming, now neatly dressed, saw Sir Am smiling brightly beside Tu An, thinking they looked truly happy. He glanced at Xiaolei chatting with Mo Ye, realizing she must be the fair-minded woman Tu An once mentioned. Then he glanced at Cheng Zai, Xiao Hu, and the Markfest crew, especially the man nicknamed the deputy director Yang's treasured pet. His dog ran up, he hugged it and asked about the chain. The dog happily brought the iron chain, and he smiled at the bald fat man approaching, agreeing to discuss payment. The man claimed Head led the team that rescued them from Wang Ding earlier. He noticed Mo, yes, sadness, she said. Long had fallen but admitted Yang Jin's squad had helped greatly. Deputy Director Yang loudly boasted of finding food, fighting zombies and Wang Ding for days, praising old Ye for never retreating. So, coldly accused him of cowardly, dirty tricks behind everyone's backs. Yang cursed furiously, threatening to kill her if not for Mo, yes, presence. So, Mo angrily drew her weapon to attack, but Xi Zhongming stopped her. Yang feigned friendliness, saying Head helped them and now wanted payment. Zhongming calmly agreed. Seeing an opening, Yang suggested splitting treasures from Pearl Lake as his rescue reward. Zhongming didn't argue but asked Mo Ye about the items found that day. Mo Ye unpacked her bag, listing 3 valuable objects. He checked 2 and asked where the third was. Mo Ye silently looked at Cheng Zhai. Reluctantly, Cheng Zhai handed it over. Zhongming smiled, saying they'd inspect the first 2 first. The first was a medicine formula useful, though not advanced, sadly with no alchemist on the team. The next was a spatial gem, surprisingly valuable though it granted no power. He gave both to Tu An, thinking the small gem handy, a cubic meter of space, still practical. Then he turned to Cheng Zhai about the third item and was told it couldn't be shared. Mo Ye stepped up, explaining Shed entrusted it to her former trainer, never expecting things to turn out like this. Hearing that, Zhongming firmly declared these items non-negotiable. Yang immediately signaled his men to raise their guns, threatening him over those words. Zhongming stayed calm, explaining those treasures predated their rescue and offering replacements instead. Yang narrowed his eyes, grinning slyly, demanding something of equal value. Zhongming ordered his bag opened. Inside were 2 claws from a powerful beast. He produced a green vial, explaining it was an antivirus immunity serum against zombie infection. Yang's eyes gleamed greedily but said it wasn't enough to trade. Zhongming drew out a blue vial, an evolution serum. Level 1. Boosting one's tier. Still greedy, Yang scowled and demanded more. Zhongming's patience snapped. He asked coldly what would finally satisfy him. Liang So-mer shouted angrily, calling him a shameless glutton who didn't grasp the serum's true worth. She pointed at them, saying people had slaughtered each other yesterday over that very drug, enough death already. Mo Ye, furious, declared both serums were earned at the cost of their lives. Yet Yang folded his arms smugly, mocking that their lives weren't worth much anyway. Zhongming added coldly that he also had an egg of a tier 2 mutant ape. It could boost physical strength if eaten once. Everyone perked up instantly. Yang asked if evolvers could benefit too. Zhongming replied icily that for tier 1 evolvers it worked well, but its effect lessened at tier 2. The old man chuckled greedily, still unsatisfied. His ambition boundless, he drew his gun, hinting at taking everything by force. He aimed mockingly, saying even Wang Ding had to beware of Xie Zhongming. Pointing the gun, he lectured smugly about losing now to gain later, calling it a free lesson. Zhongming stayed calm, ignored him, and tossed the card to Cheng Zhai, ending the deal. Cheng Zhai and Yang exchanged looks before Cheng Zhai raised his gun, warning not to force violence. But Yang kept his aim steady, boasting he wasn't dumb enough to be tricked. His true face showed as he demanded the backpack and black metal block or head shoot on the spot. The girls ready for battle while Zhongming looked down on him, realizing the plot all along. Kneeling, he analyzed aloud that Yang had only acted polite out of fear of Cheng Zhai and uncertainty about his recovery. His icy gaze noted Yang now saw no threat since he was weak and Cheng Zhai neutral. Turning to the girls, he realized though they were evolvers, they still lacked decisive strength. Standing slowly, he exposed Yang's greed to rob them of everything. He mimed a gun with his hand, echoing Yang's words about the apocalypse, promising to return the lesson properly. Pointing straight at him, he declared ambition must be backed by real power. Before Yang could react, a bullet pierced his heart from behind. Everyone froze. The shooter was Jia Lei, stunning the squad as his men raised weapons for revenge. But the dog dashed past her like a shadow. It mauled them one by one, scattering the panicked men, screaming monster. Zhongming told Cheng Zhai to hand over the items so he could leave alive. He thought that in his past life, had have killed them all, but now his role demanded restraint. The house quieted Mo Yi and Xiao, who stood by the window watching. He told them to give Cheng Zhai some meat and immunity serum. He hadn't gone far. He spared him deliberately to earn Mo Ye's trust later. Handing her the supplies, he said though Cheng Zhai was vile, their teacher-student bond made saving him worthwhile. She accepted gratefully, thanking him repeatedly. The group hurried off. Tu An called Xiao Hu, who quickly followed. Xia Lei asked if he felt guilty for driving everyone away. He tossed her an evolution vial, mocking her hypocrisy. She blinked, asking what it was. He said it was an advanced consolation and promised to escort her to find her husband once healed, musing over his Pearl Lake profits. Sitting by the bed, he reviewed the spread of loot before him. He noted the main losses were the spear and some Martin supplies and traded meds. Picking up a gold token to sniff, he recognized it as the Hellhound summoning card Cheng Zhai once coveted. Holding the crystal orb and gold card, he smiled. This haul was worth it, especially the spatial crystal. He shook the crystal, sucking all items on the bed inside, then stored it in his bag. By chance, he spotted a familiar golden cloth and picked it up curiously. He remembered it was the torn golden pouch Head used to spark chaos before, wondering why it had somehow stayed intact. He touched the fabric, it was unnaturally smooth, nothing like any material he knew. Pulling a knife from his belt, he slashed it without hesitation. The tear instantly healed, making him sweat in disbelief. He kept cutting, stunned that the blade that once hurt Gui Jin couldn't harm this cloth that repaired itself each time. Panicked, he threw it away, shouting in confusion about what it was. When it landed on the egg warped and began to glow. Lifting the fabric, he saw the egg shrivel like its life force was drained. He realized the fabric absorbed life energy to heal, explaining the monster's fast recovery. So the beast's wounds were healed by this cloth, not its own power. Even knowing its use, he was baffled. It was too strange to handle. He took out a spatial crystal and another orb. That orb was the only harvestable item that directly boosted strength. Without hesitation, he swallowed it whole. His body convulsed violently, hair and eyes turned crimson, veins bulged. Agonizing pain hit, forcing out a cry. But looking at his empty hands, he realized the pain was gone. He jumped up, landing powerfully, fists tight with energy. Feeling the energy surge, he laughed loud, fully recovered at last. His body now far stronger, he judged himself 89 times above normal. Officially, a level 1 evolver. Taking out half of Gui Jin's chain, he sensed his mental power soaring. He recalled the basic Yuan circle technique, which used mental force and summoning to extend duration and strength. With his current spirit level, he could now manually craft a large block of Gui Jin. Raising his hand, he shouted, "Refined gathering technique. Activate." The iron split apart, then merged into a glowing green gem. He admired the result, one gem holding 100 units of Gui Jin, 10 grams each, perfect for testing. Standing in sunlight outside the building, he gripped his short knife tightly. Dai Zhongming suddenly stabbed the wall hard, releasing a flash of lightning. Closing his eyes, his whole body flared with power, melting a car to ash. Watching the metal fragments float, he calculated 10 grams of Gui Jin, a few level 2 demon crystals, and claws of a Yuan ape. His body glowed blue, and the knife gained a new energy coating. Excited, he raised it high success. The blade was now Gui Jin enhanced with the skill Full Force Slash. Staring at it, he marveled his Feng Jiuyue blade, once strong enough for level 2 foes, was now upgraded with a special skill. A test swing unleashed blade energy, marking true professional mastery. Knowledge flashed, most survivors ranked only beginner to advanced master, Dao Sage, and transcendent were rare. Thinking further, he recalled that masters and Dao Sages were called retainers, just below the transcendent tier. Seeing his reflection on the blade, he thought this skill might pierce a level 4 beast's hide, but reminded himself to save Gui Jin until better materials and blueprints appeared. Holding 2 knives, he strode forward. It was time to grow stronger and gather rarer resources. He pushed open the door to the room where his teammates were gathered. Seeing him, Xiao Hu cheered. "Got a new blade again? Let me see." He grinned, raising the knife teasingly. "Wanna see? Then try and take it." Xiao Hu lunged eagerly, replying, "You said it. Don't blame me for going hard." He kicked off the ground, punching with the skill, Blood Ruin. The man sidestepped smoothly, flicking a finger against his opponent's neck. Xiao Hu turned, gasping and drenched in sweat. "You're faster and stronger, so unfair." He tapped the knife on his head, saying coolly, "In this world, power is fairness. The strong make the rules." He added that even as an evolver, Xiao Hu wasn't qualified to face him yet, then walked away, leaving. "Come find me when you fight to kill, not to show off." Turning to Mo Ye, he asked, "Got a map? Find one now." Studying it, he pointed to their current location to set the starting point. Then he pointed elsewhere and ordered, "We're heading here." Ha Lei froze, sweating nervously. That spot was where her husband once worked. She murmured, "Has really keeping his promise this fast?" Shu Yin said going straight was too far. But he explained cars were useless and mutants filled the streets, noise meant death, so walking was the only way. He pointed again, noting the old downtown district was nearly inaccessible. Mo Ye asked if their destination was the medical recovery center. He hesitated but confirmed it was a hospital. Though something was off about it, he couldn't explain why yet. Sha Mo nodded firmly, saying Zhongming had always proven his decisions right. Using a red pen, he drew a new route and announced the finalized path. Ha Lei worried the detour would waste time and strength. Calmly, he replied that while Head promised to help her find her husband, he wouldn't risk everyone's lives. Ha Lei fell silent, but he cut her off. "The detour raises our chances of success." Mo Ye asked if the group would depart now. He instantly refused, saying it wasn't time yet, there was unfinished business. Outside, someone knocked, announcing, "Brother Dang, it's me." Inside, a bald man tended a red-haired girl's wound. A white-haired man entered with a bag, reporting they'd gathered 3 more liters. This time should be enough. Brother Dang took a drag on his cigarette, asking how many crystals they had total. The man answered over 300, but Brother Dang frowned, recalling the 260 wasted on useless shoes. Another person came in, sighing that no one knew how many demon crystals each spin would cost. The red-haired girl stood up calmly, saying they were lucky to find that wheel, otherwise all 3 would be dead. She pulled the curtain. The white-haired man noted Xiao Tong's hand was unusually red, spinning powerful items in just a few turns. Brother Dang exhaled smoke, about to speak about Xiao Tong. Suddenly, a man with a knife smashed the glass and lunged in. choking the girl from behind. The black-haired man spun around, screaming in shock as he recognized the intruder. With a cold smirk, the newcomer pressed the blade to her throat, confirming himself as the attacker. The main door burst open. Mo Ye and Xiao Hu stormed in, ordering everyone to freeze. Xiao Hu aimed his gun mockingly, telling them to keep running like last time. Dai Zhongming observed that such a simple ambush shouldn't have subdued two professionals and an evolver, something only possible early in the apocalypse before traps became common sense. The girl, Tu Tong, gritted her teeth in defiance. He replied calmly that if he wanted them dead, he had countless quieter ways. He glanced at the kneeling men and offered to trade one question for the bald man's life, which the latter accepted. Frowning, he demanded the location of the red tray. The man stayed silent, and the knife at Tu Tong's neck sank deeper. Blood dripped, but the man held firm, forcing Zhongming to press harder without mercy. Finally, the man broke, shouting the stash spot, Long Ren District, Building 83, Room 1107, and begged to guide them. He exhaled in relief as Zhongming eased the blade, realizing a second later and the girl would have died. Next morning, the group followed the bald man to the site. Xiao Hu admired the knife in his hand like a treasure. Zhongming snapped, saying that rusty thing wasn't worth praising. Xiao Hu argued it was a peerless weapon, slicing zombies like vegetables, bodies flying everywhere. Before he could finish, Zhongming signaled for silence. Still babbling, Xiao Hu leaned in, noting both of Zhongming's blades looked the same. Asking if it was coincidence, he replied both were hand-forged under his craftsman class. Xiao Hu scratched his head, asking when he'd get a class like that. Zhongming calmly said classes would be assigned by role, following principle. Then his tone hardened, who was truly ready to stand with him. Xiao Hu frowned, hesitated, then said head, obey, Captain Mo. Zhongming smiled inwardly. Such a reaction was normal, but if loyalty came from greed for a class, that person wouldn't stay. They reached room 1107, and the bald man announced their arrival. Xiao Hu and Mo Ye kicked the door open, guns aimed inside. They spotted a multicolored wheel, and Xiao Hu gasped in awe at its strange design. Dai Zhongming stepped closer, touching the device, saying they might need to stay here for a while. Out on the streets, zombies wandered aimlessly. A wired box with a phone triggered, luring the undead toward it. Once enough gathered, the box exploded, blowing the horde apart. Zhongming signaled Xiao Hu to act, giving him the next turn. Grinning, Xiao Hu asked if remote bombs like that could be traced. Annoyed, Zhongming brushed it off and told him to move, making him laugh and comply. Suddenly, another explosion echoed from afar, catching Zhongming's attention. He looked toward it, assuming Liang Xuan's team had succeeded, probably earning over 200 demon crystals. Leaning from the car, he told Xiao Hu to finish up and assist them, while he checked another zone. On the move, he recalculated they'd need about 500 crystals for one last spin of the color wheel. Stopping before a large supermarket, he realized normal scavenging wouldn't cut it anymore. They'd have to target higher-tier demon crystals. Watching from outside, he broke into a sweat. This supermarket swarmed with strong zombies, some possibly highly evolved. Despite the danger, he entered calmly, knowing chances of meeting a level 2 zombie were high. The moment he stepped in, one lunged. He coldly stabbed it straight through the head. It collapsed instantly, just a normal type, not the prey he sought. As he walked, a drop of blue liquid hit his shoulder, putting him on alert. Looking up, he spotted a giant spider mutant lurking on the ceiling. It fired a massive web straight toward him. Facing the net, he readied his blade too wide to dodge, so he'd test his wind skill. Thinking fast, he slashed fiercely at the oncoming threads. The spider panicked as the blow struck its head, killed instantly by the full-force slash. He dug out its demon crystal, cut off a few legs for materials, and sighed in relief. Trip well worth it. Suddenly, something shot from behind. He twisted aside, startled by the ambush. Frowning, he sensed danger from that direction. A strange half-human, half-demon woman appeared, long-haired with a black cat beside her. The sight reminded him of early apocalypse tales of a mysterious beauty wandering with her pet. That woman lured men, then after a night together, tortured and dissected them alive, draining their blood until death. Seeing the female zombie, he realized the legend was true. Beautiful women turned special after evolving, known as spirit matrons. Though not the strongest type, spirit matrons had innate spirit seed power, controlling beasts without erasing memory, evolving together into deadly pairs. Raising his knife, he muttered that meeting both a spider mutant and a spirit matron here, plus her dual mutated level 2 cat, was absurdly rare. The matron cradled her cat, smiling slyly, eyes locked on him. Records mentioned a level 9 matron riding a white serpent, nearly human in face and manner. Some believed level 9 matrons regained their human memories and could infiltrate society, but their cruelty far exceeded normal zombies. Dai Zhongming tensed as the three-eyed cat leapt from her arms, not at him, but toward the spider's corpse. His heart pounded. They didn't see him as a threat, just a backup meal, draining the spider's energy first. The thought of being dismissed enraged him. He wasn't the weakling of his past life anymore. Fired up, he charged the cat mid-feast, giving it no time to react. A thunderous slash fell, flashing bright through the thick air. The cat barely looked up before the blade nearly split it in two. The spirit matron darted forward, snatching the cat and healing at her face, calm, utterly unfazed. He frowned, suspecting it was an energy transfer skill that boosted healing while sharing evolution ability. Such power usually appeared only in level 9 spirit matrons, yet this one, barely level 2, wielded it terrifyingly well. He warned himself not to let her finish healing the cat, or head face two deadly foes at once. Acting fast, Dai Zhongming attacked again to stop her, but she fled while healing. Refusing a direct fight, he chased at full power, yet her speed was unreal, and the blocking zombies made pursuit impossible. Forced to retreat, he treated his wounds before the scent of blood drew the undead like starving wolves. He veered off, smashing a window and leaping from a higher floor to escape. Still, his instincts screamed that the danger wasn't over. Something waited ahead. Sure enough, mutant birds burst from shattered windows, diving at him viciously. He spun his knife, slashing hard to deflect the three attacking at once. The clash of claws and blade rang out sharply, shaking the entire block. Before he finished the birds, a nearby manhole cover flew open. Mutant rats poured out. A tide of fur swarmed in, forcing him to turn and cut down the front line. Across the rooftops, the spirit matron still cradled her cat, healing non-stop while sending signals to other mutants. Dai Zhongming charged toward her, roaring, "You think that's enough to kill me? Dream on." He unleashed precise slashes, slicing the lead rats midair into chunks. Still, two slipped through, leaping up to bite him by surprise. Unfazed, he poured energy into his blade, striking faster, expression calm as ever. Soon, heaps of mangled rats surrounded him, forming a wall of multicolored corpses. Realizing defeat, the surviving swarm scattered and fled. Now only the spirit matron remained above, watching, her allies gone. He raised his knife toward her for the first time. She looked impatient, sweat dripping down her cheek. Without warning, she turned to retreat, glancing back with venomous eyes promising revenge. Meeting her gaze, Dai Zhongming drew a hand across his throat and sneered, "Next time, you die." Back at base, as everyone rested, sudden knocking at the door caught their attention. Though the spirit matron had fled, Dai Zhongming returned battered, breath ragged from the brutal fight. The guard opened up, shocked by his condition, but he said nothing, just asked for alcohol and bandages. Everyone rushed to help as he sat silently, asking, "Where are Mo Yi and Xiao Hu?" Liang Shuyan replied, "They went to find food." Holding the bandages, she hesitated over his many wounds, unsure where to start, so Hale stepped forward, offering to do it herself. Experienced as always, Hale worked fast, though the strange claw and bite marks left her wondering what had fought. Seeing her hesitate, he said coldly, "Hurry up. If the blood spreads, zombies will come." A group of tied-up captives sneered, "Got your ass kicked, huh? Lucky you're not dead." Moments later, Mo Ye and Xiao Hu returned, their bags stuffed with food. Without looking back, Dai Zhongming stood, moved toward the spinning device, his wounds bandaged, and told them to eat first. Then he took out a heap of demon crystals and tossed them into the wheel, shocking everyone. The wheel began spinning slowly. 360 level 1 crystals, all earned from his slaughter after the spirit matron fled. Everyone watched nervously, waiting to see what fortune would bring. When it stopped, a glowing book floated before him. It was a profession scroll. He blinked in surprise. Guangming Apostle? Never heard of that one. Opening it, he laughed. It was a main class, blending healing arts and light magic, focused on defense, support, and recovery. A dream-tier profession. The others gathered curiously, so he handed them the scroll to read. After reading, they found the catch: only someone without a profession could learn it, and once chosen, no second class was allowed. Holding a high-grade cross, he smiled. "Who wants this chance?" Without hesitation, Mo Ye raised a hand excitedly. "Me, I'll take it." Mo Ye and Liang Shuyan both shot Xiao Hu judgmental looks, silencing him instantly. Xiao Hu sighed inwardly. Had only joked he wasn't evolved and barely close to Zhongming, so taking a class would be a waste. When silence lingered, Dai Zhongming turned to Mo Ye. "You only have one class, right?" Mo Ye waved it off. "No thanks. I won't let one class limit me." He longed to grow as strong as Dai Zhongming, and if Zhongming could multi-class, he would too. His gaze shifted to Liang Shuyan. Liang Shuyan also refused, saying the job didn't suit her nature. All eyes then turned to Fa Shouying, the only one still silent, leaving her flustered. Liang Shuyan snapped, "What are you waiting for? You hate fighting. This class fits you. You're gentle, clean, and pure. It's perfect." Fa Shouying wrestled with herself, then finally looked up. "I'll take it." Dai Zhongming frowned at her for a moment, then said firmly, "I'll give it to you, but understand the price. Once you learn it, we're all bound by that choice." Liang Shuyan smirked slyly. "So, can you really trust the man who once chained your neck and split us with a blade?" Fa Shouying reached out and took the scroll. Golden light burst forth, merging into her body. In seconds, her aura transformed. A pale blue glow surrounded her, radiating a divine presence. Suddenly, Fa Shouying pointed at Dai Zhongming and cast Cam Lu technique. The bandages around him unraveled, revealing an uninjured body. Everyone was stunned. Delighted, Zhongming asked, "How many uses left?" After thinking, she replied, 8 or 9 more times. He burst into laughter. This was truly a rare class, fit only for those with immense spirit power or absurdly low energy costs. Unexpectedly, Fa Shuing added, I have another skill. Zhang Ming turned, shocked. What? You're just a trainee apostle. She looked up calmly. You mean class rank? After Guangming, apostle comes messenger, then saint envoy, then holy maiden, then divine emissary, and finally goddess. Hearing that, Zhang Ming nearly cursed in awe. This profession was ridiculously overpowered. No wonder it forbade multiclassing. Fa Shouying immediately used her other skill, summoning a small blue shield after chanting. As Zhang Ming changed clothes, he asked curiously if it protected only herself. She touched the shield, explaining it automatically analyzed and blocked attacks, or could be set to guard someone else. Mo Ye and Liang Shuyin ran over excitedly to watch, the room buzzing with energy. Zhang Ming turned back to the device, where 2 black and white slots awaited. He inserted 4 Martin crystals and began the spin. The captives realized in horror that the items used were Martin Cup version. 2 seconds. The scarred man trembled. 3 of them together couldn't beat a level 2 zombie, yet this man had slain 4 solo. Zhang Ming ignored their fear, focused solely on the wheel's rotation. It stopped, revealing a new scroll titled Feng Yuza Wind Dancer. Zhang Ming immediately handed it to Liang Shuyin, urging her to take it. Shocked, she opened it. Indeed, the Wind Dancer profession. The class was female only, using ribbons as weapons, requiring dance-like movement to execute complex skills. Mo Ye smiled and congratulated her, admitting he had no clue how it worked. Fa Shouying laughed, saying it was perfect for her. She was already skilled with whips. Everyone agreed, and Liang Shuyin gripped the scroll tightly, accepting the class. Mo Ye, long yearning for rare jobs, felt new excitement seeing 2 appear in a row. Zhang Ming calmly announced the Martin supply was spent. They'd have to wait a full day to reactivate. Mo Ye's eyes widened in disbelief. He got a light knock on the head from Fei Shouying, who scolded him for overreacting. Sulking in a corner, Mo Ye pouted while Hale shook her head, calling it a lesson in patience. Zhang Ming approached the captured group, ordering them to prepare for departure. Terrified, the scarred man begged for mercy, promising to reveal a secret. Zhang Ming's cold stare made him tremble harder. He swore repeatedly his intel was true, mentioning someone else with a similar profession. Without delay, the scarred man revealed a location, a small shop named Shi Shi Oan Hoan, 2 blocks away, where another group traded professions for resources. Morning sunlight hits the old building as Dai Zhongming's group packs up to leave. Xia Lei hands Zhongming a gold pouch. He cheerfully reminds everyone to train through real combat. Mo Ye grins, impressed that Dai didn't snatch the prisoner's demon cores too. Zhongming suddenly turns serious, warning that if the wheel's arrow lands on the black zone, it means total annihilation, no exceptions. His words freeze everyone. The air thickens with tension. Mo Ye nervously asks what to do with the 3 captives. Just then, an explosion erupts from the building behind them, startling the team. Zhang Ming coldly declares this is his last warning. Next time, no talk, just kill. When Xia Lei questions him, Dai replies he never promised mercy. They surrendered only because they were weak. In this brutal world, he reminds her those people once hunted them when he was unconscious. If she calls him cruel, it's because her pity still lives. He warns her one day that mercy will cost her unbearable pain. Pointing at a nearby zombie, he says she'll end up like that if she doesn't wake up. The corpse looks horrific, skinny, tangled hair, torn clothes, missing arm, black blood oozing out. His words silence everyone. The gruesome sight leaves no room for argument. Dai continues that sorrow only belongs before corpses. Pitying enemies brings disaster, never let them live. Scene shifts to another building, sunlight leaking through an old window. Inside, a fat man sits by the window, finishing a bottle of water. A frightened girl peeks from the bed, eyes wide with terror. He catches her look, tosses her the bottle, saying the rest is hers. She gulps it down greedily. Every drop is precious in this shortage. As the man dresses, someone outside calls his son, reports a new group arrived to spin the wheel, looking tough. The man opens the door with a scowl, asking how many there are. The son cheerfully answers 6 people, 4 women and 2 men, all armed. The fat man secretly calculates such a lineup shouldn't be underestimated. Before leaving, he tells his son to call for backup and hurry up. The boy lazily nods. Inside, the girl wraps herself in a blanket, eyes full of pain as she stares at the man. He throws her another bottle and orders harshly for her to serve him again. With no choice, she stays silent and endures once more. Outside, the old man and his crew gather around the spinning wheel as Dai Zhongming's group arrives. Mo Ye excitedly confirms the prisoners were right. There really is a true roulette here. The fat man aims his gun, glaring, asking if they know the rules. Dai Zhongming laughs. 1 demon core per spin, right? Then well, spin 10 times. Saying that, he tosses the bag of demon cores Xia Lei gave him toward them. The fat man catches it and signals his men to step back so the group can spin. Dai lets Mo Ye take the turn, telling him to test his lucky red hands. Mo Ye eagerly agrees. As they spin, the fat man whispers to his son to keep a close watch on them. The wheel glows as Mo Ye spins. He turns back, asking Zhang Ming if luck's really on his side. When evolution potions appear, he thinks he'll get some, but the others suddenly aim their guns, betraying them. The fat man shouts for them to drop the potions or get shot dead. Dai just smirks, as if had foreseen this and was ready to strike back. Before the enemy can react, Dai's group attacks Fa Shuying's barrier shields the front. The gunmen never expect their weapons to fail and are swiftly crushed. Screams echo as the ambushers writhe helplessly in despair. In seconds, they're all dead, bodies scattered across the grass. Dai signals his group to leave, planning to trade potions for job licenses. Lei worries about high prices. Dai laughs, saying if the price is too steep, they'll just renegotiate. Everyone knows what that means. Zhongming's team finds the On Ha supermarket, but pauses outside. Mo Ye asks what to do next. Dai orders Mo Ye, after drinking his potion, to hunt zombies nearby for practice while he scouts alone. The group protests going solo is far too risky now. Dai reassures them if the enemy still needs potions, they're not evolved, so no threat to him. Still uneasy, Liang Shu Yin suggests sending Dai Huang with him, and they reluctantly agree. Man and beast slip quietly through the streets, swift and stealthy. From a rooftop, Lady Yu's black cat secretly tails them unseen. Dai approaches the supermarket but waits outside, observing first. When he hears voices inside, that's when chaos suddenly erupts. Dai Huang spots the black cat, and the two beasts instantly clash. Though smaller, the cat matches Dai Huang blow for blow in the fierce fight. Dai draws his dagger. Fully alert, he recognizes that creature all too well. Scanning the area, he spots Lady Yu hiding nearby with a bone fiend at her side. He runs a finger across his neck and coldly vows to end her today, knowing how deadly an intelligent mutant zombie can be. With that, he charges. Lady Yu lunges back. Dai dodges aside, blade flashing, waiting to strike. Just as a duel seems set, the bone fiend attacks from behind Lady Yu, eyes blazing red as it unleashes a psychic blast. Two red lasers shoot at Dai, making him hesitate briefly. He swiftly dodges. Its attack is weak, just a level 2 mutant zombie using basic radiant beam skill. Landing lightly, Dai swings his blade down without hesitation. The bone fiend's arm is severed before it can react. Dai grabs its head, shouting as he prepares to finish it. Lady Yu rushes in to save her ally. Unaware Dai is faking it, he lures her in, slices off the bone fiend's other arm, then spins. Blade aims straight at her. Just as she's about to die, her crystal glows, blasting energy that halts Dai Zhongming and ruins his plan. Facing an enemy with superior psychic power, Dai uses his combat instincts to strike both foes at once. Landing hard, he suffers a mental attack. Blood spills from his eyes and mouth, proof it hits his very will to live. The zombies' level doesn't match their advanced psychic skills, making the fight bizarrely uneven. Lady Yu retreats with her cat after failing to land a hit, but Dai Zhongming won't let her go. As he springs forward to chase, the bone fiend attacks from behind. He counters instantly, decapitating it, but Lady Yu uses the moment to escape. Without hesitation, he speeds after her, determined to end this threat for good. Passing the supermarket, voices inside make him pause, reminding him to stay focused on his real goal. Meanwhile, Dai Huang extracts the core from the bone fiend's corpse as Dai approaches the store. He knocks, offering to trade, claiming he has evolution potions. Dai tells Dai Huang to leave and regroup to avoid scaring people, then adds he'll return after negotiating inside. Someone asks where he got the info. He replies, from Brother Dan. The old man inside questions further, was he alone? Any zombies nearby? Dai confirms he's solo and cleared them all. Still cautious, the man cracks the window, ordering Dai to move slowly with hands visible. Dai climbs in through the window, sunlight slants across the room while the old man keeps a bow ready, forcing Dai to stay alert. In the corner, two young men silently observe. The middle-aged man directly asks what kind of potion he's carrying. Dai removes his pack, shows one vial, saying he has more but wants to see their goods first. Standard trade rules. The old man nods, signaling one youth to fetch the item. The youth returns with a profession scroll. Dai inspects it carefully, confirming it's genuine. He steps closer to ask about trade terms, startling them into demanding he step back. The old man sets the price at 6 vials. Dai refuses, it's too steep. They insist it's fair, lowering only to 4. Dai weighs it. 1-star evolution potions are priceless early on, representing immense effort, worth far more than a job license without combat skill. He straps his pack again, stating firmly that 3 vials are already generous. The opposite side disagrees, threatening to end talks if he won't raise the offer, their guard up. A young man interjects to mediate, saying 3 vials are already the best deal lately, but the elders stay stubborn. Dai grows suspicious, asking why they're so fixated on 4. The man lowers his bow, explaining 2 relatives are gravely ill, the potions are their only hope. Hearing that, Dai understands their desperation and softens, proposing alternative ways for mutual benefit. He takes out an egg from a level 2 mutant beast, explaining it works like an evolution potion, reusable, weaker but stable. The opposite group hesitates, clearly not trusting this strange item yet. The young man asks if it works for everyone, even evolved ones. Dai Zhongming confirms yes and that this is his final offer. At last, they agree, realizing hoarding it longer brings no gain. As dusk falls, Dai prepares to leave, kindly warning the middle-aged man the area won't stay safe. The man's surprised by such rare kindness but thanks him sincerely. Before leaving, Dai asks where the profession scroll came from, doubting they spun it legally. As he guessed, the man says they found it in a monster nest while two aberrant creatures fought fiercely. Dai nods, sure it's a true treasure, and departs swiftly. Away from the store, he checks his loot. Guan Hui Yin Dao Shi, a glorious seal blade master, granting immense power. Learning the new class, his weapon morphs into a long, razor-sharp blade. He's thrilled to test it. Focusing energy at his fingertips, he commands surrounding matter to retreat at will. A fiery sigil appears midair when his blade touches it. Something strange happens. Flames erupt, engulfing the sword in pale orange light and drifting gold dust. He swings forward hard to test its real destructive power. A thunderous explosion roars. The fire spreads across the front zone. As smoke settles, Dai thrills at the power his new blade rivals half his former peak strength. The glorious seal blade master blends the bladesman with the sigil mage. Sigil mages form external seals to trigger skills. Bladesmen channel might through weapons. This class splits into two paths: seal arts, using the blade as a conduit for fire skills. The other path is blade arts. He only knows one move, Lin Hai Duan, Forest C/, too draining to use now. For now, he can unleash at most 2 strikes if combining sigil and Lin Hai Duan. The better the blade, the stronger the seal. Luckily he's also a craftsman. Time to regroup with Liang Shu Yin. Dai leaps across rooftops, hearing fierce barking ahead. He senses the team's in trouble. Elsewhere, Mo Yi struggles. Her summoned beast barrier is shattered. Her foe is a muscular man in a strange uniform, likely from some faction. The brute mocks her healing and shielding skills, eyeing the powerful blade in her hands. Little Hugh lies unconscious behind her, while Mo Ye angrily curses the man's insults. Others clash too. Liang Shu Yin is suppressed by an experienced old fighter. Dai Huang is surrounded by 3 fully armed enemies. The situation turns dire. Suddenly, the big guy lunges at Mo Ye, forcing her to block the savage blow with her blade. But the foe uses both hands, easily reversing momentum and thrusting a second strike at her. At that critical instant, Fa Shuying's final shield triggers just in time, saving Mo Ye from the fatal blow. Unfazed, the brute pulls back briefly, then lunges again with a new flurry of relentless attacks. Fa Shuying hurriedly summons Sky Shield Wolf to block, but she's drained after supporting the team non-stop. Everyone can only pray Dai Zhongming returns soon or they won't last. The attacker sneers mid-strike, mocking the weak for being robbed, declaring the blade will soon be his. Just then, a familiar voice freezes him. Dai Zhongming has arrived. Flames blaze in his eyes as he calmly steps forward, unleashing the flame-sealing blade technique. His sudden entrance halts the battlefield. Foes and allies alike are stunned. The blazing arc flashes by sharp enough to sever the enemy's arm instantly. The brute collapses, clutching the stump and howling in agony. Zhongming now stands like a war god, his aura icy and overwhelming, keeping all at bay. His comrades cheer, rushing over, calling his name in relief. The battle flips completely. Seeing no hope, the enemies abandon the fight and flee. Liang Shuyin's opponents retreat too, ignoring her shouts to stop. Though victorious, Dai Zhongming is utterly exhausted, drenched in sweat, urging everyone to withdraw. Liang Shuyin, worried by his weakness, supports him as he admits the last strike drained him severely. Mo Ye quickly reorganizes tasks, telling everyone to help each other and evacuate the danger zone immediately. The sky looks bright and calm, if not for the wandering corpses still haunting the city. On the rooftop, they rest over breakfast while Dai Zhongming sits apart, lost in thought. Mo Ye and Little Hu train nearby, seemingly fully recovered. Seeing his friends lively, Dai slowly awakens under the soft sunlight. Familiar sounds surround him. He raises a hand to shield his eyes, curiously scanning the place. The team notices him awake, dropping everything in joy. He's finally recovered. Liang Shuyin brings food. Zhongming smiles reassuringly, though he regrets failing to capture Wang Ting. Liang Shuyin, cheerful, invites everyone to share the freshly cooked breakfast. They gather around the stove. Little Hu munches while asking to wield Feng Ji Yu again, earning a scolding from Mo Ye. Dai Zhongming smiles faintly, saying it's just a weapon, sipping his soup. Little Hu insists Wang Ting clearly feared that blade, even with his higher evolution level. Dai sets down his bowl, chuckling that making a new one for him isn't hard. Before Little Hu can react, Zhongming stands and calls him over. He walks to a wall, gently touches it, and chants a strange forging incantation. The wall liquefies into glowing material, star-like dust swirling around it. Dai skillfully molds the liquid. Light brightness intensifies until the process completes in moments. He turns back, handing the weapon to Little Hu. Hera's Feng Ji Yue, the new version, crafted on the spot. Little Hu takes the blade, stunned speechless. He can't believe it's actually real. Liang Shuyin gazes at him admiringly, while Fa Shuying curiously asks what that skill was. Dai Zhongming laughs, saying it's just a side ability from his secondary trade, craftsmanship. Still, he warns Little Hu that crafting costs rare materials, like the level 2 demon core they got yesterday. Everyone teases Little Hu for his dumbfounded face, then orders him to go wash the dishes. Zhongming walks to the railing to observe below. Mo Ye asks where to go next since they've strayed from the route. He points ahead, saying they'll find a man called the Music Master, a dangerous talent worth recruiting. Scene shifts to a ruined building where weary survivors rest under the morning light. A scar-faced man strolls in, munching chicken and greeting them mockingly. With no one responding, he keeps chatting to himself, wondering why everyone's so quiet. From his tone alone, it's clear he's with the enemy. A bespectacled man just stares coldly at him. The scarred man slings an arm over a blonde girl's shoulder, smirking that food's running out, then tempts the group join him for a full meal. He ups the offer a bottle of water and 3 days rations for anyone who finds supplies. 2 youths volunteer instantly. The scarred man agrees without hesitation, only the bespectacled man stays silent. Suddenly, a buzz-cut thug steps in, interrupting their talk. The scarred man points at the middle-aged musician, forcing him to join, clearly scheming something nasty. Cut to a cluttered room where Dai Zhongming and Little Hu rummage through every corner. Surrounded by corpses, Little Hu mutters that aside from zombies, no one's alive here. Dai frowns, doubting the location. He clearly remembers the music master once came from here in his past life. Liang Shuyin, watching the window, suddenly yells someone's using live bait to lure zombies. Outside, a chilling sight, a living man encircled step by a zombie horde. Meanwhile, the scarred man points his stick at the 2 newcomers, ordering it's their turn next. One refuses. He's struck hard on the arm, then tossed out to be zombie bait. The buzz-cut thug stabs the victim and shoves him outside while the scarred man goes in to check progress. He spots a young man scavenging supermarket shelves and roars, demanding if he's found anything. The youth clutches a cloth bag nervously, admitting there's barely any food left. Hearing that, Chang Chun slaps him brutally, raging over the meager haul after 2 zombie bait rounds. Then the buzzcut runs in, reporting most zombies are gone, only 6 remain. Chang Chun frowns, weighing whether to kill a few to harvest demon cores. His underling drags the musician forward, suggesting there's still 1 more bait to use. Chang Chun eyes him, saying hell, just take some blood, as lure no broken limbs if the man escapes. He eats, if not, fate decides. Before the musician can react, the buzzcut slashes his arm and shoves him out to the zombies. The old man grits his teeth, having no choice but to obey. Rage and helplessness fill him. He can't fathom how his life sank this low. Once, had been a top engineer, living comfortably with a happy family and solid career. Then the apocalypse struck, plunging the world into chaos and shattering all former values. From the moment he first harmed another to survive, his heart was never the same. While fleeing through flickering light, a voice cast cam low technique, saving him just in time. Fa Shu Ying quickly healed him, while Dai Zongming lifted him to safety, leaving the fight to Little Hu and Shu Yin. Stunned, the man asked who they were, but Dai merely smiled, saying explanations could wait. Inside, Dai rejoiced had finally found the man who once created demon core weapons in his past life. In that post-apocalyptic world, humanity battled endless mutant beasts. A few survived thanks to rare special skills, but such people were scarce. Weapons from the roulette were too few, and handmade ones nearly impossible under such conditions. Scavenged arms had limits, but demon core weapons became the turning point for mankind's survival. The musician's real name, MC Dai Yuan, was the founder of that technology, using modern science to harness demon core energy. The group quickly took him back to base to rest. Mo Ye, seeing the stranger, immediately asked who he was. Dai Yuan nervously claimed he was useless, no fighter, no scavenger. Zhongming smiled wryly. This man might not fight, but countless zombies had fallen indirectly thanks to his inventions. He said plainly, I know who you are, leaving Dai Yuan adjusting his glasses in confusion. Sure, they'd never met. Dai explained, he'd read factory archives about him and deeply respected engineers. Dai Yuan only sighed, saying past glory means nothing now. Dai whispered to Mo Ye to take everyone outside so he could talk privately with the old man. They complied without question. He unwrapped a small cake and offered it to the man to ease his hunger. Dai Yuan took it gratefully. Zhongming then handed him a bottle of red wine, saying tech folks always like that. The man drank heartily, accepting the gesture as a rare kindness in a brutal world. Afterward, Zhongming pulled out a demon core, asking if he recognized it. Of course, he did. Without delay, Dai shared his idea. Extracting demon core energy for humanity's use. Was it feasible? Dai Yuan's face changed instantly. He reached out, asking to inspect the crystal closely. After careful study, he couldn't hide his excitement, calling it an incredibly fascinating concept. Dai smiled and invited him to join, promising full research support and freedom from survival worries. Dai Yuan didn't refuse but requested one favor first, then he'd fully commit to the group. Scene cuts to another place. The people had abandoned him now rest in a ruined building. Chang Chun smokes, recalling how Zhongming's team looked absurdly strong and can't fathom why they saved a useless old man. His underling handed him a canned fruit box, saying it's good for vitamins. As he took it, Chang Chun suddenly recalled this guy once stole Yue Dai Yuan's wife. Just then, the door burst open violently, making everyone jump, thinking zombies were coming. It turned out to be humans, but their hearts still pounded with eerie unease. Yi Zhongming led the charge, with Yue Dai Yuan behind. Zhongming asked, "These guys?" and got a furious nod. Despite their size, the thugs froze, having seen Zhongming's terrifying power before. Zhongming grabbed the buzzcut man by the collar before he could react. With one hand, Zhongming flung him into the air at insane speed. The man crashed down hard, rolling right to Yue Dai Yuan's feet. Yi Zhongming tilted his head, handing the wrecked man over to the house lord to deal with. Da Yuan glared at his foe, eyes blood-red, ready to finish him on the spot. He picked up a brick and smashed it down, blood splattered, the sound sickeningly loud. Mo Ye's group just watched silently, stunned by the brutality. Mo Ye knew Zhang Ming wasn't bound by old morals but couldn't tell why he favored the Yu family so much. Jia Lei stepped in, stopping Da Yuan, warning that killing too easily breeds habit. He growled for her to let go. Zhang Ming coldly told Jia Lei to move if she wasn't involved, leaving her speechless. Xiao Hu rushed in, breathless, saying head found what they needed in the next room. Zhang Ming patted Da Yuan's shoulder, told him to come. He grunted and stopped. The door shut. Liang Shuyin pointed inside, saying the person he sought was there. No explanation needed. Zhang Ming told him to decide for himself, and Da Yuan walked in. Outside, all waited in silence, unsure what emotions brewed within. Xiao Hu curiously asked about the grudge. Zhang Ming said even in chaos, crimes like murder or wife-stealing can't coexist. A woman's scream echoed from the room. Then Zhang Ming stepped out moments later. His blade was spotless. Yue de Yuan said he couldn't strike his ex-wife, leaving her fate to chance. Zhang Ming didn't interfere, only told Liang Shuyin to bring her some food. After everything, he patted Da Yuan's shoulder and told him to leave. Da Yuan nodded gratefully. As they prepared to go, several others ran up, asking to join Da Yuan. They were his old colleagues. Da Yuan awkwardly asked Zhang Ming to let them join for research help. Zhang Ming sighed, saying he could only take 5 people due to strict mission limits. That night, the streets were eerily quiet. Zhang Ming's team planned while Da Yuan and 5 aides studied demon crystals nearby. Zhang Ming confirmed their target in Echo Farm, to reach before searching for Xia Li's missing husband. Xiao Hu got excited about pork, but Zhang Ming revealed the real goal, finding Tier 2 demon crystals. Liang Shuyin believed they could handle Tier 2 mutants, having seen Zhang Ming slay them before. However, this time it wasn't one creature but a whole pack of over 50. Hearing that, the whole team froze at the thought of wiping out so many powerful beasts. The scene shifted to a desolate area where a burly man was dragging a corpse. He drank and cursed, unhappy with the quality of his liquor. Then he tossed the corpse over the fence, telling the beasts inside to eat. The creatures instantly swarmed in, sniffing and gathering hungrily. They tore the body apart until nothing remained, not even cloth scraps. This man was the Beastmaster, hoping their evolution would make him a 2-star powerhouse. Morning sunlight fell on the farm, contrasting with the gloom in the room where he ate cold rations and drank. Though looking weary, he was actually under 30. His name was Gu Fan, a once a brilliant student destined for success. But betrayal at work ruined him, debts mounted, and his parents died from illness while trying to help. With a classmate's aid, he tried boar farming and discovered a strange talent for it. When supply lines broke, the farm collapsed, and he sank into despair until the mutation came. His wild boars evolved into bloodthirsty beasts, yet stayed utterly loyal. Thinking of that, Gu Fan felt his fate might finally turn. But hope vanished fast when he realized his beasts were being slain one by one. A sharp pain in his chest told him it was real. His link to them confirmed their deaths. Gu Fan grew tense, suspecting a strong enemy, but kept calm to assess the threat. He dashed outside. Whistling, the boars obeyed and began returning. Riding atop a giant boar, Gu Fan led the herd forward. Behind him, the beasts followed loyally, unaware they were being watched through binoculars. Xiao Hu reported through radio, confirming the beasts' count and classification. Zhang Ming's group watched Gu Fan's movements from a nearby building. Mo Ye detailed which beasts marched out and which guarded the base. 74 mutant boars total, clearly ranked enough to make anyone sweat. Fa Xiaoying, alarmed, urged Zhang Ming to reconsider the plan. Zhang Ming refused, saying big risks mean big rewards, so they move. He assigned Yue Da Yuan to stay and relay intel from his good vantage point. Xia Lei was ordered to stay behind too, guarding the rear with Ri Gong. Fei Xiuying was sent to support Liang Shuyin's and DHH's units for coordination. Mo Ye's task was to clear nearby low-tier beasts and prep vehicles for the next strike. Zhang Ming vowed to wipe out the rest in the farm, stressing evolution as their only path forward. The group quickly split up while he crept toward the farm gate to scout. In his past life, Gu Fan was a 9-star powerhouse commanding monstrous beasts, yet died alone, slain by 2 equals. Only after his death did people learn his story and that his mighty empire began with this very pig farm. Spotting a beast, Zhang Ming dashed forward and sliced off its head in one stroke. He swiftly collected the demon crystal. Evolution was all that mattered, even if it meant killing a future powerhouse. The aftermath was drenched in blood, mostly human. Zhang Ming kept slashing coldly, convinced none of these creatures were innocent. Elsewhere, Mo Yi was being chased by boars through dust clouds, gripping a heavy gun. Once she had lured them far enough, she spun around and opened fire. Her first bullet dropped one, igniting chaos. Many fell under her barrage, but one beast broke through, charging straight at her. Unfazed, she dodged aside and stabbed its weak spot behind the skull. Blood gushed onto the dirt. 10 boars now lay dead before Mo Ye. As she bent to collect demon crystals, she reported the situation over radio, ready to move on. Elsewhere, a pack of boars feasted on a mangled human corpse. In the tense silence, Liang Shuyin approached slowly, gripping her whip, drawing their attention. One beast stopped eating and crept toward her warily. Liang Shuyin reacted fast, whipping at blinding speed, striking multiple times. But their hides were too thick, her blows barely hurt them and only enraged them more. One lunge to counterattack, then a sudden shield blocked the hit. Barely surviving, Liang Shuyin realized help had arrived just in time. She turned with a faint smile, asking her rescuer if they came to save her. The beast before her already lay dead. But before she could relax, another lunge from behind Fa Shou Ying shouted a warning. Without thinking, Liang Shuyin flipped upward, dodging the strike by a hair. Mid-air, she fired 3 precise shots into the beast's skull. It fell dead on impact. Fa Shou Ying confirmed mission success via radio, and the two moved toward their next zone. At another rendezvous, Xiao Hu sat smoking on a boar corpse, motorcycle ready, waiting for the team. From afar, Gu Fan led his beasts closer, suspicious of how easily his boars were being slain. Xiao Hu didn't answer, he just flipped a mocking finger and grinned, daring him to chase if he wanted answers. He revved the bike and sped off in a cloud of dust, while Gu Fan, furious, ordered the herd to pursue. During the chase, Gu Fan kept wondering who Xiao Hu really was and what his true goal might be. Xiao Hu remained calm, reporting mission success while racing toward the next target. On another front, Yi Zhongming finished off the last boars, his clothes spotless, though his blades still dripped red, then prepared to redeploy. The scene shifted to an abandoned building heavy with tension. Inside, Mo Ye stood guard with a sniper rifle, while 2 others listened to mission reports. Liang Shuyin marveled at how Yi Zhongming had slain 7 mutant beasts in record time. Fa Shou Ying teased her, saying she sounded more smitten than impressed. Liang Shuyin, caught off guard, shot back by reminding him how had once thought of Ye during danger. Fa Shou Ying blushed and stammered that he only hoped to be rescued, not smitten. Liang Shuyin kept teasing, leaving Fa Shou Ying laughing helplessly at being reverse-shipped. Despite the banter, Mo Yi stayed alert, switching to combat mode after spotting movement. The herd Xiao Hu had lured finally entered the team's firing range. Conversation stopped, everyone snapped into battle positions. Fa Shou Ying raised an energy shield while Liang Shuyin cursed nervously, regretting she had lived this long without a boyfriend. Meanwhile, Gu Fan raged upon realizing a third of his 74 beasts were gone. His fury grew when he still couldn't find the biker while the enemy's trap was already set. A bad feeling struck then. The first bullet hit a boar beside him, startling him. Seeing it fall, Gu Fan crouched low, using his mount for cover. Moments later, he spotted Mo Ye's squad and ordered the boars to charge. From above, Liang Shuyin leapt down, shouting a bold promise to survive. She unleashed shadow rain from 4 directions, a storm of whipped shadows tearing through the herd like weeds in a storm. Then gunfire from behind rained down, finishing the beasts before they could react. Liang Shuyin turned to see Mo Ye, providing cover fire, calm and steady. Without hesitation, she dashed through the bullets, trusting Mo Ye's flawless aim. She reached a building and threw a hook line toward a window frame. As it caught, she vaulted upward, escaping a charging boar by inches. Mo Yi leaned out and reached to pull her in. Liang Shuyin bit down on the rope, swung through the window, and landed inside. Wounded at the waist, she slumped against the wall, gasping that her spirit energy was spent. Fa Shou Ying rushed to bandage her while Mo Ye groaned out of armor-piercing rounds, only useless bullets left. Gu Fan, who had followed them secretly, kicked the door open in rage after overhearing, shouting no one would escape. He vowed to capture them alive, torture the truth out, then feed them to his beasts. None noticed. Yi Zhongming silently appeared behind Gu Fan, asking coldly in return. The 3 women saw him like a savior descending, their fear melting away. Before Gu Fan could react, Yi Zhongming's kick slammed into his back like thunder. The massive man flew out the window, smashing glass and falling from the upper floor. Mid-air, before he grasped what happened, blazing fireballs rained down. Yi Zhongming followed, blade aflame, diving like a fiery hawk with no mercy. Flames engulfed Gu Fan completely. Ye Zhongming watched coldly as his prey burned. The beasts burned with him, shrieking in agony before falling silent. The stench of char filled the air. Xiao Hu began counting 72 mutant boars lay dead. He reported to Ye Zhongming that only 2 remained unaccounted for. Yi Zhongming nodded, saying this many kills already counted as a grand victory. Before leaving, he told Xiao Hu to leave the carcasses for the others to process. Before Xiao Hu could ask, Yi Zhongming explained they could use some parts of the beasts for evolution. Seeing Xiao Hu's puzzled face, he laughed and teased, wasn't he the one craving pork earlier? Xiao Hu swallowed hard, eyeing the meat hungrily, while Mo Ye patted his shoulder, telling him to fetch Yue Dayuan's team. The others split up to find salt and firewood for smoking and preserving the boar meat. Yi Zhongming smiled faintly, gave orders, then retreated to rest, his face pale with exhaustion. Everyone scattered to their tasks, and Xiao Hu sped off to pick up Yue Dayuan. In the yard, Liang Shuyin and Fa Shou Ying hung meat on racks, smoking each piece over the fire. Nearby, Xiao Hu, Xiaolei, and Mo Ye sliced and prepared meat with old-fashioned knives. Yue Dayuan's group handled preservation, all working seriously. Inside, Ye Zhongming rested, Eating meat while planning beside him were two live boars bound tightly. The meat was precious nutrition, especially useful for less evolved members like Liang Shuyin's team. Their greatest loot, over 40 Tier 2 demon crystals, enough to gamble on a level up. Suddenly, DHH stared at him with an odd gleam, catching Yi Zhongming off guard. Seeing the dimming crystal on its forehead, he guessed DHH was about to evolve. DHH lay still at his feet. Yi Zhongming waited patiently, sensing evolution approaching. Then shouting erupted outside Moye, arguing with unfamiliar voices. Yi Zhongming opened the door and saw her facing two strangers. He coldly asked their names and sensed no evolutionary aura, just ordinary humans. They quickly replied they were Jia Ren and Da Ming, from a new base. Hearing that, Xia Lei jolted with sudden, fragile hope. She suspected the base might be government-run and maybe her missing person was there. Moye cautiously suggested verifying, since official bases were usually strict. Xia Lei stepped forward to ask more. They said the base was formed by a local artillery battalion and government survivors gathering civilians. Hearing that, Xia Lei's hope grew. She immediately asked if they knew Tan Wu, a former government worker. The two exchanged looks, then shook their heads. They'd never heard the name. Xia Lei's face darkened into silence. Yi Zhongming glanced at her, then refocused on the strangers. They admitted they were scavenging for supplies. The new base lacked food and ammo, forcing people to fend for themselves. Xiao Hu tilted his head, asking why they came here, making the tall man tense and wonder why the group hadn't gone to the base. He hurriedly offered to guide them there, promising help so they wouldn't be tricked by others inside. Usually a bit dense, Xiao Hu now replied firmly they had legs and didn't need babysitters. The fat man panicked, explaining the new base was surrounded by beasts and zombies, only special routes allowed entry. Yi Zhongming ordered them to elaborate. They confessed the entrance was through underground sewers, easy to get lost, so they wanted to act as guides and asked for some meat in return. Yi Zhongming coolly agreed 2 meat slices each, but only if they stayed to help process it before guiding the team in. Both men sighed in relief, thanking profusely and explaining they had families to feed, forced by circumstance. Hearing that, Ye Zhongming decided to split the meat, one stash hidden, one for travel. Xiao Lei quickly told Xiao Hu to check the farm area for anything odd around the meat site. Suddenly, fierce barking erupted inside. The alarm made Yi Zhongming rush in. He was stunned. The evolution of Di Huang Huang was progressing absurdly fast, reacting within 10 minutes. Entering, he saw DHH's fur gone, replaced by a tiny pup howling, making everyone crowd and worried. Xiao Hu pointed, yelling in shock. Golden fur was sprouting again. The mark of evolution. DHH's body transformed, emerald eyes sharp, golden coat gleaming. Movements fierce. It had reached Tier 2. No sooner finished, it leapt onto Yi Zhongming, excitedly showing off its upgrade. It tackled him down. He was startled but not angry, while everyone burst into laughter. After showing off to its master, DHH ran off to brag to the others, acting like the new golden pup. Yi Zhongming wiped drool off his face, chuckling and urging everyone to finish the meat work, then scolded the silly dog to follow him. But DHH barked loudly, then shoved its head into Elsa's shirt, leaving everyone baffled where it learned that pervy habit. Once calm returned, Ye Zhongming pulled DHH aside, asking if its evolution unlocked any new abilities. DHH let out a strange yelp. Yi Zhongming frowned, unsure if it truly had no new skill. Then suddenly, DHH lay flat and fired 2 beams of light from its body. Yi Zhongming dodged fast. The beams obliterated the wall, proving their deadly power. Before, DHH's innate skill was the needle burst line, a wide-range attack used by many furred beasts. Now, post-evolution, it could control both the range and destructive force of the technique. The scene shifted to a city of tightly packed skyscrapers. On one rooftop, a man in green uniform scanned the surroundings. He spotted something odd, a group roasting boar meat not far away. That farm once belonged to a freak, now dead, and his mutant boars had become dinner for survivors. A scholarly-looking man approached with a smile. "Captain, anything strange ahead?" The captain replied not to call him that. Everyone now just belonged to the base, all struggling for food. The man chuckled, "Then don't call me Tan Ki, just Tan Wu." His gaze drifted toward the captain's rifle, silently wishing he had one too. With a gun, finding demon crystals would be easier, and with crystals came evolution and power within the base. Another man arrived, reporting preparations done, but zombies and beasts had invaded the area. Only 1 sack of safe rice remained, plus 70 cans of soybean oil and a few scraps of noodles. The captain flicked his cigarette, grumbling that without food, they might as well photosynthesize for dinner. Snuffing it out, he sighed that the hunt brought little, and he still had to hand Martin's demon crystal to superiors. He suddenly realized the group who killed the boar breeder must have gotten rich loot. If they joined the base, its strength would rise. He eyed Yi Zhongming's team hopefully. But if they refused, their meat and resources were worth more than crystals. If the base seized them, he might even earn a dream evolution vial for free, even if it killed him. Gun in hand, he turned back, ordering Tan Wu to report the situation. After finishing the boar meat, Ye Zhongming's group followed the 2 base men toward the entry point. Jia Ren pointed at a sewer ahead, saying he and Jia Di had discovered it. No one else knew of it. Then he gestured toward the nearby urban zone that, he said, was the new base. Sure enough, hordes of zombies surrounded the site. This place would later become the Yunshan Battle Course base, wiped out within half a year. Leading the way, Jia Ren spoke of the grim life inside the base. None noticed that in the shadows, most zombies there had already evolved to Tier 2. Lifting the sewer lid, Jia Ren said these monsters sometimes attacked the base, like Yi Zhongming's dog. Elsa nervously asked if leaving Da Huang alone to guard the meat was safe. Yi Zhongming reassured her the area was once Boar territory, so few zombies roamed besides. They couldn't carry all that meat anyway. As they talked, Jai Ren and Da Ming opened another sewer lid. They warned the group to be cautious. Such tunnels often hid worms or mutant ambushers. Yue Daoyuan worriedly asked what they'd do if danger struck outside. Jia Ren said risk was part of life. Even inside, they could starve. Luckily, most sewer creatures feared fire, so flashlights would help. Yi Zhongming nodded and ordered the march. The group descended into the sewers. The air was stale, but the space roomy enough. As they walked, Jia Ren explained there were 4 sewer routes into the base, each guarded and toll-based: food, weapons, whatever the guards wanted. Ahead lay the West Gate route. Along the way, Jia Ren's group encountered another band coming from the opposite side. When they met, a man from that group smirked, asking if Jia Ren's team got any spoils from their hunt. His cronies closed in, yanking Jia Ren's bag, claiming they just wanted to take a look. Jia Ren resisted but couldn't stop them. They stole the bag. Watching his only hope snatched away, Jia Ren felt utter despair. The thieves tore open the bag and, seeing the meat, their greed surged instantly. Overcome by rage, Jia Ren shouted and lunged to snatch it back. He shoved the thief backward, spilling the meat across the tunnel floor. Old Zhao stepped in front of it high, raising a fist and barking that a little scuffle wasn't worth hitting so hard. Da Ming quickly grabbed Jia Ren, apologizing, saying the man only panicked over the hard-won meat, then softly offered to share half with A Tai as compensation. But Lao Zhao ignored him, grabbed the meat bag, and declared it his, making Jia Ren angrily warn him not to be too greedy. That remark enraged Lao Zhao, veins bulging. He snapped, head, even take Dai Ming's share. His arrogance crossed the line. Everyone knew their group wasn't one to mess with. A Tai, still aching from hitting the wall, grumbled that Zhao was hogging too much and stood up. He even pointed at Ji Zhongming's group, saying they were in on it too and should hand everything over. Ji Zhongming frowned. Elsa's face hardened as she stepped up, ordering them to return the meat and scram. One thug shoved a stick in Elsa's face, cursing and threatening her. A Tai roared and charged, swinging his club to kill Elsa. She stayed calm and kicked him square in the gut, folding him in pain. Then a kick to the chin sent A Tai flying, underestimating an evolver was suicide. Seeing him fly, the rest grew nervous. But stupidity beat fear. They all rushed at Elsa, screaming to kill her. Ji Zhongming glanced at Elsa coldly, telling her to finish it. He had no patience for trash. Elsa nodded, coolly saying such weaklings weren't worth her attention. In a blink, she knocked them all out, dusting her hands like she had just cleaned crumbs. The thugs lay groaning at her feet, paying the price for their stupidity. Ji Zhongming didn't bother looking again. With obstacles gone, he led the group onward. Lao Zhao, still conscious but frozen in fear, realized Head just picked a fight with evolvers. After a short walk, they neared the sewer gate. Jia Ren pointed at the guards and told everyone to stay close. Before stepping out, Ji Zhongming reminded them to get used to being robbed. Most fights were over one's own goods. Even tiny items could cost lives, so robbery and killing were often the same thing here. In truth, Ji Zhongming could have killed them earlier, but instead simply praised Elsa. Well done. Being praised by her crush made Elsa beam inside, though she only smiled modestly. Before leaving the sewer, Ji Zhongming ordered everyone to hand him their weapons to avoid trouble. They obeyed, giving him everything, and the group moved on. Emerging from the drain, sunlight hit the ruins. Ji Zhongming's group finally breathed open air at their new base. Jia Ren and Dai Ming smiled, confirming this was indeed the base they'd mentioned. A few people were selling goods, but dried blood still stained the ground like everywhere else. Having eased his fear of Ji Zhongming, Jia Ren invited them to stay in his building since there were empty rooms. The offer was accepted. Then Xie Lei suddenly announced she wouldn't continue. She wanted to find her husband, though sad. Everyone respected her choice. They said goodbye with a simple hug and went their separate ways. Xie Lei waved farewell while Ji Zhongming silently watched her walk away. Then he turned to Jia Ren, asking where to buy some basic supplies. Jia Ren pointed south, saying there's a small market at the crossroads where food can buy almost anything. Ji Zhongming quietly asked about trading bullets. Jia Ren was shocked. Only the cannon squad and Director Wang's men had them, though the black market might. He then asked if that black market traded strange stuff like scrolls, alchemy books, or unidentified items. Ji Zhongming was surprised such a new base already had a black market, but Jia Ren said he'd never seen it himself. Dai Ming recalled hearing of someone in the eastern zone selling a secret formula for an outrageous price. Whether he needed it or not, such a thing was surely worth a fortune. Ji Zhongming asked if they could help him find that seller, offering meat as payment. Surprised but tempted, they agreed. Jia Ren nodded and promised to help Ji Zhongming track the man down. Then Ji Zhongming told Dai Ming to split the team. Head guide yes, group around and return carefully. Jia Ren left, and Dai Ming politely took over as guide, leading Ji Zhongming's group onward. They followed him through the base's twisting alleys. Suddenly, Fast Showing tugged Ji Zhongming's sleeve, pointing towards something. She pointed at a pretty but ragged girl, frail and miserable. Elsa also saw another scantily dressed woman nearby, seductive yet pitiful. Mo Ye looked uneasy. Two other girls beside her seemed like twin sisters, far too innocent for this cruel world. Ji Zhongming sternly asked Fa Showing if she was ready to kill not just once, but many times. He warned her if she planned to share food, she must accept the cost. Protecting food meant being ready to kill for it. Stunned, Fa Showing froze, unsure how to answer. Dai Ming nodded, adding that too much food could be a curse. People were dying daily just for having it. Precious jade brings guilt, he said. If you have it, you're robbed. If not, you starve. Elsa patted Fa Showing's shoulder as weary faces watched from the roadside. Elsa told her that without Ji Zhongming's protection, they'd probably have become those broken women too. Just then, two strangers appeared. Their aura clearly marked them as evolvers, catching Ji Zhongming's attention. He asked Dai Ming who they were, and learned their names: Yue Chao and Yang Shilong, both evolvers. Yue Chao stepped before a blonde girl, waved a ration pack, and ordered her to lift her head. The girl trembled, face pale, crying and begging that she couldn't do it anymore. Whatever she had suffered, Yang Shilong kicked her hard in the face, cursing her for pretending to be pure. He threw the food bag at her, yanked her hair, and dragged her mercilessly across the ground. Her flesh scraped the concrete as tears streamed down, a living torture. Yet everyone nearby only stared with hate in their eyes, too afraid to act. Fa Showing gasped, asking why they forced her like that. What joy could there be in such cruelty? Elsa stood frozen, suspecting the girl was never willing. Ji Zhongming coldly explained that without value, ordinary people would just be tortured to death. Those two must have done something vile for the girl to resist. Dai Ming sighed in agreement, saying those men treated civilians like trash. Several women had already died by their hands, their cruelty well known. The brutal scene turned the three girls pale. They finally grasped how merciless and unfair the post-apocalyptic world was. Dai Ming spat bitterly, saying if the 3 rotation discs weren't under those bastards' control, they wouldn't dare act so arrogantly. Hearing that, Ji Zhongming jerked in shock, gripping Dai Ming's arm so hard he winced, urgently asking, "How many discs are here?" Realizing his overreaction, Ji Zhongming let go. Dai Ming rubbed his wrist and said everyone in the base knew there were 3, unforgettable to those who'd seen them. Ji Zhongming pressed, "What level?" Dai Ming guessed level 1 or 2 since zombie cores were gray-white. Pure white ones meant level 2. That thrilled Ji Zhongming. In his past life had only reached level 1 before leaving, never seeing a level 2 disc. Had come to trade basics, not to stumble on such fortune. He immediately bought every blanket from a nearby vendor, with boar meat hot by day but freezing by night, so prep was vital. In an abandoned house, Dai Ming's group built a fire while the 3 girls prepared dinner. Xiao Hu chopped wood, Jia Ren and Dai Ming sorted supplies and organized their lodging. Ji Zhongming quietly watched the warm scene, almost forgetting that even evolvers got sick without vegetables. So he called Xiao Hu over and asked Dai Ming where to buy seeds. After getting directions, he and Xiao Hu went to the market for soil and seeds to plant on the rooftop. By night's end, the two finished all their preparations. Exhausted, Xiao Hu collapsed, covered in mud. He glanced at Ji Zhongming fetching water and groaned, "Boss, what's the point, planting now?" But that's normal folk thinking. Ji Zhongming knelt, placed his hand on the soil, and his body glowed green, his gardening profession skill activated. Energy flowed from him into the earth, threading through every crevice. He closed his eyes, feeling his spirit merge with the land. Roots spread underground each time they touched a corn seed. It lit up in his mind, and at each light, green sprouts burst forth. Seeing rows of seedlings shoot up instantly, Xiao Hu gawked, shouting, "Holy crap, that's straight-up cheat mode." Ji Zhongming silently stayed linked to the roots, feeding more energy into them. After a few more rounds, he exhaled softly. The experiment seemed a success. In under 10 minutes, all seeds had sprouted, though over half his spiritual energy was gone. Costly, yes, but worth it now. Had never lacked vitamins or minerals again. As his gardening skill leveled up, food production for the group would become far easier, meaning he could feed more people and hold a core ability few could ever rival. After finishing the planting, Ji Zhongming called Xiao Hu downstairs. The boy asked curiously, "Boss, that's your second profession skill, right? What's your job?" He replied coolly, "Gardener." Xiao Hu blinked. "You mean planting veggies?" Ji Zhongming snapped, "If you don't get it, don't ask." When they came down, dinner was ready with greens and a big chunk of meat. Naturally, Ji Zhongming sat at the center seat. Dai Ming sighed with delight, saying it'd been ages since Head had such a real meal. It felt like pure happiness. Xiao Hu burst out laughing, saying that was nothing, there'd be something even better later. Dai Ming pressed for details, but Xiao Hu just grinned mysteriously. "Secret. Not telling." Ji Zhongming sipped his soup contentedly, planning to rest a bit, then boost the cabbages tomorrow, maybe make a cabbage stew after that. Just then, knocking sounded at the door, catching everyone's attention. Dai Ming opened it to find Jia Ren back with new information. Jia Ren peeked in, looked at Ji Zhongming, and said, "Yeg, I found the one holding the formula." Ji Zhongming's eyes lit up. Where? Jia Ren pointed outside. At the Haiba Community Club in the Eastern District. Elsewhere, Xia Lei anxiously looked at the wounded man before her, asking, "Why are you so badly hurt? Who did this?" Tan Yu clutched his stomach, grimacing but trying to act casual. "Just a fight guy stuff. Don't worry about it." He lifted an empty food bag, chuckling that today's meal was weirdly delicious, something had never tasted before. Xia Lei smiled faintly, thinking, of course, the son of an official wouldn't know common food if it hit him. She looked at her own bag, silently thanking Zhao Ye for saving some meat and an evolution potion, otherwise finding Tan Yu here would have been impossible. Suddenly, Tan Yu collapsed, clutching his chest and screaming in pain. Xia Lei panicked and rushed to him. A strange man burst in violently, radiating menace. Tan Yu tried to smooth things over with excuses, but Xia Lei was suspicious of his odd behavior. He urgently told her to let go, promising to explain later. The man fan stared at Xia Lei with lecherous eyes, making her uncomfortable. His gaze grew filthier. He pretended politeness toward Tan Yu, then abruptly left. Tan Yu was baffled, while Xia Lei had a bad feeling as she watched him go. Worried, she decided to find Xiao Ye to get a weapon for self-defense. Meanwhile, Fan and Yang Shilong were enjoying a massage in a fancy parlor. The manager mentioned Xia Li's stunning beauty, piquing Fan's interest even more. Fan agreed she was far prettier than the rumors claimed. Yang Shilong perked up excitedly, asking for details. He urged Fan to act quickly, clearly eager for what was coming. Fan ordered all the masseuses out so they could talk privately. The girls left immediately, leaving the two men alone. Fan grew serious, asking what their true purpose was behind the power they held. He recalled their poor pasts, emphasizing how much they'd changed thanks to newfound strength. He declared it was their evolution that gave them their current status. Fighting zombies and wielding mana crystals made them strong but not strong enough. Daedong agreed, and Fan stressed that the base faced danger every single day. They might be evolvers, but against thousands of zombies, they were still far too weak. Daedong agreed, and Fan emphasized they had to grow even stronger. Still confused, Daedong didn't see what this had to do with Tan Yu's wife. Fan questioned why two others of the same rank had climbed higher while they hadn't. Daedong admitted it was because the others had stronger skills and armed men. Fan fumed that those guys always took the best spoils while they got leftovers. Daedong agreed. They discussed an upcoming target the base planned to attack and plotted to use Xia Lei to curry favor with Chef Jin. Fan suggested trading Xia Lei for weapons once they'd earned credit. Daedong eagerly backed the idea, itching to act immediately. Fan warned against rash moves, better to wait till tomorrow to hand her over. The next day, a large crowd gathered around a busy building. Jia Ren introduced Le Qiang, a former national marksman now commanding a powerful armed force. Though his evolution formula was tempting, its sky-high price kept the leaders from negotiating. Jia Ren explained Le Qiang's faction was strong and independent of the major powers. After chatting for a while, they reached the base entrance. The area was run solely by Le Qiang, where ordinary folks could work in exchange for survival. A guard came to verify identities, check them, and led the group inside to meet Le Qiang. Jia Ren assured Yi Zongming that everything had been prepared since yesterday. At the gate, 4 armed men stood on alert with weapons ready. Inside sat a calm, imposing man sipping tea, flanked by 2 armed bodyguards. Jia Ren announced their arrival. Le Qiang immediately guessed they were there for the evolution formula. He stated plainly, "Pay the right price, and it's yours." Yi Zongming didn't bargain yet, insisting on inspecting the goods first. Le Qiang signaled for a subordinate to bring a laptop containing the formula. The screen displayed the data, and Zhongming examined it closely. After confirming its authenticity, he asked the price only to be questioned about his background instead. Zhongming quickly realized the real reason it hadn't sold the price was absurdly high. Le Qiang proudly claimed the quality justified the cost. Zhongming coldly shot back, "If it's that good, why haven't you used it yourself?" The sharp question stunned Le Qiang, leaving him speechless. Zhongming pressed further, exposing his weakness. He simply wasn't capable of learning it. Stung in his pride, Le Qiang furiously ordered them out. But Zhongming suddenly offered a shocking bid: 100 level 1 mana crystals. The price stunned Le Qiang, thinking it a mockery. He barked for the guards to eject them. Zhongming calmly asked, "Aren't you operating a rotation disc here?" Then he tossed in a bag full of crystals enough to power it, leaving Le Qiang dumbfounded. Seeing that much mana crystal, Le Qiang realized this man was no ordinary visitor. He agreed to take Zhongming's group to the rotation disc for verification. They entered a heavily guarded section deep within the base. After confirming the number of people, Zhongming stepped forward to begin, while Jia Ren watched in awe. Zhongming analyzed that only 6 crystals were needed to activate it since the premium formula had been transferred elsewhere. The disc had been abandoned for losing value, hence why Le Qiang managed it now. Zhongming placed the crystals and the disc spun, and finally an evolution potion dropped out. Le Qiang secretly burned with envy. His own son had spun the disc countless times without reward, unlike this man. His secretary tried to speak, but Le Qiang stopped him, sensing Ji Zhongming's deadly aura. The man's seemingly casual stance perfectly shielded his teammates, making him impossible to target. Yi Zhongming drew 3 evolution potions but agreed to trade only one as part of the deal. He stated he'd exchange 1 potion plus a high-grade firearm. Li Qiang grew angry, doubting the value of such an offer, and demanded clarification. He sneered. "You gotta bear it, or something to call it high-grade." Zhongming said nothing. He simply pulled a special gun from his pack. Everyone froze. Had been searched. So how did he smuggle a gun in? Zhongming didn't explain. He fired directly into the wall to prove its power. The shot blasted a massive hole, leaving Li Qiang stunned as if he'd seen artillery. Zhongming calmly restated his offer, and Li Qiang, unable to resist, agreed. Deal done. Yi Zhongming quickly returned to their temporary quarters. Dai Ming had already prepared a hearty meal to welcome them back. When the greens were served, the girls were overjoyed. It had been so long since they'd tasted real vegetables. After dinner, Zhongming handed Dai Ming an evolution potion as a reward. Dai Ming teared up, unable to believe he'd been given such a priceless treasure. Zhongming advised everyone not to overeat and promised fresh vegetables would be regular from now on. Then he went back to his room, immediately pulling out the formula for deeper study. He discovered it was difficult for ordinary users but full of potential in his hands. Gazing into the distance, he wondered if he should explore a higher-level rotation disc that very night. Meanwhile, in a luxurious villa belonging to Chef Jin, a fat, ugly man with enormous teeth lounged inside. Tan Yu arrived, bowing politely and calling him Mr. Jin. Chef Jin laughed loudly, telling him to drop the formality and speak casually. Tan Yu remained awkward, but Jin mentioned his late father with fake sympathy. Jin said he'd just heard Tan Yu's lover had crossed a zombie-filled city to find him, pretending admiration. Hearing Xiao Lei's name, Tan Yu froze, shocked that Jin knew so much. Jin raised his glass, toasting to friendship, then guzzled wine like a beast. He leaned his bloated body closer, demanding Tan Yu arrange a meeting with Xiao Lei, openly saying he desired her. Rage burned in Tan Yu, but he stayed silent, knowing he couldn't defy such power. Jin ignored his expression, pressing the demand with cruel amusement. He gave 2 options: let him take her by force in front of Tan Yu, or have her serve him a few nights in exchange for evolution drugs. Those potions, coveted by all, made Tan Yu's mind waver. People died daily craving them, and owning one meant a new life, something Tan Yu understood too well. Jin tempted him further betray his wife, and had joined the ruling class, enjoying every privilege. He added that if Xiao Lei truly loved him, she'd sacrifice herself for his sake. He could make it up to her later. Tan Yu swallowed hard, torn by inner conflict, then stormed out. Jin only laughed, reminding him he knew what choice to make. Behind Jin's chair lay 2 bloody corpses. The messengers Hode reported Xiao Lei's news, proof of his vicious nature. Meanwhile, Yi Zhongming had tracked down the level 2 rotation disc and was hiding nearby, observing. Since no one could activate it, the guards had grown lax. Zhongming slipped in silently, passing 2 guards, fast asleep. The disc glowed gold but lacked the luck function, meaning no skills or formulas remained. Still, there were 2-star evolution potions, immunity serums, and gray armor shards left on it. What caught his eye most was a stone etched with blue symbols, an attribute stone. A rare treasure, it could be socketed into gear for stat boosts, but its true worth lay in being edible. In his past life, someone had accidentally swallowed a shattered attribute stone and triggered its power, mistaking it for rice out of starvation. The man had gulped it down in despair. Miraculously, he revived stronger than ever, empowered by the stone's element. Once word spread, everyone knew eating such stones could grant abilities, turning them into priceless relics. In this lifetime, discovery wouldn't happen for 4 more years, so right now they were unknown and beyond value. Zhongming checked his mana crystal stash. After reserving some for crafting puppets, he still had enough for 6 spins. Just one lucky pull with a 2-star potion or an attribute stone would make him rich. The disc began to spin, heralding his next evolutionary leap. Elsewhere in the sewers, 2 thugs had just raped a woman to death and were hauling her corpse away. They complained they couldn't dump bodies in the base, it might spread disease or attract zombies. On the way back, one suggested finding a new victim, but his partner suddenly froze. Terrified, he pointed at a glow atop a tall building. The level 2 rotation disc had been activated. A huge event. Xiao Lei sat on a bed, staring blankly out the window, heart heavy with despair. Tan Yu stood before her, defending himself, saying the harsh times forced them to rely on evolution drugs. He claimed that one way or another, survival always came with a price. Running wouldn't help. He insisted Kim's offer was a chance for him to become an evolver. Forcing a crooked smile, he swore he'd treat her well once he gained power. Hearing that, Xiao Lei erupted in fury, disgusted by his shamelessness. She screamed in his face, calling out his filth for wanting her to be humiliated for his gain. She packed her things, declaring she'd leave immediately. Staying with him made her sick. Tan Yu panicked and grabbed her arm, but she tore free, shouting she'd never be anyone's bait. A vile voice cut in. The disgusting intruder was none other than Chef Jin, ready to act himself. Xiao Lei instantly lashed out with a kick, fighting back with all her strength. But she hadn't evolved yet. Jin easily blocked her and flung her aside, sneering that he'd try a new flavor. As she fell, a hand caught her tightly, binding her in place. Her captor was none other than Tan Yu. Had completely betrayed her. The man knelt like a dog, flattering Jin and begging for an evolution potion as a reward. Enraged, Xiaolei unleashed a furious kick that sent Tan Yu flying like garbage. She pulled out 2 evolution potions, shouting, "This is what you betrayed me for, isn't it?" Both Jin and Tan Yu froze. Those were treasures beyond dreams. Tan Yu lost control, greed completely consuming him. He blamed Xiaolei, hurling vile insults for hiding the potions, stripped of all decency. Xiaolei opened the pill bottle, sighing he's truly beyond saving. Seeing her about to drink, Jin lunged forward, ready to stop her by force. Just then, a loud shout echoed outside. Someone was activating a level 2 spin disc. Jin froze, turning toward the glowing light. Without hesitation, he dove out the window, skipping the door entirely. Landing hard, Jin ordered all troops to capture whoever was spinning the disc. Meanwhile, Yi Zhongming nervously awaited the wheel's final result. The noise drew closer, but Zhongming saw the victory light had won today. Without pause, he placed the last magic crystal in the disc for one final gamble. Far off, Jin's troops were closing and an intense chase was about to begin. The wheel spun again, Zhongming held his breath, and the evolution potion appeared. The door burst open. Just as he got the potion, Jin's men aimed guns, warning him not to move. Yi Zhongming faced them, clutching the potion in return. Holding it tight, he finally felt relief. Mission accomplished. The soldiers behind him were stunned. It was a level 2 evolution potion, now lost. Jin lost patience and ordered them to shoot without hesitation. Yi Zhongming turned and ran for the table. Bullets flew but couldn't pierce the cover. Taking advantage, he leapt down, sliding with a knife as a hook. When the soldiers reached the spot, he had vanished, hiding in a dark corner. Jin shouted furiously, demanding a full search to catch him. Zhongming landed safely, checking his knife still intact. This place wasn't safe. He needed to escape before they regrouped. Just then, several soldiers closed in, yelling to capture Zhongming. Zhongming turned and ran, dodging bullets and countering with his knife, dropping a few. The gap between him and them shrank, making them hesitate to act rashly. He urgently needed a hiding spot to refine and use the 2-star evolution potion. Yi Zhongming burst out of the building, accelerating rapidly. The soldiers behind sped up too, shouting alarms across the base. Scene cut. Qin Yu was kicked into a wall by Xiaolei, injured, her gaze icy with disappointment. She recalled Mo Ye giving her an evolution potion before leaving, telling her to use it if needed. Xiaolei held the potion, feeling bitter. A stranger valued her more than anyone else. Meanwhile, her lawful husband betrayed her over a mere bottle. The contrast sickened her. She opened and drank the potion in one go. The bottle shattered, just like her trust. Qin Yu pretended to care after she evolved, but it was clearly for selfish reasons. She slapped him, calmly declaring their end, warning him that if he touched her again, she'd kill him, then walked away. Xiaolei realized someone else deserved her faith more than that traitor. The city erupted in chaos as troops hunted Yi Zhongming, the noise deafening. He hid carefully, realizing he was surrounded with no escape. Looking at the potion, he regretted not having just a few more quiet minutes to evolve. Barely catching a breath before being found, he cursed their persistence and ran again. With no other option, he summoned the Hellhound from the trophy card he got at Hu Yuzu Lake. This kind of card is prized in the apocalypse for granting instant power boosts. The Hellhound appeared and incinerated a soldier before he could react. The soldiers panicked, firing wildly at the beast. The Hellhounds charged through the bullets, wiping out another squad. But new enemies kept coming, wearing Zhongming down. He placed a hand on a nearby tree and cast basic mirror swap. The tree morphed. Eyes and branch arms appeared, scaring the soldiers back. He brushed past a car, placing his hand on its door. Casting basic solidify. The car transformed into a badass battle robot. The robot blocked pursuit while he dashed off, careful not to drain his spirit energy. Distracting them was enough, but unless he took out the 2 leaders, he'd never be safe. In another abandoned building, search squads combed every corner relentlessly. Elsewhere, Jin and Wang moved non-stop, hunting for Ye Zhongming's trace. One was handsome, the other ugly. Jin complained the crowded city made tracking harder. They agreed the real danger wasn't losing Zhongming but him coming after them. Wang raised his chain and ordered to kill everyone except their own men. A massacre of innocent civilians began without hesitation. Meanwhile, the masterminds remained indifferent, truly deserving annihilation. Suddenly, a flaming blade appeared behind them. Ye Zhongming coldly invoked Seal Flame Slash. They never expected him to attack before finishing evolution, catching them off guard. In that instant, fire flared in his eyes, devouring everything. Hiding in a ruin, Zhongming watched the silence outside, believing killing the leaders ended the hunt. He opened the evolution potion and drank each drop, the tiny prize costing countless lives. After drinking, he smashed the bottle and collapsed, clutching his head in pain, face twisting. He fell exhausted, sweat pouring, body mutating. The evolution had begun. Outside, the city roared with screams, bullets, and rising fire from explosions. Far on the horizon, red light kept flashing. Xiaohe's group couldn't wait any longer. They went searching and cheered upon seeing Zhongming. They instantly guessed he caused the chaos. Xiaohu laughed, asking if he was the culprit. Yi Zhongming stayed silent, staring at her. Seeing their expressions, He sensed they'd endured much too and was glad they adapted well. He placed a hand on Zaiha's shoulder, smiling, telling her to go home together. She froze, confused. Mo Ye stepped forward, studying him, saying he felt something strange about Zhang Ming. Zhang Ming just smiled and told Zhang Shui to summon Jia Ren. Soon everyone gathered inside. Jia Ren and Da Ming stood straight, awaiting orders. He suddenly asked Jia Ren if he wanted to control the base, stunning everyone. Jia Ren was utterly bewildered, thinking it was a joke, unable to believe his ears. Yi Zhangming solemnly confirmed he had killed both leaders of the base. His words shocked everyone even more than nominating Jia Ren. Jia Ren screamed in terror. He nodded, saying the base needed stability and a new leader. Approaching Jia Ren, he placed a hand on his shoulder, asking again if he'd take the role. Jia Ren panicked, saying he wasn't evolved and couldn't handle it. Yi Zhangming calmly replied that if he wanted to, he could. There were enough people to help. Jia Ren still worried he lacked management skills. Zhang Ming sneered, saying in this world, management didn't matter, killing did. Jia Ren froze, torn between fear and temptation, mind racing. Finally wavering, he hesitantly asked why Zhang Ming chose him while Da Ming tried to cut in. Zhang Ming stroked his chin, smiling. He simply liked Jia Ren's vibe and believed he'd do fine. Jia Ren accepted, bowing and asking what came next. Zhang Ming told him to wait until after takeover. He added he'd meet someone soon who could help Jia Ren manage the base more easily. The group looked confused. When did Ye Zhangming get such wide connections? Elsewhere in the city, massive explosions thundered, even startling the enemy. Lei Qiang's team crouched behind trenches, carefully observing. Tu Nan worried the base would collapse if chaos continued, especially with crowds at the east exit. Li Qiang admitted bitterly that defending this area was already his limit. Suddenly, Ye Zhangming appeared silently behind a wall, asking what Li Qiang was watching. Li Qiang jumped, pointing his gun at him, demanding to know who he was. Seeing his face clearly, Li Qiang realized who he was, and guessed he caused tonight's chaos. Lowering his weapon, Li Qiang cautiously asked why Zhang Ming came to him again. Zhang Ming was surprised to be recognized so fast, secretly admitting Li Qiang wasn't ordinary. He skipped the small talk, raising his hand, saying he had a favor to ask. Li Qiang forced a smile, agreeing to listen now certain this man was truly evolved. At the base's edge, hordes of zombies gathered, led by an advanced corpse-like creature. One zombie drooled, muttering that there was something tasty inside the base. The leader stretched its hand forward, ordering the sandworms to attack. Massive, vicious sandworms burst from the ground, charging the base. Behind them surged a gigantic wave of undead, like a tsunami. Inside the base, peace shattered as red flares shot skyward in alarm. Civilians panicked, stampeding in chaos. In the square, Jia Ren stood before a bonfire, megaphone in hand, commanding calm. He assured everyone the base was still secure, zombies hadn't breached, and order would return soon. Jia Ren called for all young men to step forward and join the defense. Watching his calm control, Liang Shu Yin's group nodded approvingly, impressed by his performance. Liang Shu Yin sighed over the corpses, saying Jia Ren alone wasn't enough. Evil thrived in chaos. Zi Hu squinted at the sky, guessing dawn was near and boss would soon finish his task. Lei Qiang reported retrieving the reserve food stores per Ye Zhangming's order, though supplies were scarce. Jia Ren suggested recruiting more people and quickly disposing of corpses due to the heat. Before he could finish, Ye Zhangming cut in, ordering immediate evacuation of the southern zone. When Jia Ren tried to ask why, Zhang Ming shouted for instant action, leaving no room for hesitation. Knowing Zhang Ming's nature, Jia Ren obeyed at once. Suddenly, the ground quaked violently. Another disaster was coming. Yi Zhangming cursed under his breath, realizing it was too late to stop. He ordered Jia Ren to lead southern evacuations, Da Ming to mobilize troops and secure intersections. Turning to Li Qiang, he asked about the potion's effects. Li Qiang signaled full adaptation. Then Zhang Ming, Mo Ye, Xiao Hu, and Li Qiang charged toward where the sandworms appeared. As they ran, Zhang Ming explained that killing the worms was the key to saving the base. These mutated creatures could burrow and quake the ground, wrecking the southern wall. Lei Qiang panicked. Zhang Ming confirmed peacetime buildings couldn't withstand such force, they'd collapse soon. Xiao Hu gasped if the wall broke. Monsters would flood in and joked about boss suddenly turning heroic. Yi Zhangming stared at the smoke afar, drawing his blade, saying he only needed this base a bit longer. Even if the wall fell, the rubble would still block zombies, kill the worms, rebuild, and all's well. As he neared a building, the sandworms burst through, shrouding everything in dust. Facing the giant worm, Yi Zhangming instantly entered combat stance. The worm surged from underground, debris raining over the team. Zhang Ming leapt up, his flaming blade slashing fiercely. Mid-battle, he shouted for everyone to target the worm's legs to limit movement. Then he pierced the bright shell on its back, right at the heart, demonstrating the weak spot. He jumped onto its back, drew his blade free, black blood spurting, warning it was neurotoxic. The worm he rode crashed down, while the ground near Xiao Hu trembled again. Xiao Hu gaped in awe, starting to speak when the ground split beneath them, cutting his words short. Two more sandworms erupted, attacking from both sides. A third emerged from behind, trapping Zhang Ming's team in a deadly pincer. Zhang Ming roared, taking on two himself, leaving the rest to handle the other's life or death by skill. Then he dove into battle, blood boiling with fury. Le Qiang sweated bullets, fearing the level 2 sandworms were too strong for their small, newly evolved team. But before he could finish that thought, Mo Ye drew his blade and ordered Fa Shuying to move. Le Qiang looked puzzled, while Xiao Hu laughed, saying Mo Ye and Fa Shuying would hold off 2 worms so the rest could focus on 1. Mo Ye stepped up, asking Le Qiang about his sword skills, and the gun Zhang Ming gave him. Le Qiang confirmed he had it. Mo Ye drew his gun, aimed at the sandworm, and shouted to start the counterattack. At his cue, everyone took positions. Fa Shuying summoned spirit beasts for defense. Le Qiang realized Mo Ye hinted rather than ordered directly to save his pride. Le Qiang fired into the sky, shouting for cover fire, giving Liang Shu-yin and Xiao Hu the chance to charge. Liang Shu-yin's whip wrapped around the worm's horn, launching her upward. She landed atop its head, slashing down as it roared and swung to retaliate. Xiao Hu threw his blade toward her, keeping her momentum unbroken. Liang Shu-yin dodged the strike, caught the blade midair, and landed right at the worm's heart spot for a killing blow. Kneeling on its back, she raised the knife to finish it, but it roared and lunged, jaws gaping to bite her apart. At that perilous moment, Le Qiang opened fire, spraying bullets to cover her. The barrage deflected the worm's attack, saving her in time. Liang Shu-yin poured all her will into the strike, stabbing through its body. Toxic blood sprayed, but she dodged, kill confirmed. Fa Shuying quickly summoned another spirit shield to help Mo Ye block the next worm's strike. Xiao Hu climbed the worm's tail, stabbed deep, and laughed loudly, declaring victory and heading to assist. Ye Zhang Ming watched from atop another worm, quietly impressed by his team's flawless coordination. But then, a violent rumble sounded behind him. Something new was coming. The horrifying noises grew closer, chilling everyone. Zombies were approaching fast. Meanwhile, Xiao Hu, unaware of the threat, kept stabbing the last worm cheerfully. He turned to boast to Ye Zhang Ming, then froze. Zhang Ming's worms were already dead too. He asked in shock about the 2 worms Zhang Ming fought, only to hear a brief done. Liang Shu-yin huffed, saying they didn't need help, they could have handled it themselves. Normally Zhang Ming would agree, but this time he pointed outward, serious. No time left. Everyone dashed outside through the swirling dust. Mo Ye frowned, wondering how zombies arrived so fast. Was it pre-planned? Xiao Hu noted the synchronized attacks, sandworms and zombies converging. It couldn't be coincidence. Ye Zhang Ming frowned deeply, mind racing. Retreating now would ruin too many plans. Just then, Xia Lei appeared, smiling, saying she had a way to stop them. Still in her familiar outfit, Xia Lei had rejoined the team. Mo Ye leapt down excitedly, rushing towards Xia Lei like reuniting with family. She hugged Xia Lei tightly, thrilled to sense her evolved aura. Xia Lei smiled, pointing toward a nearby building. See that one? If we blow it in the right direction, the rubble can block the southern entrance, buying the base time to regroup. She revealed she had found explosives in the base's east wing and only needed a bit of time to set them up. Xiao Hu whistled in awe, saying her demolition skills rivaled top experts. This mission was child's play for her. Ye Zhangming agreed with the plan, smiling as he asked how long she'd need. Xia Lei replied firmly, just 30 minutes to place all the charges. She requested support from Xiao Hu and Mo Ye, determined to risk everything for a turning point. Zhang Ming nodded, granting her half an hour and reminding her not to betray his trust. Outside, the zombie horde surged like a storming sea, pressure mounting. They kept coming, nearly scaling the walls. Zhang Ming shouted to open fire. The troops unleashed a barrage, bullets raining down. Yet the undead tide kept advancing. Lei Qiang warned that at this rate, ammo would soon run out. Zhang Ming signaled to cease fire, clearly plotting another move. He drew his weapon, declaring that anyone unwilling to fight could withdraw. Survivors would earn evolution potions. Then he leapt into the fray, blade blazing like molten steel, tearing through the night. The more he fought, the more exhilarated he became, blood flying, grin defiant against fate. Liang Shu-yin followed, unleashing 4 shadows strike with her Joyger weapon. Illusory blades rained down, hammering the zombies ahead. Zhang Ming's reckless valor inspired everyone, renewing their faith in his promise. Believing survival possible if they killed a few, many charged forward with zeal. After days of struggle, now was the perfect chance to earn potions with lower risk. Standing amid the blood sea, Zhang Ming reflected courage was humanity's final hope. He warned all to keep safe distance, not to rush and fall into traps. Besides weapons, they could use kicks to push zombies back, avoiding misdirected strikes. Aim to kill in one blow to conserve strength amid the chaos. Bei watched the timer, urgently reporting only 15 minutes left for the plan. A soldier sneered at her idleness, mocking her as useless. In that distracted moment, another soldier almost got eaten. Bei screamed a warning. Her quick reaction saved him from death's jaws. The rescued man, trembling and grateful, realized her value as vital support. Eyes misty, he thanked her and shyly offered to treat her to a meal after this was over. In times like these, food was luxury, but Bei coolly replied her meals were of mightier beast meat, far beyond his means. Realizing her thoughts had turned twisted, she blamed Liang Shu-yin's influence and tried to shake it off. Thinking of Liang Shu-yin again, she silently prayed for her comrade's safety. Meanwhile, Yi Zhongming kept fighting tirelessly through screams and the stench of blood. Suddenly, his eyes locked on a new abomination. The first death wraith had appeared. A soldier, enraged by his fallen comrade, recklessly charged for revenge. Zhang Ming shouted in alarm, realizing the suicidal act was deadly dangerous. In an instant, as the blade touched the grotesque creature, the death wraith morphed, long hair and fangs bared, spewing pink mist at the soldier. The mist enveloped him, blinding all senses. As the haze consumed him, he fell, clutching his head and screaming in agony. The torment racked both body and soul. He begged for death to end it. Seeing his comrade tortured alive, Yi Zhongming roared and lunged at the death wraith. A sudden, horrific scream echoed, leaving him momentarily confused. Before them appeared twisted, deformed creatures. Even chickens had mutated into monsters. The abomination's attack soldiers. One pierced a man's chest with its tree branch-like tongue. The mutant chicken impaled a soldier's heart with its beak. Screams filled the battlefield. Amid chaos, Zhang Ming steadied the troops, ordering them to regroup. He immediately asked Bei Xuan for the remaining time on the plan. Flustered, she replied 11 minutes left. The tension spiked. Zhang Ming raised his hand, shouting for support, rallying everyone to fight while retreating. Like a war god, he cut down zombies alone, buying every second possible. He yelled for Le Qiang to cover the rear and ensure safe withdrawal. Using his scope, Le Qiang suddenly reported something odd, someone behind the zombie horde. Hearing that, Zhang Ming asked if the target was within range since ammo was nearly gone. The info chilled him if true. His suspicion was right. A terrifying power was orchestrating this. An old man stood among the mutants, seemingly commanding them all. Spotting Zhang Ming, the man grew ecstatic, as if finding the perfect prey. His eerie red eyes gleamed as he declared greedily, "Zhang Ming belongs to me." Elsewhere, Xu Yin still battled the undead, blue light dancing around her. After unleashing Foreshadow Strike, the glow surged into the zombie crowd. But two casts drained her completely. She staggered, spent. As she nearly collapsed, strong arms caught her. It was Zhang Ming, making her heart flutter. Before she could react, he spun and hurled her toward Bei like tossing a sack. Bei caught her in shock, while Xu Yin fumed, threatening to snap his neck if he said one more word. Zhang Ming turned back to the battlefield, slashing and shouting for everyone to retreat from the ruins. Watching him face the swarm alone, Bei called his name anxiously. But Xu Yin, exhausted, said staying would only burden him. They must obey. The surviving soldiers quickly fell back to reinforce the base. Still worried, Bei asked about his condition. Mo Ye reassured her he could last, had never fought at full strength before. She noted his attack range and power had grown, battle instincts sharper than ever. Seeing his blazing eyes, she knew she was right. Zhang Ming unleashed every skill from this life, and the last, facing the undead tied head-on. From atop the wall, soldiers stared in awe, one man holding back an entire horde, like a monster himself. Standing atop corpses, drenched in blood, he gritted his teeth, telling himself to hold on for just 5 more minutes. He recalled his luck in absorbing that special stone before evolving to 2-star rank. The stone doubled his endurance and recovery, keeping him alive amid the screaming zombie horde. His eyes burned with resolve. Endurance didn't make him faster or stronger, just absurdly unyielding. Seeing its prey refuse to fall, the monster grew impatient. The old creature roared, ordering its mutants to intensify their assault. Its abyssal mouth widened, black eyes gleaming as the beasts went berserk like drugged maniacs. Massive mutants, twice normal size, lunged at Zhang Ming without hesitation. Watching them rush in suicidally, he shuddered. These things had lost all instinct for survival. On the fortress wall, people gawked at the unnatural ferocity and unknown origin of the masked Tier 2 mutants. Amid the chaos, they all screamed his name in worry. Black claws like death's own size reached from all sides, binding him tight, stifling any counterattack. Zombies piled high, layer upon layer, burying him completely. Li Qiang trembled, convinced that Diep was surely dead. He turned away in despair, but Mo Yi suddenly shouted for him to look. She pointed toward the battlefield, urging everyone to see for themselves. From the corpse heap, fierce flames erupted, burning away swathes of zombies. The undead shrieked as the inferno consumed them one by one. In the blazing sea, Zhang Ming rose, flinging off the ones still clinging to him. He strode out of the fire, smoke curling from his neck, radiating war god energy. Everyone froze. No one could believe he'd returned alive from that mountain of death. Just then, Li Qiang's voice rang out from the wall, signaling time's up. The battle paused. Everyone rushed to reinforce the barricades with sandbags and stone. Across the ravine, others poured oil and shouted orders to hurry. Xiao Hu and his squad finally caught their breath, relieved the zombies had retreated. Seeing the organized withdrawal, Xiao Hu suspected a commander, recalling the strange hiss that preceded it. Su Yin remembered too. Right after that sound, all the mutants obediently pulled back. Mo Yu stopped further guessing, saying rest and recovery were the real priority now. Night fell over ruined factories, the world cloaked in dust and decay. When losses were tallied, gloom deepened. Over 3,000 dead or missing. Only a few hundred wounded survivors. At least tonight, zombies wouldn't return. Someone mentioned guarding the ruins, and Li Qiang assured them arrangements were done. Hong Fa raised his hand, reporting that all wounded under Diep Zhang Ming's orders had been restrained. He glanced at Zhang Ming, guilt-heavy at the harsh treatment of those brave fighters. A black-haired youth objected, saying even without immunity doses, they deserved mercy. Yet, he admitted that for everyone's safety, they couldn't risk internal chaos. He added that those fighters were courageous, unlike most citizens hiding at home. Zhang Ming coldly asked if he planned to let the wounded freely mutate without control. The question silenced the youth, though he still seemed to have more to say. Zhang Ming cut in, stressing that if they weren't restrained, they'd have to be exiled before becoming threats. He added that if they had family, they should harvest the crystal when mutation came, so even in death, value remained. Those without kin would be grouped, while evolution serums would go to today's frontline fighters first. Zhang Ming sat opposite the youth, announcing he'd recruit 1,000 to leave the base with him. Families would be supported in return. He gently lifted the young man's hand, teaching him how to run the base in future. Then he placed an evolution vial in his palm, saying the base would be his one day, but while he was here, his word ruled. In this apocalypse, kindness was rare, so Zhang Ming trusted the young man with the base's future. Xiao Hu wondered why they'd leave a stable base. Xia Lei answered it's because he had a higher goal. Zhang Ming turned and asked everyone what they saw as the base's greatest strength and weakness. Su Yin thought for a moment, saying manpower was their edge. It could be trained into a formidable force. Xiao Hu added that the 3 smelting factories here were another huge advantage, but the shortage of weapons and ammo was fatal. Xia Lei instead asked Zhang Ming for his view. Hearing them out, Zhang Ming smiled and said the base's real strength lay in its resources. Xia Lei frowned. Did he mean those monsters outside? Zhang Ming explained the issue was that this area only had Tier 2 core beasts. Everyone blinked. He thought Tier 2 was low. In his past life, that was treasure enough. But this time, he wanted more. Ignoring their shock, he grinned, promising to lead them to real treasure, but first, they'd gather assets. His team left the base, crossing desolate streets in search of stored valuables. At the sight, Xiao Hu scratched his head. Only paper money and a bit of precious metal remained. One member knocked on the vault, noting the simple lock could be opened with basic tools. But Zhang Ming just drew his blade, saying it wasn't a national vault he'd handle it fast. With a few decisive swings, the steel door was sliced to shreds. Staring at the scrap metal, the group gaped at how absurdly sharp his knife was. Sitting atop the steel heap, he declared the treasure hunt officially begun. The team eagerly pushed deeper into the treasury to explore. Xiao Hu found another safe, drew his knife, and slashed at the lock to check inside. One clean strike snapped the lock clean off. Opening the safe, blue light from a pile of gems made Xiao Hu shout for Xia Lei. He asked if they were Lu Bao jade, and she confirmed they were. Xiao Hu's eyes gleamed, while Xia Lei appraised each gem at about 2 million apiece. Hearing that, Xiao Hu cheered until Xia Lei scoffed that in the apocalypse, millions couldn't buy a few kilos of food. Ahead, Zhang Ming walked silently, hands in pockets, making Su Yin nervously ask what in this place was truly worth so much. He stopped before Vault B-18 and asked if she remembered the 2 evolved men they'd met at the market. Hearing those scheming faces mentioned, Su Yin instantly fumed. Of course she remembered them. Zhang Ming explained one had been the old leader's confidant, still alive, and had traded some useful info for mercy. As he spoke, he pulled a 1-meter-long box from the vault, stirring everyone's curiosity. Mo Ye guessed it was a gun case length matched to sniper rifles. Zhang Ming set it on his knee, finding the latch as the team watched eagerly. Just as guessed, inside lay a sniper rifle that made everyone gasp. An 88. Xiao Hu cheered at the complete weapon with scope and gear, while Mo Ye was surprised to find 2 bullets included. Zhang Ming happily shut the case, signaling the team to move on and follow him. Xiao Hu asked where to now. They'd fought all day, and the field still had plenty of crystals and loot. He blinked. Did boss really mean picking through corpses? Zhang Ming nodded, but told them to wait in the ruins first. He had one more task. At the ruins, Xiao Hu's group waited while Zhang Ming handled his private matter. Xiao Hu whispered to Yue Shi that the boss was way too mysterious. Didn't he think so? Yue Shi just folded his arms, saying everyone had secrets. Xiao Hu puffed a cigarette, clarifying he meant the boss seemed to know the apocalypse too well, like he'd lived it before. Yue Shi exhaled smoke. So what? Su Yin chimed in, agreeing that his secrets didn't matter. She said no matter who he truly was, he saved her, taught her survival, gave her strength. Her eyes full of gratitude, awe, and something unspoken. Turning to the other women, Su Yin said they were lucky to live this far. Thanks to that 20-something man, she swore to follow him to the end, save or slay. Bei teased her, calling her a hopeless fangirl of his. Su Yin ignored it, saying she rarely met anyone genuinely kind on the road. She addressed Yue Shi and Xia Lei, saying she knew they still remembered the ones who once loved and betrayed them under that same night sky. Her words froze, both men their eyes dimmed, brushing memories best forgotten. Yue Shi bit his cigarette, face heavy, saying everything changed the moment Zhang Ming rescued him from that humiliating building. His life now belonged to him. Xiao Hu scratched his head, insisting he was just curious about the boss mystery. Why was everyone looking at him like a sinner? Then he stood and vowed to follow to the end, not for rank, but because the boss promised cool stuff, and he hadn't seen it yet. Mo Ye laughed, saying Xia Lei, and Bei Shuan all wanted to see where Zhang Ming would take them. After chatting, they realized had been gone over half an hour. His absence only deepened his enigma. Meanwhile, Zhang Ming stood silently before a massive pit of corpses, zombie bodies stacked high, reeking of death, thick enough to choke. He stared into the pile, puzzled why so many corpses existed after just one assault. Only days after the base was founded, casualties had already skyrocketed. He suddenly encountered two mutated, raging bulls. Without hesitation, he drew his weapon and sliced both heads clean off. Blood gushed like a river, spilling into the pit below. The bald man trembled at the sight of the bloody blade, terrified had almost been next. Stammering and drenched in sweat, he couldn't guess what Zhang Ming intended. Zhang Ming calmly said Head just mastered a new technique that required massive beast blood for testing. He added that practice made perfect, sending the bald man into sheer panic. The man groveled for mercy, swearing total loyalty if spared. Zhang Ming approached coldly, telling him to ask the corpses in the pit if they'd forgive him. Then he leveled his blade at the man's head, saying it was his turn. With the blade inches away, the bald man screamed in terror. Zhang Ming thought his death worthwhile, at least the body could serve as material for the new art. Suddenly, he froze. Sensing something unusual, he bent down and noticed faint movement among the corpses. Before him lay a blonde woman, to his surprise. It was the same girl once dragged away in the marketplace. His fists, clenched rage, flared at seeing humans tortured like beasts. Without pause, he leapt down and pulled her from the pit. Seeing her badly wounded and barely breathing, he checked her condition anxiously. Realizing she couldn't be saved, he decided to use her in a rebirth ritual. In his arms, the girl weakly opened her eyes one last time. He said she was worth more than that, fool, making the bald man sob in terror. He laid her back into the blood pool of the two mutant bulls. Then he took out 2 energy cores to begin the rite. He made her drink a vial to trigger evolution. Placing his hand on her head, black violet energy erupted violently from her body.